bend back so they could like kind of arch back like that. Beak doesn't open at this end, it opens like this. And how they used to fly is they would open their mouths and they would swish their heads back and forth and they would catch other birds. Oh my god. I mean, it's close. Literally, like, fucking something along this lines. Like, take this one. So this one's fucking amazing. Okay, there. The contrast. I love it. This is interesting. This is really interesting. Yeah, this is more like it. Ooh, I like this. Workstation. You can't say fuck you to your friends. Who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you. This could be like a forming of picture. There. Being created alongside, and you can see how there's like the crystal shell of the celestial being, and then this is like the rock and everything that's like being pulled out of space around it over time to form it into a planet. And how did it get like an actual body out of this? I'm so confused. And a female body of that. That is actually, that is not that bad at all. That's the avian right there. That's what the basic, I guess, female concept for an avian. And the males would have more of like a hippogriff, like thick mane around their necks. That it's like, I'm thinking of them as like the kind of dwarf species, because they're a little bit smaller, and so literally they have their manes braided in specific ways, and it's like you know, different braids represent different houses, represent different cultures, and you know, stuff like that. So you can tell like what basically family an avian male is from based upon the braid of his mane. Remember, if you can't say fuck you to your friends, who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you. For the males, something like this, and a little bit different for the female, same way how I'm doing, like, for instance, this is like a female avian, male avian. Alright, never done this before. Oh, it doesn't even seem that hard. Yo, 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 boys! Welcome back. How's it going, everyone? Welcome, Levi, Smokey, Eggy, anyone else who's just chilling out there. So today's gonna be a lame day, because I work early in the morning, unfortunately. So, and the ASL is 3.5 hours. So we'll probably just do that and then move the fuck on, sadly. But that's how it goes sometimes, right? Name you impossible. Well, thanks for saying that, Sean. You know, it really helps, especially in moments when I'm like, I can't do what I want to do for the stream, so it's almost like it's a shit day. And we've had, like, what, 4 or 5 shit days in a row, so I kind of feel bad. But, I mean, it's not like not streaming a day is gonna make the next day's quality better, right? Because it's like, oh, I have to do something during the day kind of idea. That's kind of how it's been for like the last like 4 days. But ASL only happens twice a year, guys, so we gotta get the ASL in. That's like the important one. 7:35 a.m. here. Yeah, see, you guys are lucky. This is the beginning of the day for you. It's the end of the day for me. But it's like, this is realistically the only point in time that I can actually stream that's like consistent and like congruent, right? But at the end of the day, it's a terrible time slot. At least for like North America. But that's how it goes sometimes. But I am doing good. Today we did a ton of editing because we had like a huge backlog of stories. So we went through and we got Hydroplane Bane, In My Mind, Life of Lines, Monk of Ifrit, and Shadows of Remorse all set up for the next 5 days. So we can still do 1 post a day. And we still got a couple of other stories we gotta do. And apparently I deleted a couple of them, so I gotta do like Tourist Trap and a couple of other ones over again. Because I'm a fucking idiot, because I was trying to free up space and I forgot to move all the short stories over because I use them as separate recorders. Like I'll stop recording on local and then I'll start re-recording when I'm doing like a short story, so I have just the short story on file, so I can just drag that over super easily instead of looking through the entire VOD to try and find it. But without any ado, to Starcraft, we are true. Man, I don't have any drinks or anything. I'm not prepared for this. Hold on, I'll be right back. Oh, are they gonna do a group nomination thing? Or are they gonna go straight into... Okay, we can skip the group nomination thing. Because they're probably not gonna have... Okay, here we go. This should be it. Alright, I'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to Group D, the final group of the round of 16 of ASL Season 19, done in partnership with Hot 6, Stronger, Better, Clean Energy. In yesterday's Group C, Queen and Reign succeeded in snatching up their tickets to the round of 8. Now, with just 2 tickets left on the line, let's have a word with our 4 players ahead of today's bout. Hi, good to see you. First up, seeded player Snow. Hi. Hi. You've been saying this Group D is the hardest group that's ever been formed. Your shoulders must be feeling heavy as a seeded player going into this. How are you doing? Same old. This situation is a given. But, be it the group of death or not, as long as I do well I can advance, so I'm not really paying it too much attention. Sounds to me Snow is ready to take on the responsibility. In any case, this is your 2nd season in a row that you're going into as a seeded player. So, with you being you, many people will be expecting you to survive this despite this being a group of death. This time though, the feeling I've got isn't good. I'll just see what happens and go with the flow. I'm curious what resolutions Snow's direct pick Rush is bringing to the table today. Hello. Hello. Rush, you wanted Group B or C, but just as the inkling you had, indeed, Group D is where you ended up. Having practiced, how would you rate this group in terms of difficulty? Top, mid, low? From my perspective, it's the absolute most difficult. However, having been dispatched to a tough group I then practiced harder, my skill has gone up. If I do my best today, I should be able to advance. It was apparent during the group selection, as right from the start you set your sights on light, that this season is one where you need to go through rigorous training. And with these 2 strong Protoss players in your group that you need to overcome, can I guess you've come here with some sort of a secret weapon prepared? Oh yeah, I have a few haymakers in the bag. Yeah, I prepared a lot of things. Can I ask which player you've got on your sights? In your sights? I
Alright,
practiced
there we
focusing
go.
on the
Much
first
better.
match. I'll make sure to win that one. Looking forward to it based on that answer. Let's greet Hero as well.
Oh.
Hi. Hi. You
What
thought
did I
you'd get to
miss?
play comfortably in Group A, but with Sulky's decision, you have been placed in Group D. Let's hear how you prepared.
No!
For starters, seeing how these players are really good, I thought it would be interesting, and so practice was also equally entertaining. I'm actually excited getting to meet such good players in a tournament setting.
I was actually
This
watching
is very
Artosis today. He was doing
impressive. Hearing Hero say
unbans.
that
It's
the
fucking
difficulty of
hilarious.
This group, in contrast to what Snow said, is actually getting him excited. It must be because a round of 8 without Hero feels unfamiliar. Your nickname is Round of 8 Civil Servant. Are you likewise certain about your chances of making the round of 8 this time? Honestly, I don't think it'll be too easy, but I think that as long as
Because I think
do
I'm
well,
trying
I
to
can
procure
advance. I'll try and advance.
a chat that's kind of like Artosis's.
somewhere,
So if you
what
guys
I'm
want to go to
getting is a feeling
Artosis's
of
chat and
freedom
steal all
and
of his
confidence.
ASCIIs,
And playing against Hero in the first match will
I
be
think we
Minnie.
could have a
Let's
real
say hi
good
to him.
time.
Hi. This group selection ceremony, in the end, you did not get picked by anyone and were relegated to D4. How did you feel at that point? The fact I didn't get picked at all means they think I'm the best, which isn't the
Let me see if I can
case.
find it.
Anyway, I just want to stay confident. Your first game
Oh,
had
true,
almost been
Smokey.
against life,
Let's get fucking high.
but your first opponent was changed to Hero. From the perspective of a Protoss player whose strong point is PvZ, just like yourself, you'll have a different feel about this group. I personally think the first map is a little better for PvZ rather than PvT. I think this is a better first opponent. Oh, preparing for Hero was easier than if you were to prepare for Light, you say. Okay. The players in this group are involved with each other in so many ways. There's so many things that need unraveling. A tremendous Group D has been formed. A group many dub as being the ultimate level of difficulty, and that is in part because the total number of times these guys made it into the finals, not the tournament itself, the finals, is 10 times. This is what kind of
General Andrews is doing his
Snow,
birthday stream
Rush,
today.
and Hero
Lots
each
of
have 2 second place
crowd
finishes,
control
while
today.
Mini has 1 championship and 3 second place finishes under his belt.
Damn.
This record perhaps contributes to this being called the Group of Death. I wanted to ask about how you guys personally feel about your chances of advancing in first place. Let's hear from Rush. My chances of advancing in first place? Yes. My goal for today is just making it out, not in first place specifically, and I see those chances of me advancing as 50%. Oh, that's actually pretty high. Is that perhaps of the first game and Snow clearly feeling threatened? Rush looks very confident ahead of this first match. He is pretty good. He is pretty good. However, today it's either first place or not at all. If I don't make it in first place, I won't be advancing. So yeah, it's do or die. A player with 2 grand final appearances, and yet he says having to go through the decider match in a group like this.
Okay,
will be
I found them.
mentally
I found them.
impossible.
Are you guys ready? Are you guys
Now
ready
the
for the
guy with
greatest thing
championship
ever?
amongst us? Mini, what do you think of your chances?
Get ready to copy and
I'll be
paste and
advancing in
have
second
like
place.
a notepad
real?
open so
Yes,
you can
I want to beat Hero
save
twice.
them. Show me the worst thing
Does
ever
that mean you
instead.
only
I mean, to
prepare
some
for the
people it's
PvZ
the
then?
worst thing ever. What's really cool is he's getting married soon
For
to a
starters,
Canadian,
if
no
Rush
less,
made
so
it
dealing
into
with
the decider
immigration
match,
stuff,
then
though I don't
that's
know
good.
which way that is
So, I
going.
only
I
have to
think
prepare a
she's
bit
coming
more
here,
for
but not
games
sure.
against Hero.
Ah, I see.
Hero, Mini just said he would beat you twice. What do you think about that? If I get got once, I think I might lose in the losers match as well. Oh, I see.
Just gotta
we're
wait
only
for it,
meeting,
'cause I don't know exactly when it
and we're
is.
only meeting
But
once.
it's coming.
In any case, I will
It's coming,
win the
guys.
first match.
Trust me.
My goal is to advance in first place. The first game
Then
will
we'll
be
get the
important.
greatest of the
The
greatest.
first match being a best of one, I'm sure you will both pour your heart and soul into it. Now, One more interesting thing about Group D is this I beat you, you beat me relationship. It's like going in circles. Snow is 5-1 against Mini on the ASL stage. Mini beat Rush to get his first championship run. Both times Rush made it into the finals, he beat Hero in the round of 4. And Hero, this needs no repeating. He
Okay, let's
is
see if this
just
works.
the best Zerg at beating Protoss in the ASL. Hero is 9-2 against Snow and 7-3 against Mini. Is this
it didn't work.
circular relationship going to continue, or is the streak going to be broken today? This is one point to look out for. I wonder which player you guys feel the most reluctant about. Hero? This is all data from
Damn, I think
way
they're all
back.
broken. That's unfortunate.
Snow is doing really well nowadays, and Mini is a demanding opponent in tournaments. That's just
Almost
a
see an
fact.
image there.
They're both...
Nerdy!
They're both
Oh my
going
god!
Welcome, Raiders.
Hero feels
to the
apprehensive
stream.
about ZVP, even though he is leading
Hell
head-to-head. What
yeah.
about you, Snow? For me, I find the mirror demanding the
Let's see if I
PvP,
can try and clean
even
this one
though
up.
I'm winning in statistics, but in the end it's 50-50. You can lose at any given time. In any other matchup, if I do well, I can win, but in PvP, even if I do well, I can still lose. It seems difficult. It sounds to me you guys are hoping to steer clear of Mini then, this being the group of death regardless of what matches we
How's
end up
everyone
with.
doing?
It
We're
is sure
watching
to be
the
quite
ASL
entertaining.
Starcraft. It's a good time.
Let's hear our players'
We're trying to
motivations
find. I was
go
watching
out.
Artosis'
Snow,
stream today, and he was
turning back. I'm
he was
going
doing unbans, and then he raided DeWalt,
given how
and
I
they
made
sent a
sure
bunch of
that
ASCIIs. So I'm trying to copy and paste them, but it's not fucking working, and it's pissing me off.
Looking forward
Does
to
it work
Mini.
over here? I'm
I
like,
too will do my best and show exciting games.
you can see it better on here though. If you
You're watching ASL Season 19, done in
the ASCII
partnership
worked
with
fine
Hot
on my
Six,
end.
stronger, better,
It did,
clean
Levi?
energy.
Is it like
There's
a
only two
chat
spots
size
remain
thing?
in the
I'm
round of
not
8.
quite
Which
sure.
players will stay afloat and keep fighting in ASL
It
Season
worked in my
19?
chat,
Let's
oh my
start with
God.
the round of 16 and find out.
That's all for Eggy.
Welcome back, everybody.
Oh my
It's
god,
Group
that's
D.
great. So I guess it's just like the
This
normal
might
Twitch
be one
chat
of
where
the
I must
craziest, most epic, hardest to
de-stream and
predict
get some rest, friend. Take care of
ASL
yourselves.
days.
True Nerdarine, thank you
seasons
for
that
the
we've had.
raid. Have a great night. Hope
Yeah,
the
this
stream
is
went well.
probably
I
the
fucking love
strongest group
Repo, man.
really ever. I'm
I'm
sure
watching so
will
many
try to
people play
remember
it.
back to, like, the
I'm still
Ash
stuck
and
on
Flash
Schedule
and
1
Dom,
though.
Whoever group,
I'm fucking
but, like,
addicted to
honestly,
it.
These,
No
this
pun
looks like a top
intended.
4. When's the last time
But have a
you
good
saw
night, good
Rush be
sir.
the weakest
You.
player in a group? Is he the
So
weakest
many good
player in the
indie
group?
games coming
It's
out
just-
lately.
It's
It's
unbelievable.
freaking
It's like,
amazing.
Mini has been like the most consistent Protoss in ASL. Hero's been the most consistent Zerg. Rush has been the most consistent Terran.
You as well, good
And
sir.
Snow is the
Take
best
care.
non-ASL player that we have. Like, how else do you even put this? It's insane. Anything can happen here.
I think anything can happen. The game should be insane. I think this is, you know, a lot of times in groups, players will withhold strategies they might
let's get
use in
another
round
one.
8, especially if
'Cause
they
there's
think
like
they're
4 of
favored to
them.
win the whole thing because
Some
they have
really
to bring
good
out
ones.
their strongest stuff in the round of 8, round of 4, and finals. But I think for each of these 4 players in Group D, they have to bring their
This group is
absolute
going to be
best, as
fucking
this
insane,
very
guys.
well
These
may
games
the
are going to be
hardest group
crazy.
for each of these, or the hardest phase, I should say, of the tournament for each of
But
these 4 players.
predictions?
They are going to be filling in these last
Snow
slots.
And Mini.
Right now,
Snow and Mini make it out. I don't know who's going to beat who, but Snow and Mini are going to make it out. If Eggy
there's a
doesn't
realistic chance
play
Rush
Breeders of the
doesn't make it.
Nephilim
We
on his
could end
own
up with
time,
4
I'm going to be
Zergs
really
here.
surprised.
We could end
Lots
up
of food and fun in that
with
game,
4 Protosses,
and barely a
actually,
plot.
just depending
Oh,
on how
that's
this
That's
group goes
perfect,
down.
That's
Sean.
true. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. But yeah, the best would obviously be like a Protoss and Terran getting out.
Right.
I will tell you, if Hero doesn't get out, for me that would probably be the biggest surprise, but not even that big a surprise because all 3 of these guys are of the same level as Hero. But I do put Hero as probably the 2nd strongest player in the world right now. Like, he is unbelievable. He's like
Okay, I think
just
this is
sulky
another
-1,
one?
you know?
Exactly. A Hero,
Okay, let's
from
see.
all the games
So
I
this
cast with
one
him,
is...
I'm always ready to see him move on. It's very rare that you see him flounder in any game. He's got almost perfect play. But, I mean, in this group, it's going to be crazy, man. I also would very much welcome a PvP here with Snow and Mini to just kind of see what that would look like, where the state of that mirror matchup is.
It's free on Steam, but can't play on
Two of the best
stream.
Protosses of all time duking it out in a very pivotal group.
Okay, let's see if this one works.
I think the results could be anything. Any player could advance. Any player could get knocked out. It's going to be brutal.
Yeah, and I do have to say, like, I
let's
really
see.
hope Rush
Where
makes
is it?
it one Terran in the round of 8.
Where is it?
Rough.
I'm not seeing it.
So I'm very much hoping that Rush can squeeze this one out. I think, you know, obviously
take
just
a
for
second
racial
to go
balance,
through.
we get, like,
There it is.
Rush and Mini or Rush and Snow.
Perfect.
Be,
okay, are you copying these
the best
over,
that we
Aggie?
can really,
Because
really
I am.
do at that point. But yeah.
But they
Could
show up
be
really weird in.
literally
Well,
anything.
I mean, it doesn't show up really weird for this one.
It's
It
the
shows up
hardest
really
thing
weird for
to
the
predict.
other
If anyone
ones.
thinks they know what's going to happen here, you're insane. Because it's just going to come down to what
Yeah,
strategies they
see,
choose.
Artosis is right. I can't. I'm not even gonna try to
Because
protect
every
this.
one
I
of these
think I
guys can kill
see
each other.
Sproing, but it's kind of large.
No matchup.
Yeah, I think you have to go
should
into
be
like
easy
I don't
for
know,
one
like
player.
if you go into
Like, each
the
of these guys has
actual
to be doing a nod of respect
like full
to every
screen
opponent
Twitch
in
chat,
every game here.
you can see what it
So,
actually is. Because this
I'm
one's, you
very,
know,
very eager to
the
see what they're
the
gonna
food a
be bringing here.
butthole,
These
and then this
matches
one
today
is
are
licking
gonna
the
have
dick.
massive
Anime chick.
impact on how all the matchups are played on ladder. Well, almost all of them. You know, not TVT and ZVZ, but a lot. I
And
mean, everybody
then
from every race is
there's
looking
like
at this group.
two
Interested to
more.
see
There's
what the results are
the
going to be.
bunny
Sometimes
one
we have a group and
and
it's like it's 3 Terrans
the
and a
full
Zerg,
frontal.
you know, or even 4 of one race, in which case we just have one matchup. You know, we had that yesterday. We had just one matchup for all of Group C. It was PVZ all the way through. A lot of fun if you're a student of that matchup. But
I'm just gonna have to
each
let
of
the
these
chat
guys
go through until we can
is
find them all.
basically at the forefront of their respective race in Group D. So a
For
lot
sure.
of people
I just wish it worked on here.
get their
Because it
finger
doesn't
on
work
the
on the
pulse of
screen. But then again, it really shouldn't be on the screen if you guys know what the actual images are.
Exciting day.
But that's
We're gonna open this
Artosis'
up
stream
with Snow
for you.
versus Rush.
So I was like, you know what? We're kind of
Yeah,
next thing you know,
yeah,
we'll have
that's,
Mario Erotica in the
A ridiculously
TTS.
good match. Hard to say how that'll go. Rush definitely has some of the best Terran versus Protoss. There was definitely a time, like maybe a year and a half ago, where I'd be like, yeah, Snow's going to win this because he was at
They docked
the
like
highest
brothers
rate we've ever
could.
seen for professional
They
Protoss
docked
versus
like
Terran.
battleships
But
could.
the whole metagame of the matchup has
They were
shifted
brothers.
because of his strength.
And they
Rush
docked
is very
like brothers.
good at the matchup, and I think that this could be just a really nice, fun game.
No one could ever stop
But
Mario and Luigi from docking.
Metropolis, it feels to me like it was made for Snow. He's a Reaver carrier guy. This is a Reaver carrier map.
Yeah, Snow will occasionally not go for carrier tech. He's done some, you know, crazy alternative tech here, but you're basically
He's
right.
the
I mean,
master
more
of
final favor
Reavers.
than anybody else in the matchup. Looks like we're ready to get into this, guys. Starting the
Hell
final
yeah,
today
let's go!
in Group D. This is Snow versus Rush.
Fight! Fight! Fighting!
Okay, in the bottom left here is Snow, and in the top left is Rush.
I
And,
want. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I would just want to
please.
amend what I said there because I've actually watched Metropolis a lot and I've played Metropolis a lot. And, you know, I mentioned Snow as a Reaver carrier guy. That is probably his strongest play. But I actually think right now in the metagame, this is the weakest carriers have been in a while.
Yeah.
So I do want to amend that I'm actually not entirely sure that this is that carriers would be the best thing to do here. Like, if you get any sort of lead, carriers can be fantastic, but actually we've seen recently Terrans have gotten very good at pulling the trigger correctly against carriers, so they're a little bit out of meta. So I'm not like expecting that out of Snow, but if you look at the layout of the map, this is a map for many years that we would have called a carrier map. Carriers are not a big part of the metagame right at this moment.
And they may come back into style, and some of that's dependent on how the Terran is approaching the game, how aggressive do they want to be.
Yeah.
You know, or how greedy do they want to be, as an example. You know, Snow, a lot of the games he goes carrier, he does it in a very safe fashion. It's basically just, you know, the end game tech he's trying to build into, and usually take advantage of the positioning of the map. Arbiters, I think, you know, this map has these very large mains, which means it's pretty hard to stop Arbiters from getting in there. even if you were to fill the exterior perimeter of your base with turrets on one side, they can
Yeah,
always
good
try to
luck
go
with
through the middle
that.
or go through another side. So
17
it's tough to deal
turrets
with.
and
There's a
shells
lot of
still get through.
space inside the main to fill up with mines. You know,
That's
these
right.
smaller main bases, you kind of have enough turrets. You know where the units would recall in, and you have the mines placed there. Not saying it's necessarily going to be that, but it's something to watch for. Also, I think double robo play, which is basically the newest way to play this matchup, could be very strong here.
Sure.
Because you could probably start to mass drop their main and do stuff to the Terran before they're able to really get that ring of turrets entirely.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they're going to go for the
also,
third base.
double
That's what
robo
Rush
play,
is going to do, I
where you're
swear.
going mass
He's going to go for his
shells with
third
speed
base
and
instead of
dropping,
defending, because he
Templars
knows he
of
can't
Storm
defend
and
Snow, so
Reavers
he might as
early
well just
on.
try and get ahead.
That is one way to overcome a Terran that's going to rush up to one of these, 12, 6, 3, 9 o'clock expansions and try to just like turtle up there.
Yeah.
A big mass unload there can be very strong. So we'll see. And, we might not even get into a late game situation on this map. This could be a short one, but I think for both you and I, Tastetosis, we've been pretty interested in seeing exactly how the very best players in the world try to approach this matchup on this map when it matters more than anything else in their careers.
Indeed. I have a lot of
So
thoughts.
the last thing you want to do is be an action or a shine.
It was kind of an interesting
in the round of
adjustment
16
on a
and throw it.
expansion here from Rush. He actually scouted on 11, same time as he made the barracks. So that's a quicker scout than we normally see with this build order. So that's a little bit adjusted.
Here's a
He's
new
getting
one.
his command center super fast, and he found Snow first, which is huge for him because he recognized, okay, there's no Zealot being made. It's a tech opener.
Okay, what is this?
So Rush, like right now, looking at it, it's a great opener for him. This looks fantastic, and he hid the SCV really well. Look at this.
Oh, it's just a
he gets
butt.
to go into the main base. He's going to check. Range is on the way. Man, he's got
nice butt, though.
So much information right now. But it looks like we're probably going to have a proxy robo here from Snow. So if I had to guess, this is going to be some range pressure on the front into a very quick Reaver drop.
Yeah, we don't see the technique of the SCV
kind of unfortunate that it does
that.
that.
Expansions used ever.
But it's to kind of be
it's like
expected,
it's a little
right?
tactic that was figured out early on, and almost all players would just check behind
Because
the middle
they're
But
sized
I guess when you look
specifically
at the way this
for
map is shaped,
Twitch
there's enough
chat.
space back there. People are probably worried they would check back.
I always
there
wonder how
and
long
maybe an
people
SCV
spent
run
on
into the
these.
main. So almost like a counter.
Are they AI generated?
Here from Rush allowed him to scout in the main and confirm that it was Dragoon range. But this proxy robo could be very tough to deal with. I think it's basically going to be Dragoons with range firing at the bunker and probably trying to scare Terran into siege mode, and then an elevator maneuver up into the main where there's this big vacant area just to the left where that Dragoon is. But, I do feel like when these backfire, they backfire horribly.
Why is he taking so much damage? Jesus, that was horrible.
It's a two-factory opener, which is the most common with a gasless expansion. If Rush goes for Vulture upgrades, and
we need
tries to do,
one
let's call it
SCV repairing per Dragoon that's hitting the
pressure,
bunker in
which
order
is
to keep
probably
the bunker
most common
alive.
thing to do after a gasless expansion. Snow is going to be able to counter harass with the Reaver before the attack hits him. Okay, because this is timed out like very tightly. But there is an eBay. If he's and I believe he's going siege right now. If he goes siege and just makes a few turrets, it should be advantage towards Rush. But if he tries to attack, it should be advantage towards Snow.
It
Snow's
almost
getting ready
looks
for the
like
expo.
Snow's going to try to wall off in his main that little thin area that connects the big opening at the top of his base to the bottom. Do you see what I'm saying?
Tried to bait him in. Because 6 shots kills a siege tank, so if he can bait them in.
The way the players are going to
usually what you do is you try to siege, that instantly unsiege, bait in the Dragoons, then run back, get a couple of pot shots off, and you'll be good to go.
Interesting.
That is a really well-timed turret right there. I like how this is looking.
He knows exactly what's going on.
Not that Snow's position is like terrible or anything. A couple vultures will sneak out. Oh my God, he's going to scout the robo right away.
Oh damn!
This with the zealots.
Yeah, this is actually completely okay. Like, just put as much damage on the zealots as you possibly can here. But he sees exactly the timing and the plan of Snow, so he can just build a few more missile turrets, lay some good mines down, and you can't imagine this Reaver doing anything.
Oh.
Oops.
Ooh,
He's going
mine.
to eat a mine shot. The vultures are going to try to come down from the side. This is like a perfectly placed turret. He can unload the Reaver. He could try to take some shots onto the tanks. He needs to get rid of the turret on the side here. He needs to try to gain access a little bit deeper in here. The vultures are going to get in, and I think they might be able to get into the main. No, a really good block over there. He's going to deny that.
He's getting a very good amount of probes, though. He
here it
does pick
comes.
off like 3 probes, 4 probes maybe, and he has built a secondary turret back here. He is probably going to need even a 3rd turret, and Snow does a great job of splitting that one tank off. That is brutal. Look at this. He targets down the turret really, really quickly. He's picked off yet another siege tank. Dude, this is why Snow is so scary.
Yeah.
Everything looked good for Rush. Most Terrans would feel very comfortable there against
But
Reaver.
he's dead.
But he breaks down the front door.
I'm learning so much just watching this. The fact that he knew to target the
Oh my.
SCVs over there instead of the tank in the back, and then basically thin
This
that
is
out
why
so Zealot could charge
Snow is the
in.
best Reaver player in
And
the,
again,
in the entire
this is
game.
the best Reaver user in the world. Like, he does stuff we just don't see other players ever get away with. His decision-making, even on just where to send the shuttle. Like, he could have gone to the natural. He could have gone forward. He's trying to figure out, okay, where's the best move? He can try to come in here once more. He goes for the SCV.
Oh,
Is this
dud!
a dud?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good pull there from Rush. I gotta tell you, Tasteless, this is a weird feeling to me. I'm actually getting chills from how good he's doing with this Reaver, and I want it to fail so badly so that Rush can make it to the round of 8. But like, unbelievable watching it, dude. There's layers of turrets. You know, he's got mines at the front. He's got tanks. You know, his siege mode, of course, finished a little bit later. But the fact that he's pushing through 2 turrets, forcing the tanks to split by utilizing ground units, everything about it was really good. I think the only thing Rush could have done better.
How does Snow do it?
Like 4 mines in the front or so. He should have had a couple in his main base, so that moves like what Snow did there could backfire. So I think just a tiny mistake from Rush, and Snow instantly capitalizes. And Snow's ahead here. Snow's ahead here. This looks good for him. He's got a bunch of gates. He's getting his 3rd.
He's probably
base.
got another 2
He's got
Reavers on the
Reaver
way.
flying around. The game, of course, isn't over, but he got some solid damage, and he should be happy with how this has gone so far.
Yeah, he's getting his gateways up now. You know, there's still a little bit of a weak area over here inside the main. You know, he could come up to the top right side and try to get some damage off over there. The vultures are going to run around. I'm not sure if there's a block down here or not. It looks like the observer's really interested in seeing if there's going to be, you know, anything that's going to, mine-wise, that's going to hit those Dragoons. Now he comes back up here, and this is
my
you
God.
know, fundamentally what is challenging for players in their main.
He can't even get
on
into
here,
his
that it's
base
so
with
hard
the
to protect
pylon
all of that.
walls.
So he takes the
Fucking
deep out, he
Protoss
backs
so
up,
broken.
just in case Goliaths were barreling towards that position. They weren't, by the way. And he might even try to come in here for another double drop. I think shuttle speed should be done. We have no way of knowing if that's been upgraded, but a lot of times, especially on a map like this, it only makes sense to get shuttle speed.
It'd be amazing to see Snow knock at shuttle speed. It's just like a
Still
upgrade that works
wins.
so well with
Yeah.
the style. And there it is. He
Okay.
does have it now. Double shuttle going to be diving in. There's no spider mines up here, which is an issue. He does take 3 shots from that turret before unloading his Reavers to take it out. That died in 1 volley, so I think he has the plus Reaver attack, but not entirely sure. Maybe
Plus
that had taken
45
damage. Before,
damage!
but yeah, the Reaver's now pushing in. Dude, the Zealots coming out and taking some shots here.
Snow uses Reavers like Zerg uses fucking Mutilis.
Dude, his micro is
It's
just
goddamn
unbelievable.
disgusting.
It's crazy, man. Now, eventually Terran kills us off, and you don't really want to trade a Reaver for a tank. I mean, always killing a tank is good, but the Reaver, you just want to keep that alive for as long as
Yeah.
humanly possible.
You'd
He
rather
killed
hit
some Goliaths,
SCVs with it.
He did a lot of damage, and he kept one. Actually, sorry, he kept both shuttles alive here, so he can recycle this again and try to get back over here. It's going to be fairly easy for Protoss to stop Terran from taking 12, but the base down here is really the most important one, because Terran wants to try to force their way up here in Turtle, and speed shuttle play is so strong here.
Yeah, it makes it really, really tough for Rush.
This
now,
is
Rush
the problem
hasn't
with
started a
one,
third command center yet. He may actually be planning, because there's been so many trades, to try to do an attack.
One
I don't
game
think that
series.
would actually end up working.
Like a
in
best
this.
of one.
In this case, the Citadel's been
Because
up for a
one
while,
cheese
and I
can
don't
either
think he
ruin
can
you or put you
move out
way
before
far ahead.
There's a lot of speed zealots ready, even though he has like an okay factory count here at 6. But yeah, I actually missed as they went over the Scarab thing if there was plus damage there. But anyways, the Vulture goes into that third base, going to get a little bit of harassment. I think Rush is going to set up a third. If he attacks here, I just
Well-
can't see him winning.
Is he on 7 factories?
He's on
I
6.
think he is.
He's on 6.
Okay. Yeah, because I think if you're on 7, you're just not expanding.
Yeah.
6, you can kind of try to push out. I think he's not going to try to expo here. I think he's going to try to take a fight. This is going to be tough. I mean, speed shuttles, when used correctly, especially when you're very tank heavy, even a couple Goliaths, I mean, that helps a little bit, but all you have to do is get on top of the tanks, and that's what we're going to see here right now. He's going to continue to unload these
That's
zealots
crazy.
over here. He's looking for an opportunity to try to get one Reaver out. He gets it out. He
What
loads it
the
again.
actual
Oh my God, these shots are
Snow?
going to be insane. He
Snow
completely
is so...
wipes
Look
that
at
army.
this! Oh, he finally
this
loses
is,
a Reaver.
Not looking super great here for Rush. He's lost so many siege tanks, and Snow's taken his 4th base during this. Just absolute mastery of the matchup from Snow. I really, you know, the 5 and 6 fact plays are not working that well anymore, and the fact that he has really gone for this, like, the thing is he kills a lot of Snow's army, but this is always better for Protoss. At this stage,
As long
in
as
the
you
game, to
reduce
wipe
the amount of tanks, because
is a
tanks
Protoss
scale
advantage
together because of splash
99
damage.
times out of 100, and this time included in those 99.
It's especially hard
fucking crazy.
if you lose all your tanks and vultures and you have to start over again, and they still have Reaver tech they're using.
Yeah.
Because vultures just get exploded by Reavers. They're just not good. And eventually,
doesn't have
extra
the plus
shuttles,
one.
And this was basically double shuttle. We lost the Robo at the you know, the proxied location, but he has so many different ways to come through here now and clobber tanks and take them out. And Terrans basically had to recede all the way back to where they started out in their main. So, I mean, I think this map, it's easier to expand to certain locations
got
next
2
to you than other
probes.
maps, but
That's pretty bad.
you know, with the shuttle play, I think it's just as easy for Protoss to immediately come reclaim that.
They definitely can bust positions really quickly. You have to be quite turtled really quite well, but even that doesn't stop all the damage that can occur from these drops. Rush is getting his 3rd command center. It's almost done, but of course this is like a very, very late 3rd. You know, this is like, oh, everything else has failed. I have
but
to make
it's
a
all
third
about
base
the
type
Zealots.
situation.
Zealots hit the
And
mines,
unfortunately,
drag
you
him
can
into
see
the
Snow,
Terran
he's
army.
already got that advantage from clearing everything before.
pull the
He
tank
just
aggro.
immediately
Ooh,
charges
that was a
in,
bad drop
getting
because
some
he
pretty decent
didn't get the
scarabs,
tank shot in the
and
back.
he's going to clear so
And he
many
lost-
tanks
he
again.
lost
and
the,
resetting that tank account over
He
and
lost
over
the shuttle,
is
but it
just
doesn't even
definitely
matter. The
terrible.
Reaver's just doing work.
I feel like he fires faster than other Protosses. I don't know if that makes any sense. But it's like, is there like a way that you could make the Reaver fire a little bit quicker? Like he just gets these shots off.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
it's
like,
funny.
how the fuck
I
does he
think,
do
like,
this?
A lot
It's
of people
insane.
who started playing Starcraft way back in the day, in my head, I was always like, well, you drop on top of the tanks, right? And you know, usually it was Zealots, but you could do it with a Reaver. The tank can't hit what's in front of it, and then the Reaver gets a shot off, you know, with everything around that area. But
Because you
he's
can
so good at
drop
this
the
technique of
Reaver,
basically
the siege
running
tank
in
will
with your dudes
fire, and you can
Zealots,
pick
as
up the
tank
Reaver,
fires,
and the
he
siege tank
unloads
won't hit the
shoots
Reaver.
a shot,
It's
and picks
total
it up
bullshit.
because he knows he can.
Because it takes like half a second for that shot to actually go off for the siege tank.
Which
It's
is
like aim,
it's very hard to do.
fire.
I mean, if you're not fast,
And if you can
you
drop,
too soon or
lift
you
up,
pick
it'll be
too
like
late, you
aim,
lose the Reaver.
fire, and it won't
He's
hit your
so good
Reaver.
at this that he can basically fire these scarab shots.
Like, he literally drops it, fires
and
the
take
Scarab,
exchanges
picks
and
up the
push through
Reaver
Terran,
before the Scarab
you know,
fucking hits
sieged up
anything.
positions
It's
so
like,
well.
what?
And yeah, it's just it's so masterfully done. To watch Snow do it is, you know, just.
It's like watching Flash move his army around the map.
Really,
it's like watching
no
a chess
one, No
game.
one quite functions the Reaver like he does, and you know he's so far ahead at this point. He's just going to run over Rush. Like this same exact thing is going to happen over and over, where Snow just comes up and aggressively trades, and he's just expanding during this. He's playing basically a perfect PvT. You know, it's so funny to watch this because I think that Rush really only made one tiny mistake
GG.
and one decent-sized mistake, and Snow makes it look so one-sided. Rush got a great opener
fucking
there.
absolutely
I think he
demolished
should have
him.
had some mines in his main base to counteract the Reaver play. I think that was the small mistake he made at the beginning, which allowed Snow to get some damage. But attacking, as soon as he saw that first Speed Zealot come up, like, that's how Protoss holds. If they have Zealot legs, you should just cancel the push.
Yeah.
It just, the win rate of the push goes so far down once Zealot legs are
I heard
done.
Sean
And
mention
especially against
Fuda.
Snow, who's just
Yeah,
going to man-hand you with the
what was
Reavers.
it? A Fuda game.
Pictures.
Something,
Such a troll, man.
So it's also the silhouette of a Reaver.
Breeders of the Nephilim.
He makes great shadow puppets of Reavers.
Yes, yes. This is
Leaders of the Nephilim.
Yeah, this I guess was probably the most punishing move of all here.
This just doesn't
look,
work.
I love this.
He's like, if you don't play that in your off time, then
and he has 2 Reavers in here, but watch me.
free on Steam, not allowed on stream.
Up, then he unloads again.
Food game is the last shit I need.
Just try to always unload 2 if he doesn't think he can get the shot off. And these
Don't
Reavers
feed the
are just getting such an absurd
addiction,
amount of damage,
Sean.
and the moment
Don't
that they get
feed
targeted,
the
it picks up,
addiction.
and the tanks reset back onto a Dragoon. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine Snow ever losing PvT.
Yeah,
there.
it is.
Guys, we got a short break. Coming up next, a ZVP. It's going to be Hero versus Mini. We'll be right back.
And we are back. Because it's one thing I can do is skip commercials.
All right, guys, let's get into this PvZ. Snow already with a dominating performance, a reminder of why he is the greatest PvT player in the 25-year history of Starcraft 1. Today is no
You
exception.
can play male or female
but
too,
now we're
but
gonna
I don't
switch
like the way
matchups
the
and
males
obviously
look in the
switch
game, so I
players.
set the
Hero
options so
versus
that males
Mini.
become
Artosis,
Fuda, so you
I
can
almost
catch
feel like Mini
Fuda
might,
or
sorry,
female.
Hero might be slightly favored here. What do you think?
Nice, Sean. That's
yeah,
super
I
smart.
favor Hero against probably everyone in the world. Like maybe there's some ZVZ matchups.
I think
that I
Pokemon
wouldn't do that,
Baporn
but,
gotta
like,
F them all.
Yeah, Hero is the guy. You know, that being said,
Oh, so good.
this is the perfect matchup for Mini in a best of 1 because you know when we're like, oh, I don't know if he should be taking this risk in a best of 1 in the round of 24, you know, and he'll be playing someone that he's much better than clearly. He is perfectly suited for a best of 1 against Hero, Sulky, you know, players like that, where he can predict what they're going to do reasonably well and bring something that is unbelievably dangerous to go after them.
Yeah, Mini is a very crafty player, very abusive player.
Yeah, it's gonna be Snow and Mini that get out.
he's
I don't know how it's gonna happen,
he's
but I know
very
it's
hard to
gonna
predict,
happen. That's just
but
how it
I think
goes.
just going for a very conservative build order isn't going to help you a lot, if that makes sense. You know, a lot of the players that are unpredictable and it could be cheesy or could be weird, there's a way to kind of play guarded and do kind of low-risk taking openers and be safe, but I feel like he's so good at cutting corners and so creative, it's just hard to know what kind of game you're going to get yourself into.
Yeah, he's
Very scary, very scary.
he is so unpredictable. He's like predictably unpredictable, and you know he's going to take some sort of risk. Honestly, I think you should.
He's
generally
gonna
play
Nexus
kind of aggressive
first!
against Mini.
He's gonna
But,
Nexus
anyways, we're gonna
first!
get into Metropolis here. Best of 1, Hero versus Mini.
Not helpful that they all have the same hair and jackets. Oh, it was like Pokemon? Same kind of style? Oh, it's fucking great. Who says you can't play it on stream, Sean? You just get banned. That doesn't mean you can't play it on stream. It just means you
Okay,
shouldn't
cross
play it
spawns
on
here.
streem.
Hero in the very bottom
First, you only have
left.
access to Foxin and
Mini here in the
Wolgar's,
top right.
Foxkin or Wolfkin, but you unlock the
I
cock
gotta
block
point
gates
this
to
out
access
right
other
now.
areas
They had that
Yeah.
stat
completing
at the
breeding
beginning.
requests,
This is
or
season
you just
19
cheat and unlock
of
everything.
ASL. So
I played
out
it correctly
of
several
18
times,
ASLs
so I
that have
just cheat
happened,
now. Yeah, sounds
Hero
about right,
was in the
Sean.
finals twice and the round of 4 5 times. 7 out of 18 he's had a seed in ASL.
Yup,
That is
Mini is insane.
unbelievable. That is unbelievable. That is like, what is that, 40% or something? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been so consistent. From the day we came back to StarCraft 1, all the way up to
Starcraft
now,
Remastered!
he's just always a threat. You know, Flash saying that he was maybe the smartest player at times.
God forbid you unlock the cock block gates without
Um,
cheating, Sean.
You know, he's really, really scary, and I think he knows how to approach the game in a way that is safe for him. You know, when he's aggressive, it looks like it's always the right move. When he's conservative or cheesy,
Yeah, well, you
it
know
always
what's the
looks like right
funniest thing
move.
is if you just go to Steam and you
Anyways,
just type
he's gonna
in
go for a
Fuda,
Gateway expanded. He's not.
there's like thousands and
after the game.
thousands of
Love it.
Fuda games on Steam.
I don't know why
So
he's doing
let's-
that, but I just
I
love
don't
that it's
know
something
why,
different.
Yeah, we're like, this is a moment in our cast where we're like, oh, we don't know what he's doing, but it's so good. I promise
Yep.
you guys that. He's so smart for not
Yeah.
scouting. And he still hasn't scouted. I believe the pylon started to. I mean, the second pylon, of course. But a blind gateway first. I think I've literally never cast this before.
Tox is in a cockball gate. I've had him caged for weeks.
Have you ever seen that before? I don't
know. I haven't seen it
full
with no
character
scout.
customization that can
this
take
is funny because like
take a while if you care.
I cast
then you
like
get
a ton for
spirit
my
form,
casting channel on YouTube and stuff, and like
can be any
sometimes there'll be
species
something
you've
different,
caught
like
in
they
your
don't
character's
scout or they
gender,
scout earlier,
which
and I'm
means
like,
anytime you can change
wait
the
a
spirit
minute, I
form,
haven't
you get to
seen
edit
this.
again.
And people make fun of that, but it's like, no, guys, this actually makes a huge difference. He doesn't know where Hero's at. Okay, he does not know where Hero's base is, and he's gonna make a zealot. So what do you do?
Welcome, welcome. How's it going, bro? Welcome to
You're gonna have
the
7
stream. 8 people are talking at the same fucking time. Sounds really interesting. While they use such creativity on a Fudo game.
We're actually seeing the whole matchup change right now. So,
maybe.
just to be clear, before this game picks up, Gateway expands, you know, they were popularized, I don't know exactly when we were casting Starcraft 2, but we came back and we saw these crazy Gateway expands, and they let you control the game because you could rush your opponent, you could hide zealots. But
How are you today? Are you a writer, good
he has
sir?
one zealot out in the front, he keeps a second one in the
Normally,
back.
no
Now,
worries. Thank you for the
normally in a
follower.
very
Oh,
defensive
no
posture,
worries,
but
man.
think
Always
of
try
how
to
many
spread the
more probes
love.
he's getting 'cause he, and workers and everything.
That's the best way to
can't be,
discover
like,
people,
rushed.
right?
Or,
See,
you know, he isn't
and I've
rushing
been
or
like
scouting with a
slowly
probe.
working
So
outside
he
of the
just
writing
basically
community
has
and
enough
trying
hold
to
this.
like,
Thank God it wasn't a 9 pull, but then again, I guess people
extend
don't
my
really 9
reach
pulls
essentially,
anymore,
since the writing community is quite
in
small.
pro matches.
I feel like I've gone
So-
through the entirety of the
No, go ahead, please.
writing
I just wanted to
section,
mention the
so
place he stood the
why
zealot.
not move on to something
I
else,
feel like
right?
you might
So,
be able to see the angle
welcome,
the wings
welcome.
come in.
Normally
from.
we do writing content, but today is ASL
You know,
because
are they
ASL
coming
only
from
happens
the
twice a
left,
year, and
you know, the
StarCraft
bottom
is
right or
king.
the bottom left. You know, well, I guess we'll see.
Oh, he got in just before the zealot, man!
but
That
yeah,
was like
anyways, to what you were saying,
milliseconds! Oh my
and yeah,
god.
he
You
is-
can't do
he is
anything,
actually
but
on the right
it's
track.
just
Looks like
funny that he
knows
got
exactly
through.
where the third should be, and he's just going to it. Even one worker, guys, makes a huge difference in your economy.
That's
at this
like
level.
that's like
And
5
we
to
talked about it,
5
I
to
think, yesterday
10%
about
for
how
Zerg.
Mini actually plays in single player and gets unbelievably optimized builds, and
Yep.
this is one of those.
Yep. The best players play single player. It's 3D,
Just
and what's
never
really
quite seen this
impressive is
build.
it's made
The-
by
actually, I
one
shouldn't
guy.
say the build, the concept.
Hell yeah,
behind it.
Sean.
We've seen Gateway expands all the time, but
Does it have ads
just
to give him
added so many
revenue?
more
Because
workers.
hopefully
He knows
he's
he can
making some
run
money off
behind
of it. Because
and
you've
basically
convinced
plug
me,
stuff
I'm going to
into the
download and
zone
play it
and
after
make it very
stream.
uncomfortable. Now Hero has gone for Hydras, probably for a bust
So,
this year. Unsurprisingly,
if I have like
anytime you get
158,000
chaotic
hours in
goes to
it,
the Hydra bust.
That's
Try to run
actually
it.
a lie,
Mini
and
did
Steam
go
doesn't
for
know how to
gas
calculate
before Forge.
hours.
He's actually accumulated a decent amount of gas.
Tasteless.
And I'm very, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to ask you some questions here because we literally talked,
please.
I think, yesterday about how important it is to keep the probe alive and scout what's going on so you know if 3-hatch Hydra's coming or whatever. He literally hasn't scouted the probe still. He hasn't even attempted to check tech. He's
Hey, we try to have a good time, right?
The only thing he knows is that there are at least 2 drones and 8 Zerglings on the map right now in this hatchery. That's literally all of his information. Like, how do you do this and counter the Hydra bus that's coming? Does he just have this optimized so well? He has a Robo coming, Tasus. He's gonna go Reaver. Oh my God! Tasus, Reaver
shit.
Corsair. You gotta stream some StarCraft so people can tell you to hold Hydra bus with Reavers, because that's exactly what we're gonna watch.
This is wild. Blind
so crazy.
Reaver tech. Now, he's going to see the first Hydra hatch, so he knows what he's up against. I don't know if he wants to send his zealots away. I'm not talking about the ones on screen here, but the ones on the mini-map that are southbound.
Yeah, he's gonna have 7,
he's basically
but
buying time there. But yeah, I mean,
he's
he
just
didn't know
trying
if this
to
was
get
going to be Mutas necessarily or what. He does have a Corsair that's coming across the map. And I guess there's no sunken colony here, so these zealots
So
are going
zealots
to
do
do a decent
so
amount of damage, and
well.
Maybe he can even try to transfer some of this damage onto the drones. Like
Yep,
he's
he
doing
got
right
one
now.
drone.
Oh my God, he got 2 drones during
2
this.
drones.
He's
Oh, I
scouted
didn't notice
everything
the
at
other
this
one.
point. He can add his cannons. He's gonna get into Reaver.
see, this is why Mimi's just the best.
I just don't even know what to say. It's just such a wild,
It makes
different
Protoss,
situation
like
from
between
anything
Mini
I'm
and
used to
Snow,
watching.
Protoss looks
And,
fucking
he's
broken.
using the Corsairs to kill the Overlords because he doesn't need a scout because the Zealots basically spotted the Hydralisk for him, so he could start to get Overlord kills. Hero's supply block, by the way, which I don't think I've ever seen in any of his games in the last 19 seasons of ASL. That really just doesn't happen to him in these kind of situations, but it's happened here now. The Hydras will come up, and I think that Mini should be fine. He went with a traditional block, but I think there's just enough cannons far away enough that he should be okay.
Yeah.
He did go for shuttle before Reaver.
You need about a cannon
So
per
there's a
3
Reaver
Hydras.
that's, starting
And he's
right
just
now,
wasting
presumably.
health right now.
The Forge is going to go down. And
And he
even
sends
actually snuck one
another
over here,
Zealot.
so
Are
he
those
could
going to be
kill on his
drones?
drone.
Those are
That's
drones?
wild. He's already
Yeah, those are
going down.
drones. Oh my god. Oh
There's
my
actually only one
god.
pylon kind
I
of far in the
fucking
back,
love
but If he
it.
shot the pylon in the front, I think the rest of the cannons would be unpowered enough it could be fatal.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
We never see that in StarCraft 1. The pylons have
Are
much
you a
more health than
Poutine
StarCraft
fan?
2 pylons.
Um,
Targeting them
yes.
is almost never correct.
But my
maybe in this
poutine
case it could be.
is like
They
extravagant.
changed the pylons in StarCraft 2 to be a lot more squishy. They can be popped like
Like-
balloons,
Yeah.
if people get in there fast enough. In StarCraft 1, I
Seasoned
think they were
curly fries with
aware
like
that
small
could be really
fries
hard to
and
fight,
super
you know,
fries
maybe it would
all
break
mixed
their game, so they
together
took a different
with
route and made them a
cheese
little bit
and
more
hollandaise
so war
sauce
games
and
would be
gravy
one power.
and
Yeah.
green onions.
Pretty rare in StarCraft 1. Now, he
and,
has the shuttle. He's sending his first Reaver out.
like
This is
chopped up
insane to
bacon
watch. I can't believe he's bringing something
and
so new here
sometimes
against Hero in
ham.
a best of one. This
We've
looks
seen
strong,
Fast
man.
Expand.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen Fast Expand where you do a surprise Reaver play.
And there's like one
and
other.
kind of
Oh, and
try
like
to
seasoning salt.
Almost sucker punch the Zerg with it.
It's fucking
and
amazing.
Especially against Hydra Tech.
You do no, you
But,
when you do
Hero,
poutine, you go
should know to
fucking
get Burrow
hard here in
versus this.
Canada.
You should know to basically
People
just
think
play
poutine's
defensively.
just
When you go for this
fries
kind of
and
Reaver tech, you
cheese
really
and
don't have,
gravy. Nah, man. Nah,
anywhere
man.
near as much to work with as far
You can even add
Templars are
eggs
so
into
far
it
away.
and have like a breakfast
And,
goulash with
I mean,
it.
he can't
Sounds
really pick
amazing,
this
but
up
also
now.
any
Yeah,
percent
snipes that.
diabetes.
And
I
this-
mean, I eat it all the time.
There's a reason
You
why
just have
Reaver
to like,
isn't the default and why Templar Tech is.
you just don't like.
you know, if this
It's
was
like a very
easy to do or
scarce amount of
necessarily
sauce
extremely
and
strong,
stuff
we
like
just
that,
always
right?
see Reavers
It's not a
every game,
soup
and we
unless you
lose
add
our
the
minds
eggs
when
and
he went
turn it
for
into a
Templars or
soup in like
DTs,
goulash.
early on.
But
So
just sprinkle some shit over
mean, I'm
it, and you
still
got just
very
like the
impressed with the
variety
opening
of
for
different
Mini,
fries. You
the
got
blind
crunchy
play.
fries, soft fries.
Basically sending the Zealot out
It's a
on the
good
map
time.
to just sort of see where the lings come from and
And
confirm
then
that
the
they're
crunch
kind
kind
of
of goes away as they sog out, and then the soggy
and playing
ones
the game
become like
from there,
mush
but, I
and
mean,
mashed potatoes,
This
and
is
it's
still
just like,
such a different approach for Mini.
oh, it's a good time.
It's really exciting to see. Like,
But not cheese
it feels
curds.
like he
Fuck cheese curds.
kind of
It's all
blundered the
about
Reaver. Like,
fine,
that definitely did not
thin,
give the value he was looking for.
cheese,
Maybe
like
it would've been
very
better to just
finely
pull back
shredded
at that point, but
cheese
here's another one, and
that
we'll
melts
see
when
what
it
he can
hits
get
the
done.
gravy and the
With
hollandaise
shuttle
sauce.
speed, you can
Even the
just
fries
always
itself,
escape
you don't
if
even
you're
have to
smart
worry
about
about it. You just sprinkle
And
it
that's,
on
you know,
like,
he's
like
going back. This is
Parmesan,
more
and it
what I
just
wanted to see,
melts
is just
across
kind
it.
of like grinding the Hydras
So
down a
fucking
little bit,
good.
right? 15 minerals for a Scarab, and you just take out a Hydra with each one.
But like, I'm pretty much a
with
chef
shuttle
without
speed,
being a
you're
chef.
good. You
Like
can
when I
basically
make food,
shoot,
I
pick up the,
fucking make food.
Reaver and then run away and fire
Like,
again, and it's almost
I have like
impossible
20
to
different
pursue,
recipes.
because you'll just always get shots.
Yeah.
On exactly what
Well,
he's doing here.
Do I have
It's
it?
so hard to deal with. He's
somewhere?
also got the
Is it
Corsairs
there?
out on the map. Looks like he's
Yeah,
gonna
hold
go
on
for
one
the
second.
eggs here. This is a lot of Corsairs, man. You know, it's funny. You don't oftentimes see when there's been a Hydra opening and no very fast layer. You don't see lots of Corsairs made, but this is a game where he did make a lot. So these Hydras really have to respect the Corsairs and go back and cover those Overlords, because 6 or 7 Corsairs can obliterate all your Overlords, especially when they're stacked up at the natural, which is where they're always at in this phase of the game.
Well, he's going to drop a Reaver here into the back of the natural and get an insanely good Scarab there, and he's going to kill the Scourge as well. Oh my God, so well done. Mini is getting really far ahead, it feels like, with this right now.
You know, now that I am reminded of the main and the position of the natural, I'm kind of going, oh, that's why he went for Reaver, because this is just a really abusable map with Reavers.
Lame, I
You
can't
know,
find
it's
the
not
other
a
one.
little
I also have a
tiny, narrow
donut book.
natural
My
like
friend
you
got me
see
a
on Fighting Spirit, for instance. Like
fries
there's this whole
book.
big space back
Like,
here that you can kind of run
different
behind,
recipes for like
take
different
pot
fries
shots,
and different
then leave. And
styles
look at this, he's going to kill some Overlords.
of things. I don't know
He's
why.
kinda running
turning
circles
fries,
around
I instantly
Hero.
turn to
And we have the Templar tech up.
asparagus.
So while Mini's doing all this, he is going to power up onto 2 very strong, robust
like
bases.
shit like this.
He could take a third. He could go for a push. We don't really know. He's going to show us that in a second.
It looks like he's going into Storm here. He's got Templar Archives. He's
But
banked
yeah.
up an
So
unbelievable
I have like a
amount
lot of
gas,
cooking books too.
and he's like taking a third base. It's
I got a
hard for me
donut
to
one for
imagine
making
Mini
your own
losing from
homemade
here.
donuts
His
with a deep
Reaver play is
fryer.
doing fantastically.
Yeah.
He's
I love
slowing Hero
asparagus. Yeah,
down a
man.
lot. Hero sends Hydras across the
It's
map and
funny
delays
how I
the third
flipped that off
base,
the bat.
or
It's like,
denies
fries,
the third base
asparagus
of Mini,
fries.
which,
It's like, huh.
yeah, great to see.
Cool.
But how are you actually going to
Ribbon
deal with this when
fries,
he
get the
walks out with an army that
largest
has size
Frostner
in it
bit
as
you
well?
can buy, brand new, and drill your
That's the big question.
taters.
You know, you're
You
supposed
deep
to
fry
burrow
those and
Hydralisks
yum.
and
I would just take a
basically
fork and
pop them out
stab
when the
holes
Reaver
into
comes
them.
in there. So there's no way to
Osmond Gold
check
style.
the ground and figure out if you're safe or not. The shuttle eventually goes down. He does have 2 Reavers and probably 1 shuttle remade already. Yeah, back at home like that. So that when it's time for the push, he can do the same thing. And this push, by the way, is going to look a lot like the stuff that Snow did to Rush, where he unloads the Reavers,
then you turn them into
fires
fries,
shots,
and they're just like
pushes in with the Zealots in the core.
they look like Beetle
going.
would, if you've seen Beetle would, if you know what I'm talking
It's
about.
so awesome to see the completely different styles of top Protosses. Rain refuses
Oh yeah, I have
to
2
make up
air
Reavers,
fryers,
no
and
matter
we have
how
2
late the
air
game
fryers
goes,
in the
and
house
he
because we
makes
use
it at the
them so
beginning of the
often.
game. All right, let's go. Completely different PVZs here. A lot of speed zealots going into this third base. Dude, this is.
Like, we don't have a
be,
deep fryer
this is even gonna
anymore
end
since
with
we
a
got
bang,
the
I
air
think. It's gonna be a
fryers, but
whimper from
like
Hero.
you
He's
can't
just
really
taking
do
so much
donuts
damage
in an
everywhere.
air
What do you
fryer.
do?
That's
He's
the
out of
deep fryer
position at every
thing.
moment.
Yeah, he's got to.
But everything else-
he does. He keeps that alive.
Primo. I make
Keep
like
the juggler
everything
going,
in the air
he's gonna
fryer.
be fine.
I'd put these oranges in
I
the
think
air
the
fryer.
range here is
Sausage
just
in
not
the air
gonna
fryer
cut
is
it.
amazing.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
like
break him
farmer
with the other
sausage,
side.
just like
If you're
slice it down the
not
middle,
here
fill it
reserve,
with
you wait until the
cheese
fifth
and
snare
like green
snare
onions and
shot,
peppers
then
and
reload.
Yeah.
And that's
put it
when
in
things start to
the
be
air
cycled.
fryer. Oh
Now,
my
the
fucking
mutas are gonna
god.
be out, but I mean, there's Corsairs here, and Reavers.
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty
shuttles, they
sure
can actually
Mini's
take a lot
gonna
of hits
win,
from the
but
mutas,
he
so
does
that
have
they
the
can
mutas,
basically ignore them
so-
for a little bit. Now the shuttle's been shot down.
I think
and
the
Mini's gonna
mutas
try
are
to come
gone
in here
now.
and basically punch Hero in the nose.
Well,
try to
I
come in and do some serious damage. There's a lot of drones
yeah,
back
but
here.
the
There's a
zealots,
lot of
there's
hydras.
still a lot
There's
of
an evo chamber they
zealots.
can target. Can he get a shot off in here? I think the zealots
Ooh,
might
he just gets
block it
one.
enough. He
I don't
is
think he
able
did
to
it.
do
I mean, he killed the third. That's
This is
important. He's
the
already getting his
craziest thing I've
third
ever
up,
seen.
so
This
that's
is
really
so
important.
Oh my god, he
one-sided.
killed 3 hatches.
Dude,
He
yeah.
killed 3 hatches.
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed 3
I don't know.
hatches, the drones.
It was like I was aware during the fight that was going to go down. That's half the Zerg's production.
Yep.
So now he's got to push finally.
This heavy
Yeah, I'm also very
dragoon
intrigued
style.
with
He's
just
not
the
even.
zealots,
He's
Corsairs,
not
and
even
Reaver
into
out
lurkers
and
yet,
trying to
and he's
stay
already
back and
going
make
dragoons.
I'm sure he's getting high Templars.
Yeah,
there's
he has
one I
high
saw
Templars.
that-
He has.
I only
yeah.
buy green
Yeah.
onions every other
This
year
is
because they
just
grow
not gonna
perfectly
end
well
well.
from the
Hero's gonna
roots you
GG
cut
pretty
off.
soon, I think.
After
Like, this
2
game is
years,
over,
they start
man.
getting
67
woody,
supply to
but
146.
till then, perfect.
Mini 7
You
on
have
the
your own
division
garden?
base. He has
Yeah, it's like,
completely
unfortunately, it's
dominated
too
this with a
cold here,
scoutless build
and we don't have,
where he
like, a
countered
greenhouse
the
or
most
anything
scary
like
rush in the
that.
game easily.
So,
Oh my god.
but a lot
So
of people
one-sided.
around here have greenhouses and gardens, because everywhere around here is like farming country, right?
Thrashed like that.
Never.
And
So we have, like, a local
never
farmer's
has
market
been
and
a
everything.
Gateway first, no scout with a pro build. I've never seen that.
Look at the smile.
I've never seen that, man.
Mini just totally screwed him over.
I have learned so much from watching that.
Tasteless. Here's
And,
the thing. Here's the thing. I'm worried about what you've learned today. If you try to do this on the ladder, it's not going to go the same that we just
It's
saw.
gonna go very badly.
Yeah.
No, don't try this at home, kids. All right, that game should come with a disclaimer. All right. The difficulty at doing that, and the part of it is that you don't know what's coming at you, so you're playing blind versus so many different types of openings, and that was also a Hydra bust, by the way.
Yeah.
So, like, he also held it first, the Hydra bust, but I guess you probably have enough extra minerals. Maybe you can get the extra cannons out in time.
It's not too cold for
Just
onions. They'll
different way
grow
of
in a
doing the
pot.
game. Instead of being on
If you're
top
really
of the
worried,
Zerg, trying
get a
to see
clear
everything
coat
they're
to
doing
put over
and counter
them.
it
They keep
and,
growing through the snow.
a toy with them.
Negative
You're just
50,
staying
Sean?
back and using the minimum amount of information to intuit how the game should go and what
Because,
alterations
like,
your
between,
play
like,
should have.
October and, like,
Wow. We're gonna go to a quick
February,
commercial break.
it's
When we
between,
come
like,
back,
a negative
Protoss
40 and
versus
negative
Protoss, Snow
50.
versus Mini.
Like, it's still, like, 8 degrees out. Like, between, like, 2 and 8 degrees. And it's almost May. And then there's the wind. Negative Celsius, yes. Yes, Eki.
남자 치고는 작업하는데 너무 작은데.
Like, you have to plug in your car battery will freeze and not start.
잠깐만.
Well, yeah, I'm in Washington State, so winter here is sort of a joke.
괜찮게 한다고
Still in the window
생각했는데
planter, they'll be fine and clear you air.
잘 안
That's
돼요.
smart, Sean.
지금 7개, 9개 했는데 한번 해볼게요. 가겠습니다.
We have a sunroom that faces north, so it gets light the entirety of the day.
포기할 거 포기하고 왼쪽 걸 하고 있으면
I,
오른쪽을 못
like, it's basically it's the same way as my window. That's why my room is so fucked, because I get the sun from dusk till dawn. The sun is on my the sun is out there. It's on my window
방송 켜고 하기 전에
because of like the angular. Even on the solstice at the highest point, it's still not like on the other side of the house.
보이지도 않고
So the entire year, that window and the entire sunroom is like, if the sun is out, there's sun there.
하는 게 아니라 이걸로
Makes sense why I follow so many Canadians on here.
좀 스타 할 때 APM 좀 빠른 편이라 확인 누르면 돼요? 아니 아
Balos grows great in a pot too, so that's another option.
좀 적응되면은
Basil, sorry.
할것 같은데. 좀
Hell yeah.
어떻게
I'm just, I can't take care of anything and everything would die.
하겠습니다. 쉬운 거부터 해야지.
And my mom has a ton of flowers in the house, but they're all fake flowers.
고랑이 보너스 같은데?
We have the same fake flowers we had when I was like literally born. Like 35 years old. Why am I not skipping this? I'm an idiot.
140점.
It's just them playing games to like games that they play on the side to like enhance their reflexes and stuff like that.
진출하도록 하겠습니다.
Leeks are just as easy as green onions. It's literally water once a week. Oh, that's too much work, Sean. I can't even water myself once a week. I was like, before the stream, I was like, fuck, I have to have a shower after the stream. So I should have had a shower before the stream. So I don't want to like, kind of go immediately to bed after this. And then my hair's going to be wet, and it's going to be hard to fall asleep, because it's going to be fucking cold as
Welcome
shit.
back, everybody. I'm so excited
Oh,
for this
I'm going to
PvP.
fall asleep at like 5
I
and
know
to wake up at
your matchups always,
9.
you know,
It's going to be a
they're
day tomorrow.
maybe considered the least hype.
But I'll
Yeah,
get some
out
rest
of all
in
matchups
before
in
the
RTS
stream
games,
tomorrow.
but
So tomorrow
how
we're
can you not
starting
be
fresh,
totally pumped for these two
ready to
games?
go, and we can
You know,
do
it's-
like an
it's a great
8-hour
match. I'm
stream
actually
because I don't work till late
Really
the
looking
next
forward
day.
as well to seeing what maps
It's a
are,
good
because
time.
I feel like
So we can get
Uh,
Cryogen done,
in ZVZ,
and we can probably
have
still
different
play
maps. I
some
don't feel like you really get that much
Schedule
of a
1,
different play.
and we'll
Like
get
a little
Chapter
bit,
10
of
too.
course.
What's really great
TVT,
for fertilizer is
kind of the
aquarium
same, where it's like,
wastewater.
okay,
Gotta
yeah, there's
change
a
the
little
tank
bit of a
water, use it
difference,
on your
but in
plants.
PvP,
I'll tell that to my sister.
Like,
She has
the
an
ease of
aquarium.
getting the natural
And she has a
third
mini
base
garden in her
makes a
house.
huge difference, and of course, Dominator
schedule
to
is like
start,
torture.
That's what I was going towards. Rock, paper, scissors.
I mean, I'm a
cases.
masochist.
Which
What
one
can
do
I
you pick?
say?
You know
If
the
I
answer.
really,
It's
really
a long time
need
ago.
it,
It's
I
rock
just
every
won't
time.
stream.
Rock every time. So who's going to go?
But it's like I like streaming. I love streaming. Why would I skip
rock, paper,
this?
scissors on Dominator.
This is my wind down. This is my chill out. This is my escape. My entertainment. And now it feels like if I skip a day, I'd be breaking such a streak. What? We've had like almost 2 months without a single missed day? I can actually go through and look at all of my
Okay, snow in the top left.
my stream
Mini in the
highlights.
center right. By the way, guys, we used to cast ASL out of the studio, and one day they pulled us in and said, we're not getting enough viewership. We're going to just cut this part off. We're making the company smaller, basically, to save money. And we lost our jobs. But we
Really
decided,
unfortunate.
why not try to put this on Patreon? They can send us the clean feed. We can cast it from here. And we've been doing it ever since, thanks to you guys.
Yeah.
So please consider going to patreon.com/ASL English and supporting our endeavor to keep the oldest, best esport alive.
It's such an important thing, and we really do thank
So
you
we've
guys who
streamed
have been
every
members of
day
that Patreon
since
for a long
February
time.
11th.
To allow us to do this and continue to cast ASL is
That's a fucking
amazing.
long time.
You know, Brood War's in
Fish
such
water
a
is
good
living
spot
water,
right
just
now.
like a
It's
river, and
insane.
plants
Like,
always
it's
grow
big,
better when they
big,
can get
big in
living
Korea.
water.
Everyone's doing
Chlorine will
really
hinder
well with
plant
it.
growth and make the
And
product
it's
taste poor.
growing
Roses are
outside
dried
of Korea
blood.
as well.
Roses
we have
like
more people playing
dried
now.
blood.
You know, we have a ton of casting going on.
According to
and,
my
you know,
my
tournaments and stuff
things,
as well. It's just it's a great time.
Yeah, it really is. It's cool to see people picking up the game. You know, there's a point where, you know, when a game's out for a
Like
couple
12,
years, there's
13,
always
14,
this
15,
hysteria about,
16,
like, oh,
17,
the game's
18,
getting older,
19,
is the scene
20,
gonna
all the way
die?
to
And
the 28th.
it does
Then
feel
all
like
of
you've passed this
March,
threshold
March
if the game
1st,
has aged well, where
second,
it's like, no, it's just going to be played forever.
all the
Like
way
Smash
up
Melee.
to the
Yes.
31st.
And we're definitely.
And then we have
definitely in that
April
case,
all
with
the way
Brood
up
War.
to the
This game is
24th.
27 now, I want to say.
Insane.
26 or 27 years old.
Yeah.
And
26.
So, like,
think.
if I take a day off now, I feel
Yeah.
like I'm breaking a
and
crazy streak.
It's just like, I mean, it's thriving.
And it doesn't even feel like it's been, I'm like a month and a
It's kind of
half.
hard
It's been
time
3
with StarCraft
months.
2 right now, and Brood War is just unaffected
don't
by
wanna
anything because it
over-exaggerate,
has
right?
zero to do with the publisher.
I
You know,
mean,
like ASL, obviously that's amazing.
it's been
that
10
Sue
months,
puts this
2
on.
months, like right
But
after
even
my
without
birthday
ASL,
is our
like,
1 year
there's
anniversary,
still, like, other
which we're
leagues
gonna try and do
going
a
on, but
24-hour
ASL is
stream
such
for
an
that.
important integral part of this.
Well, I think it's also a nod to the history of StarCraft being put on TV.
As long as it's fun,
1999, basically.
then it isn't
You
a
know,
challenge.
the
Well, some
industry
things can be a
being
challenge
coming on
and
people,
fun,
you know,
but it
getting
depends
around
on
the
what
couch
kind of
and
challenge.
watching it together like you would a football game.
Yeah.
You know, or a
Um,
UFC match or something like that.
Like,
And so there'll
the
always be
anniversary
tournaments
of me
online,
starting
you know,
streaming
play-ins
is
you can
like
go to, but it's something
July
special about a
6th.
seasonal system like
Or
this.
July
A little bit
7th
like
or
a
something
Netflix
like that.
season, you know,
When I
where you
got
get
the
to watch,
Starforge PC.
let's say,
That's when I would say I officially started streaming. Even though I streamed a little bit before that, but like not
15,
at the
16
level
days,
that I did when I got the
4 days.
Starforge. Because I lagged as
plus
fuck
1.
with my other PC. It was
So
bullshit.
15 days.
So he got the scout off.
Yeah.
So, but it's, you know, it's nice to kind of tune in, follow a part of a story, and then come back later and pick it up, and eventually you have the best player, you have a champion. So in this game, we'd had.
But I'll let you guys know in advance.
Snow did get inside of Minnie's base and look around. Nobody had any.
Oh,
kind
and
of,
Smokey, do you happen
you
to
know,
still be there? I don't know if you were here for the
alarming
whole
text
like werewoman
that, you could find. We're both going
full
for
moon
mid-range.
thing. Because
Minnie
then I
will
can tell you
probably
to
have
be
play
here for
slightly
every
more
full
conservatively
moon, because
he
that's
doesn't
when I'm
know
going to do my
what
makeup streams.
Snow is
So
teching
the
to.
fourth
There's always
fireworks in the
possibility that
U.S.
Snow
are
has,
now
like,
in
a Citadel
celebration of
making
another
there.
year
In fact,
streaming.
he's not. He's going for a robo instead.
I mean, July
They're both
1st
going
is
robo.
Canadian
So that's gonna
Independence
give
Day.
us, like, most
So,
likely an even position
Canada
here.
Day.
So what I was talking about with rock paper
I
scissors
got a new
before,
job,
guys,
so my
is because there is a
tense
reverse
watching
ramp,
days are soon to
you know,
be
where you have
over.
high ground
Oh,
outside the main
Eggy,
base,
that's
that
okay.
makes 3-gate goon
It is what it is,
outstandingly
man.
strong. Like if you just go 3
I appreciate that
goon,
you've stuck
you
around
can
this long,
push in
brother.
and hold the top of the ramp, and it's really hard to push up a ramp. And so what kills 3-gate goon for free? It's Dark Templar. And what kills Dark Templar? It's Quick Observer. What kills Quick Observer? More goons than you have. So this map
PvP sounds really intense,
guys.
guys.
As well. Basically anything with the
But hey, you can
low-ground
still
main
watch the
base
VODs,
has
Eggy.
been historically kind of
I
a
know
rock,
it's not
paper,
the
scissors
same
type
without being able to
situation,
engage
but
with
there
the
are
chat.
middle of the road builds. Like we see here from Mini,
But I
he's going
mean-
Observer 3-gate.
There's always the
Observer
Discord
3
too.
gate's very
I'm
safe.
hoping at some point in time people will actually
And,
like
you know, you don't die
use
to
the
their
Discord.
3-gate, and you still have
But
the robo
I
attack.
don't use the Discord, so
he
it's like
probably
I can't
won't be
really
Shuttle and
ask other
Reavers
people to
here.
use the Discord if I don't really use it.
Snow is going for the everything.
My
build
bad.
Here, where he's got
But
gateways,
yeah.
he's got a robo attack. He could expand, or he could go for a Shuttle Reaver here. There's also a build where you can just
I
go
really
for Flying
should
Reaver,
like
and
log
that's
into it on
extremely
my
powerful,
phone.
especially on maps where you start out in low ground, because they
that
get
would
a
probably be
Shuttle
the
and
best
Reaver
way.
on
Congrats
your
on new
high
job.
ground.
Hope it is either a
It's
better
so hard
environment
to
or at least
reclaim.
pays better. True, Eggy.
It's how do you even push up? You know, because you can always just pick up the Reaver.
Hopefully
against
it's a
Reaver
step in the
shots.
right
It's-
direction.
Yeah, if you lose that high ground, it's really, really devastating, which is why the very fast 3-gate builds sometimes can counter these builds that we're seeing from Mini and Snow, but they're both doing it, you know, they're both trying to be kind of active with their units
This
out
is
front,
so
kind of poking, seeing what's
insane,
going
man.
on. So Mini's
I
going
have
much heavier into the gateway
absolutely
units and
no
Snow's going
idea
into the
who's
Reaver.
gonna win.
In these positions, because the Robo slowed Mini down a bit, I think that Snow's build is just a bit better. What do you would say?
Thanks, Sean.
I think they're both pretty good. You know, Dragoon Observer is very strong in that it can actually fight everything when it's 3-gate. Like, you can even fight Reaver build.
I hate
If
getting
you
new
want, you can
jobs.
always tech into a later
I
Reaver
like
if you want.
I like
It's got a lot
things
of
staying the
flexibility to
same.
it.
I like stagnant. It's back
But
in an
this game,
office because I'm losing my
Snow
mind
getting
working
ready
from
for an
home alone.
expansion up here. You know, I think
I
Mini
could
just
see
run
that,
up here and
Eggy.
Kill this, right? I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't he have like 2 or 3 more Dragoons?
Well, there is a Reaver coming
That's
out.
my
so if you
problem.
get
It's
some
like
really good Reaver
work
shots,
feels
maybe
fine,
that
but
can
like
make the
on my
difference,
days
but
off when I'm
definitely
trying to
Mini has
sit
a
here
big
and
army at the
edit
moment. He
or
hasn't started
write, like
yet
if I'm
with
writing
Nexus,
like
but he does
erotica
make
that
a
I'm not
very good
writing on
arc here,
stream,
which is really, really important. The arc is going to make him shoot everything all at once.
or
so
I'm
it's
like
really
just
hard to
doing
go
like
in and
random
actually
stuff for the
engage
book
as
that
Mini.
it's not really
And
interesting.
the zealot counts are actually really important. Like if Mini goes
Or
in
like
the zealot
planning the
lead,
stream
they
or
eat the
something
first
like
scarab.
that.
But of course,
It's
Snow
like
has
it
a couple
feels
zealots in there as well. And zealots
like I have to
tank
push
better
myself to
and
do
deal
that
damage quicker than dragoons.
because I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
it's my
having
day
one
off.
zealot
I
in a
don't want
mix
to work,
with the
right? So I
dragoons
could
is really
definitely
good.
see like having to
It draws
really
a lot
push
of
yourself
fire
when you're
away.
sitting at
He's
home
gonna
and you're
fly
like,
in here
I
with
could
his
be fucking
observer, and he
around
will
right
be pushed
now.
off.
I had better do my work,
And
right?
right now,
I'm like, oh, I got 8
nobody
hours
is
to edit. I
confident
spend 2 hours of that
standing
editing,
here.
6 hours of that fucking
like,
around.
Snow's going to basically
Watching
kind of lean
Asmongold.
into the position. He's got oh.
As much as we complain
Snow
about going to
with
work,
this,
it breaks up
observer
the
away. I think he has to
monotony
go in a straight line
so we
and
can
he will be
appreciate
okay.
being free.
Yeah,
It is true,
very
Sean. Like, I
nice.
spent 8 years without a job because
funny,
of
there's
my
like the other
seizures
observers
and my
simply
medical
cannot
condition and
catch
shit
it.
like that.
As long as you go in a
So
straight
I
line,
understand the
don't lose any of,
stagnance of sitting around and
that
not
speed, I
having a
guess.
schedule and not
Okay,
being
so
held
Snow
accountable
has
for
moved
basically
forward with his
anything.
secondary
Smoking
route.
weed
I
all
think he
day
has to move back.
and
He's making the Nexus. I
sleeping
think
all
that's the
day,
perfect
playing
play
video
for Mini.
games all
Like, you have
night,
to make the Nexus here
staying up
because your
as
opponent is
late as
getting
I
more
wanted,
cost-efficient
doing
armies.
basically
So
whatever the
he could
fuck I
probably
wanted.
go back to his own high ground and just
Structure
make
is
it
kinda
really
nice
hard
to
for Snow
have.
push. But the
It gives
back
you an
of his
appreciation.
main is facing
And that's where like
towards
the idea of the
Snow. So Snow
stagnance
has
in the
a
tree
lot of
came from.
potential
It's
here
like
with
my
the Reavers,
experience with
where he
like
can either
a
threaten the push
stagnating
with the
life
Reavers
where only
or
entertainment
threaten
is
a
the
counter
only
draw.
thing that I can drag myself to pull myself away from reality.
Yeah, Snow, I think, is thinking about pushing here. And Mini's basically
And that's
gonna
how I
try
like to
take a
use
fight
like
over
my
here.
grounded feelings of
And I think that's
reality
just one Reaver
and
here.
write them
Maybe there's a
into the
second one. He
book
didn't
of how
drop it.
I would
Okay,
think
good
people would
targeting on
feel
the
in a
shuttle,
situation
but
that
it only
I've
takes shield
experienced in a similar way.
And Mini is, I think,
right?
more interested in basically
And I feel like that gives the society more of a
blockading this
rounded
push. I
and
don't think he's gonna try
grounded
to push
and
it himself.
like
He's trying to just drive this away.
relatable feeling
Because
to it
what
because it
our
actually
coach was saying
feels
earlier
like
is
people that have been in
100%
that
right.
situation
Like,
understand.
this main is
Are you like
huge
Jeff
on the
Dunham's
side over
Walter
here, and you
as
get a shuttle in there and start to
a
drop and hit
Walmart
Reavers and
greeter?
pull out,
Hello,
you
welcome to
could probably
Walmart.
push
Get your
into
shit
the,
and get out.
Expansion.
No,
So,
people
both
literally
sides
have
are gonna
asked
get
me
their
over the
Reavers
last
up.
week, like,
A lot
what's
of times in
wrong?
games like
Because
this,
I haven't been
target tech
smiling at work.
past
Because I've been
Reaver
so
tech.
tired. Because normally I'm like,
Especially on this map where you have this big main that's in low ground because it's very droppable.
hey, how's it
So we may
going?
see a Dragoon
Yeah,
Reaver
no
dog
worries.
fight
Great
goes
day
on
out there.
for a
Nice
long
weather,
time.
eh?
When you,
No
I've
worries, take
seen
care.
a lot of
Have a great
PvPs
day.
where they do stay on Reaver for quite some time, and it always
Yeah,
feels
sure,
to
what
me
can I
like,
get for you?
Okay, the
Two
first
waters?
Reavers get
Perfect,
microed
sounds good.
magnificently, the next two less so, and anything
Now I'm
beyond
more like-
that is just
Right.
nothingness as far as micro goes. So I just wonder if is Snow
Right.
just
Have a
like
good day.
considerably better at using multiple shuttles of Reavers,
They're
or
like,
does he
"Where's your
drop off
smile?"
everyone
And I'm
else
like,
as well?
I'm tired. It's been a rough week.
I guess if he decides to go that route, I think what's more important is that if they're
I'm like that when people come in at
lots
10
of
at
openings like
freaking
that,
9:50 and we
extremely
close
good.
at 10,
miscontrolled there by
and
Mini.
they're like, "Oh, I just need a
my
couple
God,
of things." They
the
grab a cart.
flank
I'm like,
from
"Yeah,
Mini
you need a
is
couple of
huge, and he
fucking
actually
things. Get the
gets
fuck
the
out."
Reaver there, the shuttle rather, and his Reaver's getting
Oh
some good
man,
shots, but Snow seems like he has enough.
yeah, he has the
I
Reaver
think
left
he's just
over.
gonna hold this.
True about breaking it
Dude, I
up.
thought for a second there, I'm like, damn, Mini is such a tactical genius. And maybe he is, but yeah, he has to.
Whoa.
He has to GG there.
Holy
Unfortunately,
shit!
lost too
Snow
much.
just
Yeah.
wrecked.
Man, that was a kind of
Yeah.
a sudden GG as well. It felt like.
He was like, "I can't come back from this."
I think he
Fuck.
just kind of, Reaver.
Snow's Reavers are just
they're
so
really frustrating. 'cause
fucking
things move
good.
Slow. You're moving
It's
these
disgusting.
extremely slow, powerful units that can really be microed perfectly, by the way. But it's a little bit of a micro poker game. Like oh man, Mini is so
Yeah.
distraught.
Mini
He is
is
unhappy
the
with that.
worst when
He
it comes to getting
He
tilted.
didn't need to do
If
that.
Mini
I
gets
think what you wanna
tilted,
do back
he
here is
just
go for shuttle
fucking
speed
plummets down a
and start
goddamn
trying
hill.
to take
There is
pot
no
shots
coming
at
back for him.
He had the pressure on him. I think he could have looked for shots to kill Dragoons.
So
picked
unfortunate.
up, run back, kept doing that over and over. But I think he pushed too far.
Well, you know, obviously he did.
Christian
Because he had
Sabbath
the
is
GG
meant to
right
be a
afterwards.
gift. Basically, God was saying,
You know,
I
great
didn't
defensive
design
plays there
you to
from Snow.
work
Didn't
for
even
pay
have to
every
attack
day,
that game,
take a
just
day
kind of
off.
blocked everything Mini was
Made
up
me
to.
laugh in
But that's the
Canada
one
where
map
they have
that's
the
gonna look
signs like
that. That's
shampoo
like,
and
you know,
less shampoo.
Dominator just plays kind of funny. We're going to Deja Vu.
Well,
and
everything's
All-Star
like
if
pretty
we make
much
it there.
French and
And
English.
these maps are
That's just how
much more
it always is.
standard
So it
than
doesn't feel
Dominator
weird
for
to me because that's
PvP.
just how it always is. It feels weird to me when
Right.
there's no French on
Yeah,
it.
you're
I'm
really
like, where's the
locked in
French? And they're like,
playing that
French. And I'm
map.
like, oh, you're not Canadian.
And, you know, Snow just played a conservative game. He just stayed safe. He didn't do anything crazy.
I mean, it just
And,
doubles the size
whatever
of
extension for Mini
everything.
was all Snow needed. I guess
Because you
there's
have to have a
world where Mini
French
could have tried to
side.
stay in there a little bit longer
Or it
and
comes
more,
with
but,
two, an English and a French.
Anyways, guys, we're gonna go into game number
Lot
two
of
here.
wasted
The
fucking
winner
paper,
of
I'd
this
say.
best of three
Maybe if we were in
moving on to
Montreal,
second remaining
right,
spot
or
in round of eight.
in Quebec, then maybe. But Quebec has like special exceptions and stuff. If you look at like the policies for like most companies in Canada, they'll always have an asterisk and then
Alright, so
say
we have,
except
Stone
Quebec
top right
or
there, Mini in the bottom left.
this. You can also do this
Deja
in
Vu,
Quebec.
Anything in particular about this map?
It's
stand
so
out to
weird.
you,
I don't know
Jesus,
why
as
the
far as
rules in Quebec are so
Protoss
different
goes?
from everywhere else.
Well,
when
let's
most
say
of
the
them are
beginning game
standardized
looks like
throughout
the last
Canada.
one. You do have a high ground area in the middle of the map.
It shouldn't
so
have anything to do with them being
Dragoons,
French
Dragoon
Canadian
Rivers,
speaking
Dragoon Rivers is
French.
pretty
It's like a
punishing
policy thing.
if they can get it
yeah.
contained.
Like
PvP is
acceptable
not really
IDs
about
for
contains a lot of
things
time.
for like Western Union exchanges.
It's more about pushes in narrow areas.
We should
but
create an
just something to look
Amero,
for.
like the euro,
I
a
think there's plenty of
universal
different ways to
currency that
approach this
functions
map.
in any country
Koreans
on any
pretty much
on
don't
an
2-gate
American
ever at the highest level unless it's like inside
continent.
their opponent's base. Which Mini's done actually plenty of games,
Yeah.
but most of the time.
So
it's
all of
very
North
linked
America
down
and
to
all
one
of South
gate,
America?
gas, cybernetic score plays.
Mhm.
So I mean, you know, usually there's not a ton to remark about early on in PvP unless
So
they
take
deviate
all
from that.
pesos.
Sure. The specific
In
Deja
Central
Vu you
America?
mentioned, it could be punishing because of the high ground.
So
that
take,
kind
like,
of rings the
pesos,
center. I know
USD,
that's
CND.
That's kind of what early game Terran versus Terran on this map revolves around. Is if you lose that
Right.
position, it's basically game over. Would you?
I don't know
would you
what,
say
because I
it's
know
similar
like a
in
lot of
PvP?
places use pesos, but there's different
No,
kind of
not
pesos.
exactly.
Like
I mean,
here,
PvP,
it's
the
like
funny
a lot
thing
of people
is,
are from the
like, there's a lot of
Philippines,
times when it's
not
easy for
Mexico,
either side to
right?
attack into
So
each other.
it's like
They both
we
have
send
tunnels and rivers.
Filipino
Yeah.
pesos. But I
You
don't know
can
if the
try to
Filipino
contain them
pesos
heavily,
are the
but
same
if
as the
you play
Mexican
a slow,
pesos.
contained game where you just sit out there, they can try to
So I don't know if they all use pesos,
pesos,
but they use a different kind of peso?
long term if you can kind of get past.
Or if it's all
the
interchangeable,
threats that a
it's the
Reaver
same
can create.
currency. I'm not sure. Because
So,
in our system, we can
like,
choose
a
like
Psy
which
Storm
kind of
just forces
peso
a
it
shuttle and a
is.
Reaver to pick up. They'll both take damage and move. At best, at worst, it just eats the whole Psy Storm and can't get out. Right.
Yes.
And two Psy Storms will kill a Reaver.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that before you get that Psy Storm tech, the Reavers can do a ton of damage. The Reavers can also push you and kill you before you get Psy Storm. So, you know, there's a lot of games where we see
Same name but different country.
nothing past Reaver tech,
Yeah.
basically. But there's
Currency.
also games where both
Yeah.
sides, you know, they're pretty buttoned up. There's not.
I mean, it's like dollars, right? There's Canadian dollars and U.S. dollars, but
Also, if
they're
you have
still
Shuttle
called the
speed,
dollar, right?
In a late game PvP, a Psy Storm.
So that's
drop
kind of what I
in the middle
assumed with
line is
pesos as well.
basically the
So in
strongest thing
Canada,
there
it
is.
would show both
Yeah.
Canadian
Because
dollars and
shuttle-
Ameros,
I mean,
and
sorry,
then the
boats are
U.S.
extremely
it would show
brittle.
USD and
They don't
Ameros.
have, like,
Head down to
Scourge
Mexico,
or
then pesos,
Storm
Ameros,
Crawlers.
same thing,
I mean,
every
even
country
against
to allow
Zerg,
easy travel
Psy Storm
across
drops are
borders.
just devastating.
True, Sean.
Like, it's hard to stop it from happening. Terran, I think they've got, you know, with the siege tanks and
But our priorities are
First, it's a
different, you
little
know.
bit
We got to
easier.
deal with
And
the
they don't-
DEI
yes, you need to have
issue,
more
the
health.
woke
I think that's
issue, the
biggest
trans
thing, so that they can
issue,
eat a piece of a Psy
um,
Storm and sometimes still get
the
away.
native
If the Psy Storm
issue,
hits
the
a rover
Indian
or drone,
issue,
it's basically dead.
the
Like, it's
Mexican
very rare for it to
issue,
get out.
the Filipino
if it touches it
issue.
for more than a second, then it dies.
All
Yeah, that's one of the
social
funny things. You'll
issues.
Psy Storm drop
You
Terrans
know?
and like sometimes
Cultural
it doesn't feel like it got
things.
anything, and then like the second or the third drop
Yeah.
kills
But
everything.
dear God, no, we
All
don't care about the
damage.
economy,
But
we
the
don't care about the
extra HP on the
military, we
SUVs
don't
makes a
care
huge
about
difference.
science.
So, if we get into late game,
We don't care
that would
about
definitely
industry.
be, something to look for here. In this game, Mini's scouting probe is being chased away. Looks like Snow's going to try to moving shot this. I'm always blown away that players are good enough to do this. I guess he actually messes it up.
Yeah, Mini is actually the
But
first.
he's
guy that
got
I
the
saw do
extra
this
hit,
for
so
real.
he's got to make his Dragoon run
but
away.
It's become such a thing at this point that it's actually. It might end up being problematic for the balance of the game. The amount of scout
Yeah.
denial you can get if you're really high level. I once
Yeah,
saw
there are things
Mini
that kind of
kill,
break the
like,
game
4
if you're
of Light's
too good at
SCVs
it.
in a row, and Light just couldn't get to his base, and it was like, okay, this. If everyone ends up being able to do this, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
I mean, get ready. We're probably a couple years away from everybody being so good at moving shot that it's just out of this world.
Yeah.
4 moving
this is
shot
the
probes
Robotech
at the same
coming up here.
time. Moving in
If
that,
you
like,
wanna
to
learn
make your
PvP,
art, like, in a
you're not sure how to play it, you
in a
can
mirror
always just get a
matchup,
robo
if
and
you
then get
add,
second
let's say,
gaze,
2
or
probes
second
to the
gateway,
fight,
excuse me,
and
you're
they have 3
basically
dragoons
safe
and
for
2
setting
zealots,
thing.
and you have 3 dragoons
Yes,
and
they
2
might have
zealots, and you have 2
expanded before you,
probes,
but, like, you're
you win the
still
fight.
okay.
And you win the fight by,
This is
like,
the
a
best way to play blind
fuck
PvP.
ton.
Stork made this very,
Because the
very
probes
common,
do a decent amount of
in the
damage.
matchup. Other players as well, but I think Stork probably
It's
perfected
just
this.
enough to tip you over, and then it's like you've
you're
killed
gonna be fine
all
versus
3 of their
everything.
dragoons
You can't
and their zealots, and
lose.
they've only killed
SCVs
your
won't
zealots.
kill you. You won't die
And they
from
haven't
per
killed the
push,
probes either.
but you're not necessarily ahead
It's like,
in any way.
there
But
is a
sometimes
point in
that's the way to
time when
play,
that
is to
becomes
just
a
play
thing.
safe.
For sure, that can be. You know, you kind of have to know.
I
who
might
you're
say
against.
Hawaii
If you're
wouldn't
against a
need
much
it,
weaker
except
player,
you get
that's gonna
travelers
be
from
the
other
best
countries
way
there too. The
pretty
idea
much
in
every
general,
time.
though, is for those who vacation in a vehicle,
You know, I
or
can
else
definitely make
truck
some arguments
drivers
for
makes
playing a
it
more
so
risky
you don't
style
overpay for
when
gas
it's like
due to
really
not understanding
a
what you're
high-level
looking
player
at.
that you're against. You know,
True.
because it's like,
Right.
well, you kind of
True,
need
Sean.
the edge.
That makes sense.
You know, going for something middle of the road, like if they take a risk and you don't, then they might be the ones that get that advantage. But you know, that being said, it looks like they're both kind of going down this middle of the road type of style, anyways.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like we're going to end up in the same place. Shuttle Reaver, you know, nobody able to do that much damage to each other. Possibly both pushing into each other here. 6 Dragoons here for Mini. An Observer probably moments away from popping out. And we actually have the Observer already inbound here for Snow. So you can get an Observer, a Reaver, and a Shuttle in any order, but they are better in certain situations in certain orders.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to, like, kind of just get everything out optimally and save time, it would always be Shuttle and then either Reaver or Observer, depending. Yeah. Safer one would be Shuttle, Observer, Reaver. If you were, like, fast expanding, you might end up going, like, Observer, Reaver, right? You don't, if you're trying to play
That's
super
bad.
safe, because you don't want to die to DTs, so you get that out and scout them, but then, here's the Reaver in case a push comes. And then finally, you might even get a second Reaver, and then a Shuttle, where you're like, okay, now it's my turn to try to harass you.
Yeah, it's like, now I can get to
and
the other side of
ordering
the
here
map,
for
so
Mini
that's
is
what's
going to be
important.
such that, you know, he's going to come out here and scout. He's setting up for a push. And Snow doing something very different. He's basically expanding and defending here. So Mini needs to get something done, or he's going to be behind.
And yeah, Snow skip that Shuttle. The reason that you always would go Shuttle first is because it takes 19 seconds for an Observatory or a Reaver or support bay to make. So like you just lose build time on the Robo. So you know, more efficient to get that Shuttle first, and that's what Mini has done. But by skipping the Shuttle, that gives Snow those extra minerals, and he has the Nexus coming up. So you know, his Shuttle comes out next. But this is going to be a little bit rough. Like there's a Reaver here in a Shuttle already. That's a nice Scarab, but he was retreating, so doesn't take the full damage, but still losing a few units here. This looks like a push that Mini's going to be able to get some damage on.
But Snow's
Yeah,
Reavers
I
are
do
just
like
so
that he's
good.
got, that was such a good dodge. He needs to get down here. Perfect. And now this is the way that Snow can stall, is they both are forced to continuously juggle. And then,
See,
you know,
Snow's
how
just
can
so
anybody
smart.
advance here? Now, as this goes on, you probably can't transfer probes, but this is so taxing on both players that neither one can usually do a whole lot other than just this in this moment.
One thing
So Mini's going to try.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you see this pylon here. This is like actually great Reaver defense, because to kill that with Scarabs, if you kill it with one Reaver with Scarabs, it costs 5 more minerals to kill it than it costs to make. So it's just like a very good defense, and obviously as you use Scarabs, you shoot quicker than you remake Scarabs too. So you have to be really careful when there's pylons out there. Though it's hilarious that pylons are the best defensive structure Protoss has. Against Reavers, against, I guess not against Zerg, but against Vultures, like pylons are just god tier.
Yeah, it's this funny thing. If you've ever seen a pylon at the front of a base and you never see cannons there, you never see anything else, that's why. Is the pylon is basically a shot pathing battery, where they're, you know, if they leave the Reaver unattended,
it's a damage
kind of looks around and goes, pylon, and shoots it, because this whole game's designed so that when you leave your units alone, they kind of try to get the job done for you, as best they can, and that basically screws up, you know, the loaded Scarabs in there. Now, Snow's got shuttle speed and Mini does not. Now, Snow has to be careful if he tries to go around and harass. Mini could possibly push in here and just try to kill him.
He's set up an additional pylon out there in front as well. So these are like, they also screw up the pathing as you walk in with your Dragoons and whatnot. A few Dragoons going around. Is this for like probe snipes? Is this to just catch some Dragoons coming out? What is this 4 Dragoon set doing?
3 Dragoons one-shot a probe. So if he runs into the natural, he could kill a bunch of probes, basically without his opponent being able to do much of anything. So I think that's what's going to happen.
Looks that way.
Yeah, we're not getting a shot of it. So this is like just enough that you can like kill off the Reavers, kill off the Dragoons, and actually cause a real headache over here. So he's going to wipe out those Dragoons. He's juggling this as best he can. There it is. Our pylon in the way, kind of buying time. He was hoping to move in there.
And of course, lifting up here, you're going to dodge all those Scarabs. Does get some Scarabs off here. It seems like Snow's defense is pretty solid with 3 Reavers. The 4 Dragoons that he has on the other side, you know, they've already done a little bit of damage. We see both sides supply blocked, which is kind of funny to see. But those Dragoons will now get pushed back by Mini's Dragoons coming out of his gates.
Yeah, that's micro for you.
Yeah, they're not quite able to get anything done here. Mini's going to unload again. And you can see it's a really delicate interaction when they both have Reavers like this.
But Liz, he's still got the 1 Dragoon.
Oh, God, he has 1 Dragoon alive here. That's kind of
He killed
funny.
a probe. Whew. Snow's just so good with the Reaver.
We don't have any shots of their mains. I believe they're just still locked into this tech, by the way, guys.
I think so. How do you know when to add the Citadel and Templar archives here?
Tastetosis, I don't know. I think there's a lot of games that just kind of commit to this because it's tricky to get the tech out. I mean, we can kind of watch and see. They're not making probes, by the way. I've seen a lot of games where they just seem to like commit.
Oh
to
no,
Dragoons.
this is either going to be really good or really bad.
It becomes this big clash in the middle here. So he's going to drop over here on the side, and the Reaver is just not able to defend this position for
this
Mini.
is bad.
And Snow is completely
this might just be the end of the game.
This spot over here where Mini was dominating.
Because if he keeps
Snow
just pushing,
back up and reposition.
Really seems like tactical.
Oh, that's insane! The Reaver shots.
Like he is finding little positions that he can move into. He's being much more active. Mini's just been trying to.
That was a good thing. Try and put it in there, but
has outplayed him the entire time.
He was smart enough to have the Dragoons ready there.
That Mini can get back home, but he's got to be careful. An overextension, you know, versus Reavers with speed.
See, it could be. Snow could now get. He only got 1 Reaver out.
Off that Reaver super fast. Tries to pull back. The Scarab does get a good hit.
Oh no,
but he's going to be able to push this back as well.
This is bad.
This feels like a very big advantage for Snow now.
Mini looked like he swallowed his tongue when that shuttle was picked off.
I told you, Mini gets tilted so fucking easily. It's so sad.
Here. Somehow, miraculously, Mini actually drives that away. That was supposed to be maybe the killing blow, where those Scarabs getting their shots off and wiping out all of those workers.
The Dragoons will go to the high ground. Looks like Snow doesn't even want to deal with that right now. I think bringing his entire army together.
He got his third ready.
That we saw from Mini before could be a good move here with his Reavers on the high ground.
And he has Scarab damage.
For that little
he has Scarab damage.
He was doing to Mini.
They both have Scarab
so
damage.
He's going to do a 4 Reaver push.
Oh, there's
and
no
this
shuttle?
is a good way to end it if you really get like the supremacy of your Reavers in the game, and they're in like a narrow bottleneck like this. You just kind of shove in. He's going to keep some of the Reavers in the back. Pick those up and add those in later. You don't want to have all the Reavers at once going because the Scarabs can just kill them all like immediately. If you get a good connection.
Snow's actually fumbling this like really badly.
Enough job juggling. I almost wonder if Snow could have pushed through a little bit further there. He decides to back up and take a third.
He really fumbled the Reavers.
Shots that Mini was getting. He actually hit the Reavers with the Scarab there as well. And you know, Reavers do not last that long at that point. You know, they don't have that much health. It feels like they have more health than they do because they get microed so heavily with the shuttle. But at 180, it's like 2 Scarabs and they're gone.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, they'll get low enough that if they're exposed at all, they just get killed.
So no, the shuttle, is he going to see it?
okay. I think he just didn't see that.
Yeah.
I think so.
That did show up on the mini
Oh,
map.
there's 3
well,
Dragoons
he's
there,
got some
though.
Dragoons back here anyways.
I think
But,
he saw it.
You know,
I
Artos,
think he
you
saw
were
it.
talking about the whole contain thing, and, you know, will that happen here? Well, if they're both locked in on Reavers, you can contain them like this. Nobody has tried
I mean,
to dive
Snow has
into
3
Templar
bases.
attack.
That's just
In fact,
it.
I don't think anybody
That's
has
all
a
he
Citadel.
needs.
I don't
There's
think
no
so.
Citadel in this game. So,
No
you know, had
storms.
one player stayed on Reavers, and the other one tried to just, you know, barrel into
Side
the
storm?
Citadel tech, then I think it would be easier to break this. But right now, it's going to be 3 base versus 2, and that's kind of all you
Oh!
need. In fact, he's going to get another Robo Bay here.
Ooh, yeah. I can't believe he's getting a second Robo. I feel like I don't ever really see that in PvP. That's definitely more of a
I
other
think this is
matchup
becoming
thing.
more popular.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's
Ooh,
picked up
but
quite
he pulled
a bit.
he pulled the
on
probes.
maps like this where they can be exploited. It's like this is so much.
Woo!
Oh, he's got a shit ton of
You know, you get
probes.
Templars and
That was
Storm.
really good.
Yeah, I mean, you could try to get the workers, but like here, if you see 2 exposed Dragoons and you have 2 Reavers, you just one-shot it.
Yeah, he just killed 4 goons and a bunch of probes, and I think he hit 1 Scarab onto the Reavers as well. So, like, he was actually behind by, like, 20 supply, and now he's ahead. But Snow has the third base mining, and he does have a containment. So whatever Mini's doing with his shuttles, great on him. He's getting some damage. He's keeping the game competitive. But Snow still has a better position.
Oh. Oh my
Oh,
Oh my
Jesus.
God.
17 kills.
He's getting so much damage.
The 28
You gotta
kills,
imagine
29
that,
kills.
Scarab damage has been
Oh
upgraded
no,
here.
this is where Mini can
I don't
take
think
on
the
take him.
capacity has been upgraded yet, but
Because Mini's better at macro, but Snow is better at micro. So all he needed was to get in there once with the shuttles. And I think that's pretty much GG.
Really don't stand a chance against 3 Reavers, especially if you micromanage them at all.
Look at that. He deals so much damage. The Nexus
And he's
almost
going to the main.
falls. He gets a bunch of probes. He gets a bunch of units. Diving into the main base. Now, that containment from Snow is starting to look stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mini's really getting a lot of work done here. And, you know, these pylons that you build early on occasionally force this kind of maze-like path you have to move through with your clunky Dragoons.
He has to kill the
shots off,
shuttles,
and you can
but he
basically
can't.
keep
Oh,
juggling,
Mini
keep
missed
cycling the
micro.
Reavers in and out of the shuttles and get so many more kills.
Well, I think he has 2 Reavers left here. Yeah, and drops them out. And is he going to get out with this as well? Oh,
Yep.
absurd.
Yep.
Absurd.
Look at all the Dragoons that he has. Holy
Kill your
shit!
eggs, for God's sake!
Oh, no. There's actually a technique that's happening here that I learned a while back watching like a Snow tutorial. You actually want a chunk of your army in the main, like most of it, so that when you move out with everything, it comes in a line. You don't want it all moving at
What?
once.
So,
Yeah, because
attack
it'll just all
poorly?
get killed.
that's a Protoss thing,
Well,
is
'cause it'll
attack
all-
poorly.
It'll all run into Scarabs or Storm.
That's crazy. That kind of
Yeah,
reminds
so you
me of how
basically-
Zerg attacks sometimes, yeah.
Yep. You don't want to have everything.
Oh,
kind
Mini
of
might have this because he's
succinctly
better at
together.
macroing.
So that's why you
even
have,
on 2 bases.
big chunks of the army in the main is because the ramp will
But he's out of
automatically-
minerals now. If
That's
Snow can
wild.
hold on,
That is so
if Snow
cool.
can
So,
hold
yeah,
on for like
did Snow
another
actually
5
say
minutes, I think Snow will win.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
But Mini has to
And I
put
was
down a
I was
Nexus
oh
like
my
fucking
God,
now.
okay.
You're like,
'Cause
I've been good all along.
No, because in my games I would have them all.
Yeah,
at,
so he's getting a Nexus down at the bottom
natural,
bottom
right?
left.
I mean, that's just like what you do.
Down
But
at
apparently, this is like
six
an
or
easy way to
6 to
kind of
7
do this,
o'clock.
and it makes it so that you're not overexposed in a fight.
That's cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I feel like we're at one of those like groups or something. I'm like, thank you for sharing your story, Tasteless. That was really
Yeah,
interesting. No, that is
He's
a
gonna
very
try
cool
to surround
tactic.
him here.
Ooh, big scarab onto those
Ooh.
Reavers. Gets the shuttle as well. Mini's push that looked like it might be able
He's
to end.
pincered
Snow
him.
not gonna be
GG.
able to do it. GG.
Damn!
Snow advances in first place. The first
That was
non-Zerg player, the only
insane
non-Zerg player
PvP. Look at that. He's
to
like,
win it
yes,
here in this round.
we did it, boys. We did it.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely earned it, man. He
Round
looked
of 8.
extremely strong.
Looked fantastic.
Let's go.
The best Reaver user of all time. The best
Yep.
PvTer of all
Mini's
time.
like,
not a lot of Terrans right now.
Mini's
in
still
round
gonna
of
get
8,
out.
So
Only thing he
I
has to
think
do
this
is
will be
beat
one of his
Hero.
tougher round of 8s.
Made him
We'll
work
see if
for
Rush
it.
can
Yeah.
manage to make it.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
true.
another Rush versus Hero
And like I said,
next year, but-
that was a
yeah,
tilted
well,
Mini.
round of
If
8
you saw
round
Mini
of 8
after the end of the first
which is
game,
awesome.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was
Oh,
not
yeah, we will
Mini's
actually
best.
know. What am I
If Snow
saying?
gets light,
Once
I'm
he
gonna-
gets
I'm gonna
tilted, he
freak
moves
Tasteless.
down to like
Snow better not
50%
get light.
game. Like he was doing really bad with the Reavers. Like he lost so many Reavers when he shouldn't have with the micro. Like
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I don't know if it was
we're gonna go with
priority.
the guys, and see
And
what
he
Snow's
didn't
thinking
take the
of
third
leading the
as
group.
soon as he blew up all of the economy of Snow, and he
Yeah.
knew Snow had to stay back.
Like, shut
He
up,
should have
Jesus.
immediately taken the third.
Jesus, and
But he
no,
ran out of
man,
minerals
they
and he
didn't
was
have
just
anything to do.
fucked.
Dude, I can't
So I think that was
believe
just
what Mini
decision
ended
making
up
that was
getting
just
done with
not
those shuttles,
like
and
proper
then
decision making.
Still
Crazy.
could not push through Snow.
He was basically attempting an all-in,
No, it's pretty sick, man.
even though he like
it's pretty wild.
he will
I
outplay
really enjoyed this PvP. I
Snow
wish it
in a
was that one
macro
more.
game.
I thought this
So he
play
should have done
here
macro.
from Snow was going to be what had killed Mini, but Mini had some great defense. You know, the reality is Mini is just not as natural as Snow is moving around the map with Reavers. I mean, talk about
PvP is Snow's best
absolute
hell
hell for
Valiant
Mini.
boy,
The only
hell,
tools he
welcome,
has is
welcome,
Dragoons and
brother.
Reavers,
How's it going?
And you're against Snow, where it's like, well,
Oh, he did get
I got the
some.
most important best
So he
unit
did
I
get
have.
some, but
I'm
not
never
many.
as good with as my opponent.
Yeah, definitely an issue. Okay, here's that
Artosis,
interview.
I know you want to talk now. There's an interview coming, Artosis. Please keep it down.
You're watching Group D of the round of 16 of ASL Season 19, done in partnership with Hot 6. Let's meet today's first player advancing through. It's Snow. Congratulations. Thank you. Snow, this is your third season in a row making the round of 8. During the pre-game interview, I could feel this absence of confidence from you when it comes to the PvP mirror. But my god, were you solid and composed in the games themselves as he quickly advanced to the
She
round
got
of
a
8
20
light, so
centimeter?
how-
Oh, hell, of course she does.
Let's start with, I didn't know I would be advancing
Of course
like
she
this.
does, Alien Boy.
I thought it would not be easy, that's what I said at least. Luckily things went well, and I advanced.
Perfect. Yes, finally.
Your Reaver usage was
Finally.
very noticeable. Striking
That's all eggy.
in all of your matches today.
That's what the cage
How
is
would
for.
you rate your condition today?
근데 오늘
Oh, my hands were trembling today, so it didn't go the way it should. I was so shaky. Let's say I played at maybe 60%? Oh, is that so? You said you would honestly
Yeah,
like
I
to
didn't.
avoid
I
playing
mean,
a
he
mirror
lost
against
Reavers.
Mini, but
Snow never
no,
loses
no.
Reavers.
You had a composed and solid showing in that PvP. In the first set, despite getting into a Dragoon Reaver clash, you emerged victorious. Now, you did have a good number of Reavers, but it was the positioning of those Reavers that was so good. The Reaver towards the backside paid dividends. It was a fight that started with the shuttle being sent forward. Was that on purpose? No, my hands just wouldn't move. I actually thought I couldn't stop him, so I just said, whatever, I don't care. I hardly
Valiant
micro-control.
Valiant Boy, thank you
I just picked
for the
these up a
5
couple of times
bits,
and it
my
was
good
over.
buddy.
And luckily
Thank
he was
you.
high
3
ground.
plus 1.
I think that's why I beat Mini. I think luck was
Hell
on my
yeah,
side.
brother. Let's go.
And in the
Sounds
second
good,
game,
Valiant Boy. Like
as you were
always.
constructing
Yeah,
an
man.
army with Reavers and shuttles,
That's how it's done.
you also sent 4 Dragoons around to your opponent's base.
And you're not a venture brother. Who the hell
Yes,
are you?
if you don't do that and lose control of the high ground, there is no way to break that.
long lost son? If that were
So,
true, I don't think I would have caught you
In whatever
so
way,
easily.
I needed to make an opening. That seemed the only option to do
Okay,
that.
now I believe you're Hank's friend.
I'm glad it
True,
worked and I managed to break
24.
through. Mini, however, did not go down without a fight. Up until the end, he harassed you from the 2 o'clock to the 12 o'clock with Reavers, hoping to create an opportunity for a turnaround. Did you not feel like you were in trouble? If we were playing at home, I think I would have been able to snipe every single one of those shuttles. But here I was limping along. I should pick up every one of those shuttles. I couldn't do that. I couldn't dodge any scarabs. I seem to be struggling offline still.
Poor Snow.
And
Yeah, his
with
games
you having
online
this
just look
experience
clean as fuck.
Of having journeyed to the grand finals, the pressure of playing on the ASL stage certainly, clearly hits different. But you retain your pride as a seeded player and once again step into the round of 8. Let me tell you who can be your opponent in the round of 8. It's Light, Best, and Rain, which means there is a good chance you will play a PvP, the matchup you succeeded in today. I really don't want to play PvP. I think I would prefer going up against Light.
Damn.
Confidence
a
and
statement.
TVT clearly showing there from Snow. We will have
He's
to wait
good
and
at
see
it,
if
but he
this
just
wish
struggles
is
with it,
granted
even
when the
though it's
bracket
like
is drawn.
he's
I
so
kind of
good
think
at
fans
it.
will be hoping for the same matchup in the bracket. What do you want to say to the fans? You guys have great expectations, no doubt. But I know it won't do if I let myself feel this heavy pressure. I'll just focus on the next step, the next goal being the round of 4, just step by step, whatever is next. Right, and let me give you a chance to thank the colleagues who helped you practice as well. All right, but there were so many, I can't remember them all. I'm afraid I'll omit someone. Okay, Barracks, Speed, Bishop, Soma.
I can't wait for Soma to come back too from his military training,
My head,
because he's still active on the ladder,
Players
but
usually have a
he
tough time
can't
gathering
play
their thoughts
professionally
right
because you
after playing
can't make
matches.
money
I should
when
have
you're
let
in the
my phone down. I
military.
should have done what Jadong did.
Bro said Botrix. True Valiant Boy.
JYJ, Stalk, Motive. Wow, you really practiced a lot. Yeah, over 3 days I probably played like 150 games. Wow. I really can't remember anymore. I will write a blog post later. Sure, I'm sure they understand. Can't wait to see you perform as well in the round of 8. Once again, congratulations on advancing. Thank you. And there you have Snow, our first player advancing out of Group D today. Let's take a look at our events. We have an offline event for those watching live at the studio. Upload a photo or a video of yourself to social media from the studio and then post that as a comment under the event post. 10 people will receive power banks, and we also have 1 ASL uniform to give away. Please participate. And we also have a winners prediction event on the Soup Esports website taking place all throughout this round of 16. 4 people who guess all the winners will be receiving ASL branded MagSafe power banks as prizes. We will take a short break and come back with the losers and decider matches.
Hell yeah.
And we're back. Hero versus Rush. This is going to be a fun one, Artosis.
I want Hero to win, but
Rush has shown
I don't know.
Some pretty brilliant TVZs.
I'm pretty sure it'll be Hero versus Mini, and Mini will beat Hero. But Mini's tilted now. Oh man, there's a chance Mini might get kicked out and Hero might advance.
Pretty crafty.
We'll see. We'll have to see how it goes.
Pretty well. So I'm really interested in
But
seeing
that
exactly
tilt
how
could fuck with my
this whole game
prediction.
is going to pan out.
But I still
He's
think
got a
Snow
really
and
good range of
Mini.
play, and he's done well against Hero in the past, so definitely I think he does have a shot, but I am favoring Hero here. Deja Vu, Radeon, Eclipse. So this first map going to be really important for Rush. Let's get into it.
Hot 6 fighting!
Okay, we've got.
Not gonna
Hero
lie,
here in
that
the
chick
top
sounded
left,
really hot.
and Rush here
That
in the top
Asian
right.
voice, man.
And you know, you talk about this a lot, Artosis, but you know, the placement of the natural, and is it pointed towards
The
the Zerg in a
cheerleaders.
way where the mutas can harass it? Now, in this matchup, I think it's very fortunate for Rush's sake that he's on the right, at the top right, and Hero's at the top left here. If it was reversed, it'd be worse for the Terran, right?
100%. It's just they can rally the mutas so quickly to your natural and really focus on harassing there, which can be a big, big issue for Terran. You know, you just don't want to be losing SCVs. Yeah, but, you know, in these positions, this is just going to be like a pretty straightforward, kind of normal-looking game, I think. But what is Rush going to open with? It looks like he's going to open Wall, which tells us that he's probably just going to go some variant of Marine Medic. You know, if you build your depot down there right away, it's like you never go factory behind a wall in the low ground. It's just you're stretched a little thin at that point. So this should just be like going into a barracks, going into pool first. And I believe that should be overpool then, right?
We'll have to.
Yeah.
More and more popular.
That's overpool.
Yeah, it's overpool. The Overlord pops out right as the pool, starts.
I was telling you that the other day. It has become more popular. It is a defensive build. Rush's build is going to hold on against this very, very easily, as long as he basically sees it coming. In Hero, you don't expect a bunch of lings to be made anyways. Normally they make like 2 lings with this unless something seems off. So I think we're going to see Rush having a little bit of an advantage, but not end of the world for Hero. And I'm not surprised he did this, because actually in my mind as we began, I was thinking, what should Rush do? And the first thing that came to mind is maybe map 1, you go 2 barracks in the center, right? And that's what this is going to catch, is if you do something like that, like any sort of 8 racks play, he's going to be able to crush it with this.
It's going to be interesting to see how much longer Zergs keep doing this, because it's not ideal. It's not ideal in normal passive games. I mean, you can kind of make it work, but
you'd always want to go in this situation. You want to go hatch first,
and I think it's all come from
hatch
Sulky,
first,
by the way.
pool third.
The way that he's behaved and handled this, it's a nod towards Sulky seems to have this kind of sorted where you have to keep Terrans on guard because there is a risk they could just get rushed or punished if they try to do an all-in. But yeah, it's cool to see that this is.
Yeah, and see, he's going straight for the middle
ASL, and I guess
to see if there's anything in the middle of the map.
Stay.
Yeah, it's just kind of a little bit of a rotation.
Nice,
right?
Eggy! Back to dominating me.
The
Lore
more
accurate.
overpulls you should see.
True.
This is just like a good counter against it. So,
Sure.
I think it's just like as Overpool maintains some level of popularity, the 8 barracks plays will be dialed back, and then Overpool dial back. And as Overpool dials back, or any sort of pool first play goes back, then you start bringing up more 8 racks. It's just like
shame it's
that's
inverted.
part of the reason why games stay healthy. Is those types of rotations of metagame, and like staying on top of that can give you really great results if you can really read into the trends.
So we have a small Marine push coming out here. We've seen these before. I don't know how deep he wants to go with this. It's similar to when we see occasionally Zealots kind of come out on the map in PvZ and then they run back home. If the Zerg doesn't respect it, you can run up there and kill drones. If the Marines overextend and the Zerg has plenty of lings, then you lose them all.
Hero did a great job having 2 lings out front, but then also kind of running them around. So we saw a pullback pretty quickly there from Rush. If you push out these 4 or 5, and there's even like a 6 and 7 Marine push out that I've seen lately, these are just to force your opponent to make a few Zerglings, or possibly a Sunken. But yeah, he's not really planning on doing anything because this is like a 1 racks Academy opener, so you do have to maintain your Marine count, or you'll have no pressure in the mid game.
So we've got the second gas finishing up. I mean, Hero appears to just be going for that very standard mutaplay. He's got the 3rd hatch in his main, so he's going to be pretty comfortable. He's not trying to systematically capture another part of the map, like another main, and try to hold it for now. Instead, he's basically ready to control the map and take a fight. And from the Terran's perspective, they have to figure out if the Zerg player's even doing this. Now, if he scans the 3rd hatchery in the main, he'll know. Or if he sees the creep extended from the 3rd hatchery in the main, he'll know.
Yeah.
This isn't a rush right away, but this could be a game where the Terran's searching around a lot to try to find some kind of expansion that's not there yet.
About that, Tasteless, if you look at where he put the hatchery, this is some great attention to detail from Hero. He's put it far enough away that
he has to make a secondary
scan. Will not see creep trying to connect. Like it looks to me like they're just barely out of range, and this is how it should be. Because then as Terran, you're like, does he have the 3rd hatch in the main, or is it somewhere else? And that's going to be something that,
right.
that can bother you. You can be like, oh, do I need to be looking for an expansion right now and judging the game in a different way? And also you can hide some tech down there as well.
Does it ever make sense to scan the empty spot in the Zerg's main to try to figure that out instead of trying to check everywhere for hatcheries?
Yeah, you can do that sometimes. Normally what will happen is creep will begin to connect, but Hero put it so far down, I think it's just barely out of that range. But he might end up scanning that at some point. But you have to
you
use
can
your
scan
initial
by the
scans
ramp and
on
see
the
if
main
there's
and
anything
natural,
there.
and then probably
Because that's what a lot of
next
people will do too.
1 to 2
is
times,
put it down
just
near
to
the ramp
kinda
right
keep
there.
track of what's being
So if
done.
you just place it on the high ground on that area, you should be able to see the creep connecting with it.
Okay, well, the mutas are out. So far, Rush's control has been perfect. Good job, Hero actually.
See, I can add my tidbits of Zerg because they don't know shit about Zerg, but I know Zerg.
Devastating supply block. It would have been the second supply block we've seen of Hero today, which doesn't really happen that often. And, you know, it's going to be tough. He's basically, Rush is keeping the pressure off of his base. His base hasn't taken a scratch just yet because he's generated enough of a threat that Hero has to orbit around this infantry here and make sure it's not going any further. And now he's going to try to do some pot shots over here, but it doesn't really.
Yeah, he's
feel
got
like
a
there's
lot
any
of turrets
one
ready.
thing that's exposed.
He's just trying to keep keep it back for
Hero
now.
can try to grab onto and punish.
This is actually really well done by both
Nice,
sides right now. Just
nice.
keeping the mutas out of his base
Yeah.
and kind of rotating back as the muta count grows.
Oh, he
Rush,
missed that shot.
You know, he's trying to block these
Kinda
mutas
fucked
as
it
they
up.
kill off some of the turrets.
That would have been way better if
This
he had
is
taken out the
really good
turret.
from Hero right
he
now.
he
Okay,
wouldn't have
he
lost that
saves
muta
turret, which is
if he
actually
hadn't
very, very
fucked
important.
that up.
If they
That's
ever
really
break
bad.
all the turrets on your
He
barracks,
just pulled back too quickly
that
and only like
leads to
three
more losses
of
than
the
almost anything else in the
mutas
early game.
fired, not all of them.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I
the
was
turret would
eyeing
have burned
that
down.
turret, trying to
And he
see.
would have
He
probably
actually tried to
been
do
on
a
top.
double shot
That could have
on
been
it
a
and messed up,
GG
'cause
moment for
with
getting on
mutas
top
he
of the
had, you get
production,
2 shots
pulling
and
him
it burns
back
down like 2
into,
seconds.
and then he sends the lings in, kills his
Barely
SCVs,
not,
clap,
you know,
done. Easy
basically
clap.
enough to 2-shot it unless there's an SCV sitting on top of it.
That's
ready to
how,
repair.
like-
a scan in such a way that he
that
both
he- yeah.
identifies the third hatchery and sees the den.
Yeah, that was a good scan.
that-
Like I said,
you
he'll
know,
probably do it
that's
in
a funny
either
thing
one of
because
two places.
That's like just the tiniest bit of laziness from Hero. You should always kind of put your tech at the very far edges so they can't do those scans that
Yeah, like he
reveal
could have put it
correct
at the
things.
bottom, but
I mean, that's
it
just
could have
like a
been
very
picked
small thing.
off
When you're
there
microing the
too,
mutas and
right?
stuff, it's more important you're making these other moves
he
correctly.
knows
but,
eventually
you know,
gonna go
just
into
these tiny
lurkers.
things that I think over the course of the next few years we'll see people dial in a little bit more. But the 11 mutas here, this whole stack coming in, continuing to try to reduce the Marine medic count a little bit. But Rush
Yeah, you
has
just want to
really
pick them off slowly and
retained
hopefully,
his
because the
army
problem is
very,
when they
very
get into
well
the
this
big
game.
ball. When they get into the big ball,
Yeah, he did sit in that
you
drone
can't
to the
stop
bottom
them.
left. His
But you gotta
hive
try
has
and bait
started.
them into lines, so you can only
Is
get a
it
couple of them
okay
to
get
fire at the
hive
same
before
time.
The third base starts. I
Yeah.
always feel like I see it the other way
Yeah,
around.
no, you can
but I
do
guess
two
it's
base
a little
hive
different
and then
'cause
get
this
the
was a
third base
three-hatch
going as
macro
long as
game,
you have enough.
with a later expand.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well,
as long as you're holding them back
opener
enough,
into
'cause
the
you're
third
gonna-
hatch
it's
in the
gonna-
main, you normally
it's gonna
do see
it's
that
gonna take a
faster,
while for it to
your
like
point, but
initiate.
yeah, like the timings of this is
But
all
you can
okay.
definitely
It's
go
like
to
the most
filers
important thing is to
on
get
3
the filer on
gases.
time. You know, you can have the base be a little bit later. The whole thing is like, do I have consume and lurkers on time to not die to
Yeah.
Marine medic?
Yeah. And here comes the push, but he doesn't
Well,
have
he's going to be
lurkers
pushing
yet.
out. We don't have lurkers yet.
Is he going to
We've got
build
Hydras.
Sunkens, or is he going to try to
we've got
stop it? Okay,
pre-lurkers,
okay. So we got
basically.
eggs, eggs on the map.
Yeah,
But is he going to be able to
Lurkers
see
over
them?
here.
He's got to hold off for
Yes,
like another
he
15
cannot
seconds.
hold position lurker these until he's got them out of the eggs and somewhere safe.
Okay, he did put down a couple
and he doesn't
Sunkens.
actually have lurkers back home, Artosis.
Oh.
Like, this is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
The supply block
Uh-oh.
will also stop other lurkers from coming in the game, so the Hydras that
Oh,
are
and he's going to
get more
destroy
freedom.
those mutas. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
this
so
doesn't
bad.
have mutas.
This is
insane.
not
This
good.
is shocking that he's losing like this. This is just like this is what every Terran wants, and this he didn't even do a build to do this. Rushed in it. This was
No.
actually poorly done by Hero. Like
Yeah.
the fact that he morphed his lurkers out in some random spot in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
Like Rush did a great job just kind of maintaining his Marine medic force. But that being said, that wasn't that much damage.
Yeah, he killed,
got rid of
like,
the mutas, which
5
is good.
drones.
He did hurt the drone count some, but Hero's not dead right now. If he can get lurkers
I'm
into
back. Hey,
position
Valeneggy.
so that he's
Hey,
blocking
cute muffin.
bottom left
How's
from
it
dying,
going?
and he's
Welcome
blocking his
back.
natural from dying, and then just kind of
Did
like
you have a
get
good
into
stream
regular
today,
back. He can
Muffin?
absolutely recover from this.
I was
But
glad
that
I got
was a
to hop
very good
in
move
and
from
hang
Rush.
out for a little bit while I was doing some editing.
Lurkers move forward here. He wants to try to contain this Terran. Rush is going to hang on the outside. He could go around. Ooh. Gosh, this is pretty daring here of Hero to try to get this close. This is a huge Terran army. A misstep and he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's such a risky thing. Every time a Zerg does this to me, Tasteless, it works, but like it should not at this level. Where it's like, oh, were you looking? LOL, I got all your Marines. It's like Hero is taking a bit of a risk there, trying to catch him off guard. He actually does the push, which I'm a little bit surprised. There's so
only
much
chest
Marine
today,
mech
got
out
my
there.
highest
Now
bullet
he
rating
gives
today.
a flank to him.
Nice.
Just gives it to him. Dude, I don't think Hero's
the lurkers are
playing
gonna
well.
try to run away.
I don't know
I
if
feel like Hero
Mini
is
threw
playing
him off
poorly.
or
I think
what?
you're right.
Yeah, no, this is not Hero level ZVT. It is absolutely not. This is not like normally he's crossed every T, dotted every I, nothing has hurt him yet. You know, that's a normal Hero ZVT, but this is like I don't know why he did that push. I don't know why he morphed the lurkers in the middle there. You know, it's just
Got overlords randomly in the middle of the map.
He's not playing his best game at the moment.
Doesn't have consume yet.
Yeah, we've got this push coming back out again.
16,
This is
damn,
3
Muffin.
vessels.
Hell yeah,
He
brother.
could get an irradiate on the 2 defilers. He gets 1. Now, I don't think this is a breakable position.
Yeah.
For the time being, I mean, there's
Ooh,
just
he
too
had
many
Scourge.
lurkers and there's defilers coming out fast.
Same
enough,
as
there's not a lot you
Eggy.
can do, but
True.
look at this small set of infantry that's headed down to the bottom left. I don't know if there's a Nidus there. I think I see one on the mini-map, but it's hard to tell if that's what it actually is.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
But
it has to be.
Zerg
Yeah, it's
has
a
to keep
Nidus.
that base alive.
And he needs to start setting up anti-drop as well because.
Oh, and I figured out alerts.
See,
Nice,
this is,
good
like,
job,
perfect
Muffin.
timing.
Congratulations.
He's reduced the Mutila's count.
I'm glad
He's
you're
hit a few
getting
irradiates. He's got
more
map
and
control.
more,
This is exactly
you
when
know,
you start mixing
into
in
it.
drop ships and you try to get some
Learning
damage.
more and
so we
more,
need to see the
evolving
Lin
the
Yuta
stream.
in the bottom right. Or
Love
bottom
to
left
see it.
main. We need to see Scourge starting to be spread out a little bit. Maybe burrow a lurker into the bottom left main base as well. Like that's become pretty popular because you know that like when they're playing SK Terran, the only way they can really actually deal damage other than irradiate is through the drops. So you simply must get ready for that.
So he's going to try to put pressure over here at the bottom left base. He's taking a third base of his own right now.
Yeah, if he attacks
And this
there,
is a
man, that third is dead. That
really
third's dead.
weak
Hero's
hold
dead.
That Hero has right now.
And oh my God, he's just sitting
Like, just
on it.
having, I'm assuming that's 2 to 3 lurkers. They
Oh,
always
and
stack
he has-
them on top of each
yeah.
other like Pringles in a can. So it looks like it's one, but I don't
But
think it's
it's
one.
only
No,
one. But
There's
it's a
only one
regular
Pringle.
alert
That's
from
insane.
Twitch. I want to
That's
have
insane. What are we even?
one from
What are we
Stream
doing? I can't
Elements
believe that.
overlays.
He's got nothing in his main base. He's just going to lose.
It's a
the
process,
drop
right?
Is gonna crush. He's gonna
Slowly
get the
but
Nidus.
surely.
When you kill the Nidus, the base generally ends up dying.
Yeah.
It takes a while to make a new Nidus, you know, and you just kind of push up and you run the Marine Medic around and make them chase you down with Dark Swarms. Like, Rush is so far ahead right now. I don't think that Hero can recover from here.
Yeah, this is
Rush
sad.
No, I
has
think-
everything he needs to finish this.
Yeah. Well, this is how Zerg loses if we're this
Doesn't
far along
work
in
when
the
I
game.
put the
The
URL
past
on
10 minutes
OBS.
is they just lose their third base. Is it another lone Pringle?
Once you pop, you just can't stop.
Once
And you did the
pop,
same thing
fun
that I showed you to do
stops.
yesterday?
Let's see how many. Is it still dying? Is there another one in there?
Dude.
Oh, someone ate the last Pringle. This is it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Does your OBS allow you to
That-
have
it-
additional add-ons in it? Additional
it just does
extensions?
feel off from Hero. Truly.
Hi, Muffin
like,
says Eggy.
You know, we've seen
You can
so
still
many
try
Hero
to fight
games
on 2
and
bases, but
yeah,
no,
well,
I mean this is not. If you covered this guy's ID up and maybe guess, I would not guess Hero.
Yesterday I completely
Zerg
forgot about
simply needs 3 gas.
it.
It's
if you
not
go to
really
Stream
playable for
Element-
very long. Once vessels are out, if you don't have 3 gas, you're dead. And he's like, he
You go to
basically doesn't have
overlay,
3 gas. You know,
go to
the
the
thing is, you
alerts,
can even
you go
lose
to
some of these
edit.
dropships. It doesn't really matter. You know, the magic number
And then
for
see
Defiler
this
base
thing
play
here
is
that says
70 supply.
copy
Once you drop below
overlay
70, you're
URL,
basically dead.
right?
Everything gets broken at once.
So it
And you can
says
see
copy
here,
to
right? 68
clipboard.
supply. He just like
Go
he
to
loses the
OBS,
bottom
go to
left.
here, where your
Rush is
sources
bringing
are.
everything towards top left. He's just
Browser.
you're never going to get through with this Defiler. He's looking to maybe run up and
And
throw a
then-
Dark Swarm in a natural or something. It's never going to happen.
You should have this box.
Like you can make pure Firebat here. You can do anything you want as Rush. You have too much
and it'll
irradiate.
show up here
He
as
has too
whatever
little
it
gas
is,
to
and you
replace
can
it.
either turn it off, lock it in
That was a great
place,
play though.
Yeah, I mean,
You go to
yeah,
the
I
properties,
like
and
seeing Hero
you
kind
can
of try to
edit
lash
it,
out here and try to get some
change
plagues
its
down.
size, like
But,
the
you can
color
see
of
Rush
the
knows
text.
to get those Firebats. When you're this far ahead, the Firebats can
Do the
kind of,
page permissions, whoops,
break the
like read
what is
access to
normally
OBS
invincible
status
setup of
information.
Lurker Defiler. because there's not enough lurkers like the fire.
And then you can also do
refresh.
refresh cache.
It's almost like reverse Zerglings or something like that, if that makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
you just have like enough Zerglings in a small fight, it kind of kills anything. Similar to Firebats in this specific situation.
You know,
Hold on, give
this
me a minute.
is-
No
this is
worries.
the
If you
best
want me to
way
pull it up
try
again,
to
just let me
combat
know.
Is like Plague Grind plus Hydra, Lurker Defiler.
Oh, actually, I'll clip that.
Like, that's how you can get the highest cost efficiency against SK Terran.
So apparently
But
slash
it's just-
clip is
he's
coming
been out of
soon.
position too many times. He's lost too many units. Even though he's gotten some great plagues, and look, he's getting some very good spines here. He's killed vessels. It's just you're only on 2 base at the end of the day, and that's just not enough resources. Like he can't even really afford to make lurkers anymore. I think the only lurkers you should be making at this point are probably like any hydras that get irradiated. Like you have to cast plague nonstop to have any chance at killing this stuff.
Yeah, look, Rush is gonna like max out. Hero's at 60 supply.
Yeah, I respect.
This
Hero
is
trying to just
crazy.
fight,
Usually Zerg
trying
taps
to
out under 70
somehow
supply.
make this work, but Terran's even taken that.
He doesn't even
other
have
base
his
to the
third, let
far
alone his
bottom
fourth.
right.
Terran already
Yeah.
has
I mean,
his
we're really at the
third.
point of no return.
Like,
It's
this is
funny, you look at the
insane.
map, there's actually the bottom left hatchery is being remade again. God, Hydras are so bad against bunkers. It
Yeah.
is insane.
They do no damage to Terran.
You know what's funny is there's actually bio in the bottom left.
It
but
takes
it's, like,
12
guarding
hits
the
to kill an
ramp.
SCV from a Hydra.
So if he
12
gets it
fucking
out,
Hydra
he
hits to
actually
kill an
makes a
SCV.
Nidus. Who knows, man? Maybe he can get that base going.
And he's got
Another
Firebats,
good
so
play
he can
goes
just go
down,
straight
Expand right
through
under his...
I think we're
Dark
just gonna
Swarm.
see GG
Oh,
here.
this should be game.
Yeah.
Yeah. GG.
Okay.
Poor Hero.
It wasn't well
He
played
tried.
from Hero. That was not his finest moment. He didn't block. And the thing is, if you're going like +1, 4 racks, I'm trying to bust you with Marine Medic, and then you get that type of bust in the early game, it's like, okay, well, I mean, that's somewhat reasonable. But he went 3 barracks, late +1, you know, to get into his vessels on time and everything. And Hero still
Yeah, he
wasn't able to
sacrificed a
hold that
shit
initial
ton to
push
hold
very
the,
well.
the
He
push,
held
and then the
it
only
as
reason the
game went
push
on, but,
worked
like,
is because the lurkers
There-
were
it
late
just-
and out of
it
position.
wasn't there that game. Hero really needs to step it up if he's going to try to get out of this group.
It's really sad to see because there's not a lot of
I
Zergs,
think
right?
that Rush played very well, but I don't think he did any
But I mean,
one
that's
thing
just a
that
higher
was
chance
so
of Sulky
spectacular.
winning if there's no ZVZs.
I don't like talking
Because
like
Sulky
this
will
either,
be
by
the
way.
champion if there's no ZVZs
Yeah.
to take
Bad
him out.
decisions.
I'm hoping he'll die to like
He
Jadong or
should've just
Queen,
played
and then we'll have a new
conservatively. He
champion.
didn't, take the number one priority
Adderall,
in that phase of the
wow.
game, which is to secure his
Adderall,
third base,
what,
which allows
Valium
him to
boy?
then get a 4th base and get into hive tech and be healthy. Anyways, guys, the best of 3 is continuing on here with Rush versus Hero. Let's go.
Radion!
Okay, so bottom left is Hero, top right is Rush.
1A,
Going into
2A,
this TVZ
3A,
again
4A,
here.
5A,
Hopefully Hero has a
1A,
little bit of
2A,
a cleaner day.
3A,
I think
4A,
he's,
5A,
he might be a little bit
START, 1A,
shaken
2A,
from
3A,
that
1A,
minigame.
2A,
Yeah,
3A.
That was a very
Is there any anime style
unusual
follow,
game from
sub,
Hero.
tip, etc.
I feel like
alert
ASL,
pack?
He
I'm
is
sure
really
they
one
are
of the
fucking
superstars
screw
of
of
the whole tournament.
Addy's pills.
Since like
Who?
season 1
Go
to
shower,
now, like, this
be
guy's
right
always
back,
been
bro.
good. He's always a threat.
Okay, Valium boy.
But yeah,
I'm
he
not
really had his numbers there.
sure.
No
Muffin?
scouting.
He
Can you
did,
imagine being
yeah.
Hero, by the way?
'Cause
in
you
that
can
game,
just
and the
make
pro
your
never comes.
own.
You're like,
I use
what is
Canva
like,
Well, if he's not
he
going to
probably thought
scout
he
me,
was
I'll
being
bust
cannon
him.
rushed.
Yeah.
for like
Yeah, yeah. He's probably thought he was
making
being cannon rushed so many times it never came. Like,
thumbnails
there was probably a lot of
and
confusion on his part in that game
emotes
because it was
and
so weird.
that kind of thing.
And then it was just like a gateway.
So you can
expand.
use
Again,
this
it's such
to
a
make,
different way to think about that opening.
Like
It
alerts,
was a
like with a
wild game,
video,
like, hugest
to like
props me,
resize
and
it
you're right,
for
like,
stream
that
elements.
could be what threw
Like
him
that's what I
off.
do with like my
Because again, the game against Rush not that strong. If he can
my
put out a
alerts,
good game here,
right?
if he can kind of regain his mentality and put out a standard Hero game and take Rush down, you know, we were talking about it lately. Eclipse is the hardest map to kill Zerg on right now. It's like there's just
And then I
there's
take them
no
and then I
way
put
in
them
with the drop ships. You
into
just
the
can't get that
overlay.
type of damage. And you know, if you can't really ever kill Zerg as Terran
Right.
with frontal attacks.
So then they're here.
You know, Terran versus Zerg is
And
not
you can
about
do like
frontal
the
attacks
variation
because
settings.
There's no answer to Defiler Darkswarm in that case.
TTS
so it's
settings.
like it's always about going around the edges, keeping pressure on, and things like that.
And then
so
these are like the
you know, I think Hero still
animations
definitely
and
has a
sound
chance to win
effects
this
that you can
series. We
add
just
to
have
it.
to see
You can pretty much take any video you
stronger-
want, but so I'd recommend
stronger
maybe
game here.
looking on
Is it acceptable
like,
for the Zerg to take a third base
Reddit?
at, in this case, from the positions they're in? Would it be okay to take
what
that
is the
6
default
o'clock?
unnamed
You can
overlay?
take it. You can take it, but like you do have to be a little bit. That's a very late.
The
stop.
alerts
Closed at
overlay?
2:15.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah, that's okay. He's been microing this, and he forced like 4 SCVs down. But yeah, like you can take a third base like on location, but like tricky things can occur because of that. Where it's like, okay, are you gonna make extra Zerglings to block this? Because like if Terran reads it quickly, they can move out before Zerglings.
Why does he have 4 on gas? Or is that just my
or
imagination?
something? Or
He just
you know,
started
are you gonna
gas,
just
that's why.
mass sunken if they keep pressure
interesting.
on you. You know, there's a few different ways that Terran can counteract that if they read that that's what's occurring. This is a weird,
for now,
weird opener from Hero. It feels like to me. Yeah, it's just like a slightly later layer. But actually, Rush doesn't know that. He'll get in here, and this looks normal. So he doesn't actually recognize that the layer this game is about 15 seconds later than the previous layer in the previous
Yeah, there's
game.
no way to check the progress of it in StarCraft 1 unless you're able to time out when it's supposed to finish.
That's right.
It's this thing in RTS games, and it's different for each game, but like some buildings, they have animations. Other games, they'll give you, you know, like in StarCraft 2, you can see the number of, you know, workers in the gas, for instance, where in StarCraft 1, you have to like look carefully and be like, do I have 3 or 4? You know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, so he scouted that the layer. We know it's late, but he doesn't. That's what I'm trying to say.
And he's going for the quick engineering bay. You know,
Yeah.
there is a fail-safe that's generally in play where if you start your academy by 4 minutes, you can scan before you have to start turrets. So,
Okay.
like that's like a just-in-case move. Not everyone does that. Like anytime you can, you put your scanners back as late as possible and things like that. But like that would be a possibility. Now the SCV actually gets in, which is pretty big. And he'll be able to see the health on the Spire, so that's something. And oh my god, this Marine move out. Oh my god, this is going to do real damage.
Oh my god. It's an execution down here. Good targeting on the drones. He's going to at least get 3.
Yeah, it looks like
Okay.
he gets 3. That would. It feels like that could have been slightly better.
Yeah, I feel like he
but
didn't do that
I
as well as he
can't-
could
I can't
have.
actually fault that. If you get your Marines down there and kill that many drones, you're feeling pretty good about it.
True.
Well, it's basically unacceptable from the Zerg standpoint. You're never supposed to let that happen.
Yeah, every drone is
Like,
so
it's-
precious. to the
Marines are
Zerg.
actually so slow. Like, to travel across the map undetected and get in there and then get the kill is wild.
You're always supposed to have a Zergling watching for that, and he just
Right.
didn't this time. It's just kind of like a. It
It's-
happens.
He's making
It's a-
rookie mistakes.
Well, you know, Zerglings, they actually have pretty bad vision.
Yeah.
Which I think people that don't actually play Zerg don't realize. I think a lot of people might assume everything has, you know, mostly the same vision. I guess
No.
Overlords all have more vision than other stuff, right? But the Zergling actually has very poor vision, so it's tough to interact with the Marine. Because the Marine, you know, with its ranged attack can move more comfortably if it's in high enough numbers. And that can
So your
cause the
Ling will
Zergling
just
to
die and
In
then
the
you
early
don't
game
see
like this,
anything.
if you drop a couple of Zerglings, like, you don't know what's going on. You don't have scouting, you don't have defense. So every Zergling is very precious in the early game here.
And you know, keeping an eye on that is so important. Oh my god, he's going 5 barracks. That is 5
I think
barracks
it's
plus
4.
1.
Oh, no, there's one at the end. Natural,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
5
so
racks.
5
Okay.
racks plus 1.
I keep
This is
forgetting
like,
what snafu
generally
stands
you can't,
for, and it
like,
cracks me
against
up
2
every
hatchery
time.
muta,
Situation
you can't
normal,
really afford a
absolutely
factory
fucked
easily
up.
here. Also, the third base that Hero has taken is actually going to
Yup.
be very weak against this. That is not a good location to defend against.
AWOL,
against, Marine Medic with
snafu.
Sunkens. And not
And
with
what's the
lurkers
other
either.
one?
Just kind
There's
of
one
wide
more.
open at that third. So, like, if Rush
Well,
enters,
why do you think he's taking that?
That's-
I mean,
it's
I
sneaky.
agree.
that's sneaky. That's
okay,
like
so
yeah.
it's almost like a hiding in plain sight move.
Yes.
Where the Terran, you know, especially because they're in cross spawns, the Terran's probably worried about the top left and the bottom right.
Yep.
And where does he split his attention when in fact it's just tucked kind of in the corner here? In a base you'd take like in a ZVP, for
I don't know.
example.
Yeah, that base would be the last or second last base you would check.
I swear there's 3, and I
Like,
always forget one of
it's
them.
very late on the list of bases because it just doesn't have good defensive properties. So, like, you know, with a build like what Rush has,
And I remember a situation
like,
where I'm
if he
all
had
fucked
map
up. Not
vision for one
absolutely
second,
fucked up.
you just told him, like, there's a base there.
But that's just
you'd be like, oh, I'm going to win this game.
a difference of
Like,
culture,
you'd
right?
feel very confident because minimum you're going to destroy his economy by forcing Sunkens. And, you know, you're going to know that he's going to go mutiling nonstop, so you're going to build up your Marine medic count, get a ball that's unkillable. Like, the position looks very good for Rush here. It's just, will he figure out what's going on?
Muta's inbound now. There's a lot of infantry here. Lings are also ready for that counterattack. I feel like when you have cross spawns like this and the big push comes, it's so much better to just try to counterattack and run up into the main with the Lings and the Mutas and try to kill stuff there. And that's exactly what we got.
Yeah, he's going to run in immediately here with those Zerglings. A lot of times the best thing you can do is attack turrets with them. They kill turrets so much faster than anything else here. And then, wow.
He's just zoning him out of his own base. If you get on top of the...
Like
that was unfortunate for the Lings to get stuck like that.
Chaining that damage together.
But he's holding back
and
the
then right when
push.
it's, you know, uncomfortable, you just fly back out.
Yep, and he's just getting turrets.
He's doing a really good job with the Mutalings so far. A lot more Mutas and Lings coming out. He's kind of playing this battle Zergish style. You know, we see Solky do this a lot with a lot of Mutaling and just kind of crush armies. But he's seen that it's 5 barracks. So in my opinion here, like, you want to get a lot of lurkers out. The vessels are going to be slightly later this game. You know, he started his factory about a minute after, like, normal factory time so that he could afford lots of Marines and medics. So it's like the vessels are just going to be slower and less in number. But he's made so many Lings and so many Mutas right now that he actually has real potential to kill the army.
He's going to try to move out again. He could get sandwiched so hard here. Double starboard.
Marine sandwich.
Coming up here as well. A lot of gas banked up here for Rush. When the 2 vessels come out, the Mutas cannot be... Oh, well, hold on a second. We got a
this
huge
might be
attack coming in here.
GG.
Hero is going to wipe this army out. The reinforcements are going to come in, and I still think it might not be enough. You know, this really goes to show you, by the way, the difference in angles.
Yeah.
Hitting Marines from 2 sides instead of 1.
And he's just going to go into
You know,
the
how
main
much of a
again.
difference that can actually make. But point in case, there is a ton of Marines that have been killed off here.
Yeah, you might
It's
just be able to
basically been a
finish them
giant
off with
reset.
the...
Now it's on 5 barracks, so you can get those Marines and
Oh,
medics
and he stopped the
eliminated
science
pretty
science
quickly,
facility.
but, man,
Oh,
Hero
that's
with a
so
big
brutal.
clobber
That's like an
attack
extra
back there.
25
And 3
seconds
lurkers
to get
inbound as well.
vessels
Hero's
out.
pulling this game together right now. And this
Yeah,
is
this
the
is
type
insane.
of game where, like,
He's on
if
top
he
of the
keeps them back
production.
with these Mutas,
If he can
which
just-
it looks like he's going
if
to,
he can just
and he
stop
runs
them
up
from
and
make-
burrows 5 lurkers in the little pathway, that's game.
Yeah, like
You are
he's
not
not
coming
going to
back
be able to
from
get
that.
anything.
And I think that's
Good
what he's
old
going to try
think
here.
never
he's morphing a bunch.
misses.
Yeah, Rush just GG's. He
Wow.
realizes that's too much
Snaps out.
damage. Well done by Hero. It felt like Rush had
Yeah, I wonder who that guy
a great
is.
opener. His build felt
He's
like
my
it was gonna
official
be a good
lurker.
build against this, and he just didn't quite identify the amount of Mutiling that was
But
coming
he's not
out.
here all the
So
time.
great job on Hero for kind of jumping on Rush and eliminating that army and keeping that tempo advantage.
Because every time I
1-1.
try to look to see if he's here, he's not
This next
here.
game decides who is knocked out, man.
Like this mystery man.
And
Yeah.
I got to say, Hero stepped it up in that last game. We were talking about that third base maybe being, you know, an untenable situation for Hero, but he did a good job basically taking fights. That sandwich in the middle of the map, crushing those Marines, and then going immediately from that victory up into the main, killing turrets off, and keeping the Terran back.
An
It was like the engine could
interchannel
never really start
man
on that
of
5 rack
mystery,
double star
huh?
play.
I guess so, Sean.
Well, we're going to go
I
into
guess so.
Eclipse. And again, this is the hardest map to kill Zergon. Rush probably has something special planned here. Wouldn't be surprised to see an overpool.
I'm just
from
glad
Hero.
to see that someone enjoys the channel without having to, you know, without participating in chat. Although it looks like there are, like, people that do that. Because, I mean, there's what? There's Aggie, there's Sean, there's Valium and...
Okay, we've got Hero in the top right
Levi?
and Rush in the bottom left.
But there's 6 people here?
Map with only 2 spawns, so
Cute
certain
Muffin?
types of rushes or more complex strategies that could be tailored to a specific
Yeah, I guess
spawn
that is
location
everyone.
could be at play here. I
I'm
tend to
bad
agree
at
with
math.
Artosis on
Sorry,
this,
Cute
in
Muffin.
this matchup. Like, it's just hard to kill Zerg.
There's always
You know,
one
Zerg
I
can basically
forget.
Get their bases up. They can get several bases up and defend it fairly easily, and there's not a ton that Terran
13.
can do to contest it.
Why are we
Where, like,
counting
on other
people?
maps, there's sometimes like an obvious.
So I was like,
location,
there's got to be
oh,
other
they
people
can't
that are
really
in
cover
here
this
that
area,
don't say
or they're gonna
anything
be
either,
beating the
right?
space
I'm like,
of
there's
the
6
game, so you
people
get
in
there.
here. How many people? Oh yeah, that's
I'm not
5
sure
plus
what
me
Rush's
is 6.
plan will end up being. It does look
So,
like he
yeah,
wants to
that
wall
covers
in here once
everyone.
again. Hero might just send a very early scout once again as well. You saw how well he did with the micro there at the wall. It's one of the annoying things about walling in is if the drone gets there early, it's just like, oh, you lose so much.
Because like
mining
there's
time
there's the
blocking that
people
so
that
frustrating.
Yeah,
enjoy
it almost feels like
engaging
it's
with
more
chat.
worthwhile to just make a
I'm
bunker
silent
later
because
on
I've
rather
got
than
a
deal
splitting
with
headache.
that.
I'm just
Like, if you knew they were gonna come
disassociating
each
out
time,
here.
I think you'd
Yeah, no
probably
worries,
just not
Levi. It's
wall.
all good. I'm just saying that like
So we
people
might
that
have
watch
overpool
the
used a
stream
decent
that
amount. I
do
don't know if
not
we're gonna have it
engage
this
in
game,
chat
or if
at
it's gonna be
all,
Hatch on 11.
right? Like apparently
Yeah,
my
it looks
kick
like it's
viewers.
probably just Hatch first.
But I don't know if that's just a difference,
you know,
and I
on
guess
two-player
YouTube
maps,
viewers
I
as
think there is
well.
an argument for that.
Because
Don't
I mean,
forget
we've
that,
been
on
getting
two-player
some
maps, the
actual
rush
YouTube
distance is
viewers lately,
further
which
than
I think is
four-player
fucking
maps,
crazy.
Except if it's cross spawn.
Right.
So it's basically
Such a
like,
good thing.
It's similar to
So
cross spawn
shout out to the
scouting
lurkers on
two-player
YouTube
maps,
out there and the lurkers on
which
Kick.
actually, like,
You guys are
four-player
holding
maps are
up the
actually best for
community
marine
just as
rushes.
much as anyone else.
Oh, okay.
It just
so he's,
as long as
he's
you're
doing
here and
some
you're
real
enjoying the
cheese here. He's
content,
hiding a second
even if you
rack.
don't enjoy the
So
content and you're
remember
still
the little,
here,
like,
I don't know
full
why
movie
you're
that we
here,
were
but I'm
watching on
glad
Deja
you're
Vu?
here.
He's
course.
kind of set this up with that, where he's going to walk out with the Marines because there's going to be an Overlord that sees it. But then he's going to keep going, and he's going to have more Marines than expected.
This is some great build order pairing in a
You know what they
series.
say? You build,
You kind of
they'll
it's
come.
like when we saw
I
the
built,
fake cannon rush
they're
in
here.
game 1. I can't
I
remember
mean,
which player did this
hell.
in round of 16. But,
Yeah.
it is what it
fake
is,
cannon
right?
rush in game 1 into real cannon rush in game 2.
And we keep
you
the
know,
content
because
fresh.
Going to be freshly in the mind. You basically primed them to kind of think about something you did earlier.
And interesting,
And you know, it's not uncommon
even
for people
lazy,
to do the same
as
thing
and
twice,
boring,
or
and
two
laid
similar
back.
things, right? Seeing the Marine there.
This is normal. This is like, you always...
This is normal? Okay.
Yeah, when you make a Marine, you send it to check the Overlord and where it's going. Because they normally fly
Got
down
it.
that path. And, like, if you get your barracks really fast and they don't send it on a smart path, occasionally you'll actually kill the Overlord or push it into a position
So
where it
who
takes
do you guys
longer to
think,
get where it
Hero
wants to
or
go.
Rush?
So, like,
If
that's
Hero
just-
gets
that's
his
the normal
act
stuff
together,
they're
I think
showing.
Hero's gonna win, and then he's gonna go up against
now
Mini.
he's actually
And
moving
you know
out. So
what?
he
I
knows the
honestly
Overlord
don't know
isn't
if he's gonna
watching
beat
him,
Mini or
and look at
not.
the path it looks like he
If
wants
he
to
can
take.
get his
Oh,
act
no,
together,
he's
he
gonna
might
go
be
through
able
the center.
to, but I
Okay.
still think
And he
Mini's
has
gonna
other
win.
Marines coming from the second barracks. So this is just like, can Hero figure out what's happening and block this?
Hero is one of the best players in the world at holding things off with the bare minimum. In other words, he
Oh,
always has
he
like, an
sees
extra
it.
drone or
He
two.
sees it.
Okay, he saw the 5. He saw
There's
5.
yeah, see, he's putting
gonna
he's
make a sunken
putting
colony
Sunkens
back.
in the
And this
back.
is
He's got to pull drones.
actually really well placed sunks here.
Yeah, here come the drones. Look at the
one at
mini
the
map.
bottom,
Look at the mini map. Here come the drones. He's gonna try and
Drone
section them
earlier.
off.
I think you're right. I think you're right there. Yeah, and he's going to have to... Oh, God.
Oh,
This
God,
just
that's
all looks terrible.
not
this
good.
looks so bad right now.
This
for Hero.
might be GG.
And the Sunken is actually going to be taken out. That's too low health.
Yeah, it's gonna pop
yeah,
with
I think
22
so.
HP. Oh, and he has no
man.
drones.
It doesn't reach.
Oh, jeez.
It doesn't reach.
Wait, does the bunker not reach-
the hatchery? Her truck?
No,
doesn't
it
reach
does-
the hatchery.
oh.
That's
Oh.
insane.
Oh my
Look at
God!
the
It's
larva
like
that's on
one
that side.
pixel away.
And there's no way to micro the larva from the left side to the right side.
Yeah, you can micro him to the left side, but not... the
Oh my
vice versa.
God!
This
This is
insane, man.
crazy.
Is he
I've
gonna
never
Sunken
seen
push
this
now?
before. He's gonna kill the larva.
Dude, I can't believe
Wait, does that hit?
that this is...
Dude.
Oh, he's gotta
down
kill.
to
Oh
stopping
man.
larva from being able to do anything.
And he's just gonna
No,
go
Sean
in.
is
He's just
time
gonna
on
kill
the
this.
sunk.
Yeah.
But he
SCV's
doesn't
attack.
get it. 8 HP, 2 HP. The SCV gets
He
it.
was right-clicking that. He was
Oh
spamming
my
that.
Fucking God! This is crazy.
Is that not
That
a full
was-
bunker? Oh, it is.
It
a full
is.
Bunker. Okay,
He's
and
running
he
away.
actually just gets out of here.
That was
That
fucking
pull from
crazy,
Hero
dude.
Was
What the
highly
hell?
impressive.
Yeah,
But
really good.
He kept his
was
mind. He
also
kept.
really
He
good.
lost a lot of drones.
It was crazy. It's
He
like
lost-
first,
and
the
he had to
first
make
sunken colony
3
doesn't hit the
sunkens.
bunker, but then the bunker doesn't hit the second sunken colony either. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
the
some of
fact
these
that they
angles in
both
Grid Wars
made
are
like a
so
1
deceptive
pixel
about who can do
mistake.
what.
I found an anime alert box.
Uh-oh. There's a ling in the base. Yeah, no, I'm shocked. Like, that might have even been planned from him. That's some high-level stuff. I couldn't have done that for sure.
Nice.
Like, know exactly these locations based on where the creep is, like, where the bunker can be placed. It's like, yeah, this one will support the second one. This one's far enough back that it's an overcommitment
That's
to go after it all the
badass.
way right now, that type of thing. Crazy plays, crazy plays. But you know what?
But then
Hero
how do
right
I
now,
test
he's
it
taking a
out?
third. Rush is okay here still. You know, he did good damage with that still. He's forced 3 sunkens, a ton of lings. He got kills. So there's like, it was still a high quality move from Rush. I think that he's probably happy with it. Like, he wanted to win the game with it, but this
Okay,
position
it
is great. Like, I'd be
says-
very happy playing from here as
If I
Rush.
go to the link and I just says use element,
Yeah.
and then copy
I mean,
URL,
I'm so impressed with Hero.
and then you should be able to put that
level
into
there.
OBS.
That's just insane to
This
me.
season on anime hasn't
Having
been
the third
really
base
good.
up
There's a
as
few
Hero is gonna
gems, but
be
most
really, really
it's
nice.
just not.
We can see that Rush is
Since
blind
solo
and
leveling was the only thing
There's
I
not
watched
even a
this
layer
season.
started.
just trying to.
Okay, now
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
started.
Well, it's up. It's going now, but yeah, I mean, you don't know what kind of game you're in, right? You went in for this aggressive move early on, and yeah, I mean, you have to.
Again,
basically
I just
try
don't have
counter
time to
everything that could
watch
be coming
it.
your way. But Hero's just getting started up here. As
I
far
feel
as tech.
sad,
Basically
but it's like
thrown
one
up
thing
is
I've had to
pretty
like
strong.
almost cut
You know, it
out.
wouldn't be bad for Rush to
Because
move
that's what I'd be
out,
doing
actually.
right now, would
Totally.
just be like binging
You'll
anime.
force so many sunken colonies because the sunkens that are at the natural aren't even good ones. It's like poorly placed against
But
Marine
hey,
Medic.
I'm here with
And then
you
gotta
guys, so
force
that's
them
what
at the
matters,
third if you
right?
can figure out there's a third.
You guys are stuck
Like,
here with
this
me.
really, I don't know how Hero's supposed to win this game. I feel like with Rush, seeing how late that layer is, if you just start your factory, it almost doesn't matter what Hero does. Like, you're going to hit a siege tank.
Look, he's
timing
making
push
3
that is
sunkens before he
unbelievably
even
strong.
makes
There's
any
no
drones
way
because
for
he
him to get
knows he's so
consumed
far
before
behind.
a siege tank timing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's
It
so
is-
unfortunate. And he has
we
like
never
no
really talked
drones
about
to
the
begin
matchup
with,
that
so I
way,
think he
but
might
it's
be
like,
fucked.
That is kind of why you try to get the layer up fast. Is that
Because
you know, we never see
everything
these
that Hero's
empty
doing
tank
is just
pushes in this
delaying
matchup. Well, sometimes
Hero's
but almost
economy.
never. But it's because the rest of the tech is up before that it can clean you off.
Yeah. You know, if you look back at old Terran vs. Zergs from the old Kespa days, they look completely different because the Defiler Rush wasn't dialed in. Like, you'll see 2 and 3 siege tank pushes. You see 2 factories sometimes. And it's like,
Yeah,
none
I
of that
remember
stuff
that.
works anymore. Now it's like, we actually have very specific timings where you check the queen nest health before you decide if you want to try a siege tank push.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, things just weren't as refined back then. You have, you know, hundreds of thousands of games played over, you know, several, you know, more than 2 decades for people to finally get this, you know, ironed out so perfectly that now we know that this type of play
I
in
put
the
it
game
into
is
a
generally
browser
not
source in
doable
OBS.
anymore
How do
'cause
I
the other side can
trigger
tank
it
into
to
something
test
quick
it?
enough that it negates any
I
potential
guess I could try that,
kind of
Muffin.
push
Hold
would
on,
have.
let me see here.
This is so rough. I think he has to try to get Hive as quickly as possible here, too. And I don't... The way he's setting up his Sunkens is screaming anti-marine medic. He's trying to utilize those further back
Yeah.
Sunkens instead of just making a new line, which makes it even weaker to his siege tank push.
Okay, I unfollowed you,
But,
and I'm
like,
gonna
I feel
refollow
like he
you. Are
should
you
be
ready?
able to identify that the siege tank push has
Just
to
have
be what
OBS
happens
open,
here.
and it should pop
And if
up
I'm
when I
him,
follow
rush
you.
to Guardians as quickly as I possibly can. If he can make like a fleet of Guardians before he loses his natural, this game could turn around still.
It's a good point. Guardians are a very interesting alternative solution to that, where you can get them out much quicker while still having mutas here to tech around you without having to like rush into lurker and wait for consume and everything else.
And Guardians
But I
are
think
just
at this
good
point in
because you have one starport only. You know, you don't really
Right.
have
Did
great,
that work?
great tech to deal with that. The thing is, like, you still have other things too. Like, there's no great
Nice!
support
That's
for Guardians
dope.
in that situation.
Hell yeah,
I
bro.
don't know that he's gonna go Guardians,
Congratulations.
but I feel like that is
That's sick.
by far the best choice he could make right now.
No, it's always worth considering.
No worries, man. Anytime.
You know, but the thing about Guardians is, like, they're super annoying, but you can kind of just weather the storm. Like, they're not as devastating as you would think. They do damage. You got to pull workers. You got to get defense. But it's not easy to continuously get value. You got to micromanage them a lot. It's very easy to overextend and they get shot down. Here are the 2 tanks, by the way. So let's see if we get that push coming up here.
All right, he has the Hive. We don't see any additional tech yet. We didn't see a Greater Spire. We didn't see Ultralisk Cavern. We didn't see Defiler Mound. He needs to go for something, and it needs to be fast.
So 3 tank push is on the move.
He's seen the tanks, right? I'm pretty sure he caught a glimpse.
I think he saw that. Yeah.
3 tanks, man.
And
he is going to bust through here so fast.
Yeah. Unless he's overextended. The Defiler Mound's seconds away from finishing, which means Consume's about to start. I mean, there are a lot of sunks. A lot of these sunks don't cover the hatchery, by the way, so you can kill off.
Oh, he can't pull it out! Oh my god!
That was a money irradiation.
Oh my god, they lost
Jesus,
like half their
that
health.
hurt my heart, guys!
Oh, that was a perfect siege. I was like, oh, is that in range? It's so close.
Yeah.
That is so close. It's right exactly
That's
at
like,
the edge of
again,
sunken
like
range here.
1 pixel.
Very, very
Look, the
well
Marines in
placed.
front are getting hit, but
And
not the
as
tanks.
you can see, like, Consume is being researched right now. It's just going to be too late. And where the Sunkens were placed, if he had stifled them a bit more, you know, obviously...
Yeah,
it takes a
you
little
need
bit
to have
longer
them in,
push
like,
through, but
segregated
yeah,
lines,
this is where you just skim
because
forward as
they
Rush,
need
and I
to
think
you
he's
need to
done it.
force
Like,
them
this
to
is way too
unsiege.
much damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The spiders
unfortunately,
over here as
Hero
well.
is
I mean, I don't
out
think there's
of
enough
the
sunks to keep this
ASL.
alive. The tanks are going to siege up, and it looks like Hero's been broken. In what was a really wild TVZ that we saw back
Yeah,
here.
this was a
Teams are trying to
crazy,
get a little bit of
crazy
extra damage.
best of
The last
3.
sunken colony is going to fall. Reinforcements arrive, and I think this game is done, Artosis.
It's way too much damage. Like, it doesn't even matter if he kills this whole army now. Rush is in complete control of this game. GG.
He knows he's
And
done.
Hero is eliminated in the round of 16, something we do not say that often.
Yeah, Rush can barely believe it, and he's just getting started, man. He's got to
Yep.
go against Midi next.
Oh, those
Rush
are such
versus
good
Mini.
matches.
We got a PVT
They have
on our
such-
hands,
yeah, they
guys.
really do.
Remember him versus Mini? In
If
the
Mini's
finals of
tilted, he's
ASL,
going to lose. If Mini's
where it
not
was
tilted,
7
he's
game
going to
series
win.
With like
Force.
4 Nexus first from Mini.
Yeah.
And all
Yeah,
these carrier
and
games.
Carriers all the time.
Oh, I can't wait.
Fucking
That's going to be a
Mini.
great match. Sad to see Hero go, but honestly, for the health of the tournament, better to see Hero go. We're not going to have 4 Zergs. Will we have 4 Protoss or 3, though? Rush is going to answer that for us here soon.
We'll have like a golden ratio if Rush wins.
Yeah, guys, we're going to be going to a short break in a second here.
A 3-3-2.
In that short period of time, Rush is going to have to move on into a completely different matchup versus a different player. He won the right to not be knocked out. Now he's going to have to close it out with a win to move on to the round of 8 coming up next. This is it, everybody. We're closing out the round of 16. This final best of 3 will decide who gets that last spot in the round of 8. And when we finish this best of 3, don't turn off the video,
Yeah.
because we're going to be doing the selection for the round of 8 as well. We get to see who's going to face who.
Oh,
before
they're
we wait a
doing
couple
what?
days and then go right back into ASL.
Always
Okay.
a very hyped moment
Okay.
to see what those round of 8 matches are going to be.
Okay.
We have some real potential bangers coming out as well. And still, there aren't going to be any Zerg vs. Zergs in the round of 8, at least. So we might actually go a whole ASL season without a matchup. That's a real
That's
possibility.
crazy.
I
No
don't know if that's
ZVZs.
happened before.
I don't
Or
think so.
maybe it happened, we didn't notice it, but
CVZ,
Yeah,
no one
it's
cares
kinda
about
crazy.
Sulky's
ZVZ.
got his fingers crossed.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the only way
right.
Sulky's going to lose is
Imagine
against the
if you
ZVZ.
have struggled before, but
Yeah.
all right, everybody. We're going to go to Dominator to start this off. Rush versus Mini. These are 2 guys that faced off in a previous finals of an ASL years ago.
8.1k channel
Now
points.
they're going at it
Nice,
right now in round of
Muffin.
16.
Some dedication. Really appreciate it, guys. Sticking around, hanging out, having a good time. That's what it's all about, right? Keeping the stream as serious as possible.
Okay. Top left and bottom left. I am so excited to get into this match. Guys, our final plug for not just today, but the round of 16. Consider signing up for that Patreon. We want to earn your support. We love what we do. We wouldn't be able to do it without you. Patreon.com/ASL English.
Thank you very much, everyone, for that support
One A
thus
two A
far.
three A
Definitely check
four
it out.
A
We do have
five
the
A
Tastetosis
six
Secret
A
podcast
seven
there as
A
well,
eight A nine A zero
where
A
we
one
talk
A
about all
two A
manner
three A
of
four
stupid
A
things
five
before
A six
each
A
cast.
S T A R T
All right.
one A two
So,
A three A four A five A one A two A.
Dominator is
Fuck.
such a cool map for Terran vs. Protoss, I think. There's just like
I'm gonna
so
grind a
much
bit of
variety
chest,
that
try to
can
get a
occur
new
here.
highest elo, and probably
You
go
know,
to bed.
like,
Gonna
you
go
can
see
definitely
my
go
Minecraft
very
movie tomorrow.
aggressive
Oh,
as
nice,
Protoss.
cute
You can go very
muffin.
economical as Protoss.
That sounds good, man.
The same
Hell
goes
yeah,
with
brother.
Terran. Like, you can play some
All right,
real
well, have a good
greedy
night, good
stuff
sir.
here,
Thanks for
and
stopping
you
by
can
and
also,
hanging
like,
out. Always
go highly
appreciated.
aggressive. You can play like a big turtle game where you try to like kind of split the map. I don't know. It's just Dominator has become, I think, one of the really best maps that we see, and that's a 9
They've got
gate.
a forward 9 gate.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We've seen forward 10 gates before. 9 gate just means it's out a little bit quicker. And so, you know, you can get the Zealot there a couple seconds faster. This pairs, or this parlays pretty nicely with Dragoons with range into trying to dominate the ramp. Now, a lot of Terrans still get their command center up on the high ground, but Protosses can take some pretty nasty fights on the high ground and punish pretty hard if the Terran miscontrols at all.
It's very, very true. You got to really keep your marine
PvP
health very
is
high
so
for this.
fucking brutal
And
sometimes.
I think I think I mentioned this like maybe a few days ago in an ASL cast, where you know, it really comes down to your early unit production. Like, for instance, if Mini goes like 2 to 3 Zealots into Dragoons here, that can be really hard to push up the ramp, but it becomes way easier. Like, if you make a second Vulture, I think that's an underrated move, where if you make the second Vulture before add-on, you can bust up the ramp really quickly. That's actually something I learned watching Mihu, where he's like, nah, man, like, no, non-upgraded Vultures are actually great at the very beginning of the game. They're a fantastic unit for how quickly they can come out.
So I think a lot of times you get 2 Zealots, but I've seen 3 done before. Although when I see 3, I always feel like the Vulture gets the upper hand.
Me too. Yeah, I agree. I think 2 is the right play. Whenever I see 3, I'm like,
But
I think Terran's ahead.
But we see 3 a lot in ASL, and so I don't know if there's another ration. I feel like it, because I always see it
shit.
happen. Oh, look at you, gamer.
Cheeky,
Okay,
cheeky.
I've seen 2 different things here.
Pylon?
I've seen, shield battery here, and I've seen actually people make a little bit of a pylon wall there to screw up Terran coming up the ramp. Like, put some buildings to kind of choke it. Not a battery, but like a couple pylons near the ramp. Now, he sees
It's going to be a battery.
Yeah, that's a battery to start. And we actually don't have rush microing, so that is huge for Mini.
Oh, is he gonna
Oh,
get?
God, get the Zealot off the ramp. It's got 2 HP.
Oh man,
So important that he got that before the battery's done.
that would have been
That would've
insane.
Oh, my
so
God.
scary. Now, another Zealot is coming, which makes much more sense since you have the shield batteries. Up come the SCVs. He actually went up and, well, he did get some vision there, but he does have vision of the opponent's natural for drills, so that's important. But now the batteries are done, and he can heal these Zealots a lot.
Or not.
He didn't quite use the one on the left, I think. Yeah, he's still got energy on that. This rush is backfiring, by the way. I think he still might be able to get a lot done because he's just got this battery still here. But I think he really needed to get that second Zealot
Muffin's
healed,
gonna throw
right, so that he would have 3 Zealots fighting, and I think
popcorn.
he would just, they can't get up the ramp
Oh,
then.
in
That was actually sick.
in
I had
the
not actually
Minecraft
seen this
movie.
before, by the way. I guess you've experienced this, but I had not seen this specific move. But it kind of makes sense.
On a map that looks like this,
Is
you
it
know,
that
you play it
bad?
for a few
Is it
weeks
really
and you're
that
gonna
bad?
experience this Terran every single
I haven't seen
demented,
anything about it.
deformed idea a Protoss mind can come up with, and this is definitely one of them. But
Muffin, are you going to
it
wild
didn't
out
really
at
work.
Chicken
like, Rush just kind of out
Jockey?
microed a little bit. You know, that third Zealot, you were talking about that. It's like it feels better when you get the Dragoon
It's
more
Chicken
quickly, 'cause
Jockey.
The Vulture just comes out and starts to dominate Zealots.
Mini should have just gone
I
Nexus
guess if you had
first.
3 Zealots instead of 2, because there was a period where it was like 2
Apparently the
Zealots
kids
and
are
1
launching
fighting,
sweets and
then 2,
popcorn
then 1
everywhere.
fighting. And I think with a third zealot and batteries, you could just strong arm.
It's like tomatoes and lettuce back in the day.
Yeah.
Rotten
You kind
cabbage.
of just like,
When Jack
okay,
Black
I'll fight
says
the
certain
SCVs
things.
and I'll let them either be killed or sent back home, and then I'll eventually get to the.
They're like, you did it
the-
wrong. That's
the-
not what we
The
meant.
important
Fucking
units, the Marines and the
bastards.
Vultures.
Can never get anything right. Try to get kids
Little
movies,
dance
man.
back
I
and
feel
forth with
bad
the
for
Vulture
kids
trying to get out Lucid
nowadays, man.
Dragoons. It's
Like
he
the
tried
shit
once,
we
his
had when
first
I was a
action, he
kid.
immediately tried again.
Fuck,
thinking maybe he
man.
looked away to macro or something. And he
They
was
don't
right, he
allow
was just
that
slightly
shit
slow and didn't
anymore.
Catch that, but he's hunting
But
it.
fuck,
Look
we
at his
had it
Dragoons,
good.
He wants
We
to
had
find
it
that Vulture. If he
good.
can get in range again, it'll probably die.
Kids nowadays just get bullshit slop.
So he's going to fan these Dragoons back out. A third Nexus is going to be made, I think, in the top right, or
Like, compare
maybe even further into the
Reboot
top right, actually.
to
Oh, I'm
any
sorry,
like kids
guys.
show
There was
nowadays,
a pro
like
movie out there, it's a
in
Dragoon.
that like kind of
So,
area, like
never
from
mind,
like
he's gonna
8 to
stay on
like
2 bases.
13.
He's just hunting the Vulture right
Like,
now.
even
And I
movies and stuff
love
like
the
that.
3-gate ad. I love it. I love it. This is, I think,
It's
this
just
is
like-
completely
Smart.
correct. Yeah,
So
in these
ridiculous.
It
weird
does feel
positions-
bad when you do it.
Oh, the
Yeah.
3-gate? Yeah.
Well, it just you would want to get like 2 gates and a Nexus, but I think he knows he's behind enough.
Or
It's
comedies
I don't
like
wanna
Clone
just die
High.
to a push.
Yeah,
So I need to be ready.
You
for a
wouldn't
fight.
be able
So
to
3-gate
air
is the
Clone
correct
High
move.
nowadays.
yeah. If you're playing a little bit blind,
It literally
and
got
aggression
shut
comes
down
on
because
you,
of Gandhi.
3-gate Observer stops everything Terran might have planned. Absolutely everything.
Right.
We've talked about this a few times, like with the best game, like against Sharp and everything.
People
as
don't know
well.
how to take comedy.
And we've definitely seen, like, it's gotten a little bit popular on ladder again. This used to be the standard for PvT after expansion was 3-gate Goon Observer, and it was just like super safe. And then it went away as people got greedy. But like this push that Rush might be planning here, maybe he pushes, maybe he doesn't. 3-gate Observer has potential to crush this and then maybe even counterattack for some damage. If you get the tanks, there's real potential.
But if the Terran doesn't push or doesn't commit, and you can just take a third base, then the 3-gate feels kind of crappy. Like if they just make a command center out here and siege up because you can't punish. I always feel like if you know they're 3-gating, that's the play, is to kind of just slow play it.
Oh,
take their
and the
own
Vultures
third,
get in.
because then they have to stop using the 3-gates and expand themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is the counter.
He gets a
is
couple
you
of
just kinda
probes.
sit tight, turtle up a little bit.
And he has to pull his army
You
back.
know, honestly, getting that Vulture up there, seeing that many goons and no gas, I think he has a good idea of what's going on. I don't think he'll move out. And this is where Mini just
Is it
has
a
to
short
make the
one
nexus.
today?
Yeah,
Yes,
he-
it's a
he
short
throws
one
it down.
today,
Like, as soon
Eggy.
as you get scouted like that, it's like, well, he's not coming. You know, there's no way he's attacking. So Mini
I work
moves
at
out for an
11,
attack.
so-
the Vulture's trying to rotate around to get some damage. Siege mode should be
Yeah,
finishing
I work
any
pretty
second
early.
here.
Normally I
So
work at like
imagine
1:30.
He's going to be safe
know?
as long as he pulls some
That's
SCVs. Make
three.
sure the
That's
bunker's
3
being
hours. That's pretty much If I don't end because it'll be
Almost
4
breaks
o'clock
in
in
there with those.
like
Okay, I
4:30 in
love
the
this
morning.
push. This
'Cause
is a
it's
great
3
This is
o'clock
what you
now.
want to do, by the way. If you
So it'll probably be
3-gate
another
and they
hour,
don't come
right?
at you, like when you get about 7
Another
or 9
45
Dragoons,
minutes.
The play from Protoss, and it's so cool to see it used here by Mini, is you go, they're not
I'm gonna
attacking.
wake up at like 10.
Then you just run an attack.
But I still
them.
gotta
Sometimes
shower
you have
and
siege mode, you
eat
kill them.
after the stream.
Yeah, if you don't get siege mode
You can
before
run-
they break the bunker, you lose.
Yeah. And I've had plenty of games. I remember seeing Boneth do this a long time ago, right when I came back, and I'm like, wait, what is happening? Dragoons are just like attacking into a
I
camp, and how does
am
he know
live
this
on
works?
YouTube. Yes, Eggy.
And I was so perplexed. And then I tried it my own, and I'm like, okay, what? And now that I've been back and playing for a while, I see, okay, they want to get siege mode as late as possible. And if they try to expand and they don't get siege mode and they're too greedy, you can just run through there with Dragoons and kill them. Because Dragoons in mass will beat tanks if they're not sieged up.
Totally. This game so far, this has been one of the best back and forth early games. I feel like both players have played it immaculately. If you look at just because they both chose
that
OP
good enough,
builds, right?
Eggy?
So that's something that you have to do without any input from your opponent. And then since then, the back and forth that they've had as far as micro, movement, decision making, I feel like
the same
every
name.
aspect of all of that has been like perfect. I'm loving this game right now. It looks so well played on both sides. And like honestly, I'm looking at like I'd be pretty happy as Rush here, but I wouldn't feel like I'm gonna win. You know? It's like no, there's plenty of fight left in Mini. It's not like I wouldn't call him behind here. But his position is fine, but he doesn't have, like, an advantage.
Yeah, I think you said that perfectly. The Reaver tech's going to be here. I don't know if this is going to be double Robo
This is
or
gonna be
single
a
Robo, but I
long
do
game, I
think Reaver is
think.
just a good play on this map. You can see the Rush is already basically set up to try to fight that by having the tanks and turrets and mines in the main here, basically ready for any kind of big drops that would come in. And I don't know that we're necessarily
Where
gonna
did
have
that
any huge
notification
drops yet. I think
come
it's going to be
from?
more shuttles and Reavers.
Oh,
here
there
to
we
try
go.
to
Hello,
fight
you
and
tard.
contain.
Eggy,
Hold on a sec. Minnie's actually
nice.
looping around.
Welcome to the
there's
YouTube
almost nowhere
side.
safe
You're
to
like
land
one of
this.
the
I'm kinda
first
blown
people
away
to
he even
talk on
found this little
YouTube.
safe
It's
spot over
possible,
here.
but no one really
I
does
don't think
it.
there's any real damage to be had here. It's like you kill a turret, you hit a tank once. Okay.
There like
But
none of the
there-
commands
Rush's
work on
setup is too
YouTube though,
good.
as far
He's
as
too
I
on top
know.
of what's occurring in this game. And I think Mini's.
But I
time
don't know how to
is
moderate the
perfect as
chat
well. The
on
Citadel,
YouTube.
I love seeing the Citadel at this time, because if Rush wants to attack, the way you're going to hold that is to have that speed upgrade. So he comes back around to the front. Rush trying to push out, whether this is for an actual push or
Yeah,
he's just
I
trying
don't
to
think
get in
anything
position
works.
for a base.
Oh, it does
Is yet
work!
to be seen.
Oh, it's all from Botrick, so what works on
So,
Kick works on
Good Terrans on two bases will get that Goliath range.
YouTube. There you go.
Kills
Nice,
the
and you got
shuttle so fast. Like you're seeing here,
maximum
you
roll.
gotta get away.
Jesus,
you have to
brother.
respect this, and it makes it almost impossible for the Protoss to really
Take me now, I mean,
sandbag
what?
the progress of the Rush.
So anything that works on
So let's
Kick
see how
should
much
work. Maybe
damage
do the
Rush
emotes
actually
work?
Can do here, because he's getting very close to being
Like
to the
EM
point where he
Goon
can
and
seal up
EM
the entrance
Dance?
of the third base.
This is
EM
very well
Tar?
Sorry,
timed.
the second base.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is
Yeah.
very well timed from Rush. I don't think there's any other timing that he could have moved out at and had any chance of this working. But he's getting into position really quickly. You can see the Zealots just are not ready as of yet. Mini going to decide to take this on high ground because of missed shot advantage. He's going to get some Scarab hits. The shuttle almost dead right now. Ooh, that's a very good hit right there on that final Scarab from that one Reaver. But everything else explodes. Now, Mini does have some Dragoons up the ramp that kind of has slowed things down on like 9 o'clock, and he's going to bring those back out and try to slow this once again. If he can stop Vultures from coming up as Zealot Legs finishes, that's the key for Mini holding this.
Yeah, we saw two Vultures run by. I think they both took a lot of damage. Do we have Reavers
Stat
action with this
maxing
mix? I don't
peen
see
length
any yet, but they
straight
could be
off the
inside
bat.
shuttle. Here's
Best
one right
to
now.
ever do it.
He whipped
True,
it.
Eggy,
Difference between
true.
Mini or Snow, I guess, and everybody
You're
else. I should
rocking
say.
it.
Yeah. That missed shot is so brutal. Oh, he does get a very good Reaver shot there, and in fact, might get another one. Yeah, really, really good shot. Kills some additional tanks, and these Dragoons are still catching units coming by. Every single Vulture that goes down is one less Vulture to help this push out. This little group of Dragoons,
I was
if
following
he
the talk
ends up
stories,
holding
but
this
not
and
that
winning this
account.
game,
Ah,
this group of
I
Dragoons
see.
is the one that moves on to the round of 8.
There's just not enough.
There's
for
also
Mini,
the
it
Clips
feels
channel.
like. The 6 factories are pumping
Hit
so
you with
hard.
a sub and a content
Fourth base is up
strike.
here for Mini, and it doesn't seem like Rush has identified that. I think there are some Vultures maybe headed up there
True,
to hit
Eggy.
that.
Best way to
Dude,
engage.
the pullback.
And you know what? Rush actually backs off. I can't believe it.
Perfect. You can't get better decision making than what we've seen from Rush this game. He really might just be the best Terran in the world right now. Unbelievable. I'm getting chills just looking at the decision making. Like, his push found the only timing where it could do something, and this pullback is 100% perfect. He did not lose too much. He killed as much as he
part of our
possibly could.
lovers
He was
to
going to be
enemies
diminishing
to
returns.
lovers.
He's got plenty of units to set up his third base. Look at the mass turrets.
True.
Look at his anti-drop. Look at
There's
his
also the
refill of
Clips
Goliaths.
channel if you want to check out the
Everything
Clips
he's
channel.
doing is
And I upload
so
the clips
dialed
from
in.
Kickbot on there.
I can't add anything to this. I normally feel like,
I've
oh,
kinda
he did this one thing
neglected it a
different,
little bit.
and it would be better. And I can't
But
see
if you
anything
scroll
like that
down
from
to
Rush.
the
He's playing
page, like if you
just
go to
in
my
an immaculate game.
homepage
One thing about Mini
and
is
you
that he
scroll
uses
down,
DTs a
you
lot in
can
the
see
matchup
all
in
the
ways
ones
that we don't
connected
normally
to
see.
it.
Like, we'll have
And this
players
one
that have
has,
DTs guarding like a a
like,
base that you could land at.
Falling Glaive
he has a
Dance,
couple moving out
Clip
here on the
It,
map. And we've
Eiffel
even seen him using
Tower,
shuttles at times.
Can't See,
games like these.
Bald,
We have 2 more shuttles
Wild
out. I don't know if those are
Gayron,
additional DTs, but
Eggy doth
this could
play,
be one way to really slow down
Eggy's
progress.
bag.
I always think back to maybe it was last
So,
season.
you know,
or
there's a
the
bunch of
season
clips
before
on
where
here too. The
Mini,
61
like,
follow.
won a game where he like killed the scanners in the
Yes,
main and the
yes.
net control, and
Against Barracks on Apocalypse,
yeah.
that was such a crazy.
Because otherwise
Yeah,
you have to go to
yeah,
kick.com
that's,
and you
one
can
of the
go
best games
to
I've
the
ever seen.
Kickbot
The drop
So-
defense is
Or
amazing
clip,
in there.
sorry.
My God, doesn't that look
Yeah,
good?
I don't-
Kickbot/clips, and
I
it
don't
has
think he should
all
try
of
to
the
drop in there.
clips.
No.
I mean, he's definitely
Here.
committed on holding that.
So I want to transfer all of these
3 base
over
to 4
to
base.
the YouTube eventually.
Mini probably going to be taking a 5th pretty soon here.
That's the plan. And
And,
all the
you know,
stream
Rush,
highlight reels
honestly,
you can
I
check
think he
out,
should
you know.
Take a 4th.
What I
think
would
that
consider
there's
the best
good
parts
push
of the
potential
stream.
right at this second. He has like a big army, has a strong army, but if you push, it's like that push kind of has to do it. If you don't set up a 4th base, like losing a 3 base push isn't as bad as losing a 2 base push, but it's the next worst thing, you know?
Yeah.
I guess that's something that kind of like always is the case. It's like, well, yeah, the more bases you have, the easier it is to reinforce, like to remake an army. But yeah, it looks like he wants to push out here.
Unless you're
This
Terran and you
could
just have
be-
all your
this could
factories
be
in your main.
Good for him. I mean, Mini is going for a counter with the shuttles. That's exactly what you want here as Rush. He's got a great defense in his main.
Yeah, let's see if this actually works out. He's going to be unloading everywhere over here. I think it's just Zealots and 2 Reavers, and this is pretty smart. He can do so much damage over
Ooh.
here. Oh my God, and these Reavers are just going to eat these Vultures. Now, I don't think there's any Templars out yet, or if there are, you know, he needs to be able to storm this army because...
Oh man,
you know,
he's
you can
going
do
around
whatever
sides.
you
This is
want
gonna be
with
like
this,
trying
but
to do a
if this army
fucking
can
base
contain
trade
you,
or
you're just
something. Oh, there
screwed.
you go. There are
Ice
the
Storm comes
storms.
down here.
Wow.
Reaver doesn't get a shot off. The DT
And he's
maybe
got a
go
DT in there.
Quietly
Oh.
kill a couple units before.
No.
Rush notices
There's another
great
great
storm.
storm.
The counterattack coming back seems to have ran through some mines and thinned out.
Yeah.
It looks like he was going for that counter, and then Rush already had mines in position to catch it on the way back. This is a game that Rush is going to take.
Yeah,
This
Rush has
he's
the
absolutely nailed it.
there's no way
His
to get
drop
out
defense was
for
just amazing, and
he's got
Mini is not
mines.
breaking this with that army. Not going to happen.
yeah.
Yeah, I do like this shuttle here on
He's
the
got
side.
the 1 DT.
About as good of a flank as you could have asked for, but I think this game might be over here. The tanks
just
are
gonna
going to unsiege. They're going
unsiege.
to gun down the remaining Zealots, DT, and Dragoons.
No, the DT
And,
isn't
You know,
being
right
there
now
goes.
there's like 1 or 2 gateways that are not
Now he's
inside the
killing it.
main, but you can pretty much siege up over here, and the Protoss can't leave. And it looks like Rush should be winning this game.
Mini actually took that fight so much better than I thought.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be one of
I
those
was kinda
fights where Terrans was
scared,
like
but-
2 vultures, but
I mean,
yeah,
Mini still has
GG.
2 games.
Mini a little bit upset about that, but that was one of the best played TVPs I've ever
Mini's
seen.
tilted as fuck, guys. Mini's gonna lose.
That was
Mini's
just
gonna lose.
amazing
He's
from
way
Rush,
too
from
tilted.
A to Z. Everything he did, he nailed. The drop defense,
Yeah.
the defense against the early game cheese, the attacks that he did when he pulled
Look
back,
at him.
the
He
execution
can't even keep it
of
together.
the secondary attack on 3
He knows
bases.
he's fucked.
He moved so quickly. He identified very little in the way of splash damage. He laid mines to catch the army.
He's like the
coming
one
back.
player you can tell from
Like,
his body language where he's just
If
absolutely
he plays at
done.
that level, he might finally win his championship. If he can avoid Sulky, man, like,
Yeah.
he is
If
playing like
Solgi
a
goes
dog.
into ZVZ and loses to Queen or
I do
Jadong,
feel
I
like
could see either
Mini-
Rush or
Mini could
Snow
have done better
winning.
with the batteries
Do they
and
just
the Rush
end the
there.
game with the result
Once we
is
saw
clear?
it go up by
Yeah, it's called
12, it's
GGing. You know when you
strong.
can't come back, so the player
This
will
is
GG
really
and just
good.
leave the
You just have
game.
to make sure you get the
That way you
energy
don't have to
back
sit
on
through
the,
destroying all the buildings.
on the Zealots.
But you just clearly know
2
that you're
batteries
dead.
is a lot of recharges on 2 Zealots.
It
you
is.
know, get the 3rd Zealot there, get a Dragoon there. Mini, you know, I think he's the most emotional player we've got
Yeah,
in ASL.
by
Certainly
far.
looking upset. We're going to go to Polestar. Let's see who can take this, guys. Again, the final series here in the round of 16, Mini and Rush. Rush with a 1-0 lead.
There's the people that punch their monitors and people that punch themselves, and I think Mini's the kind of person who punches himself. Upset or food poisoning? No, that's Mini being upset. If you've ever seen Mini play in a game and
The
lose a
audience gets
game
their
and
cheers
just like,
out. And, man, Rush has really fought hard.
oh my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
why?
He's given himself every
Mini's still-
opportunity.
Yeah,
That's
Mini's
literally
still
how he is.
in that short camera.
Whereas
shot we
ever
had him.
like this is the most you'll ever see out of
It's
most
time
other
for Nexus
pros.
first. Let's cut to the chase.
I think so.
Just make your Nexus first. I don't know which one he wants to do.
To the point
But
there's a
I
meme
feel
where
like
it's like
that is-
8 players
that's where
and
you
it's
go
like
for
guess
me.
which players won their
You know, this
game
is a
and
big
lost
map.
their
It's got
game.
a ton of bases on it.
But it's like you can't even tell
a lot
because
of
they're
different
not they're
paths
like
can
blank
move around.
faces.
I think it's a good.
So whether they win or lose, they're
Nexus
just
First is not
like-
one of those maps where I'm like Nexus First is broken here, but like just a solid map for it, and he's very good.
You
at
look
Nexus
more like
First, so
me
that's just
when the
what I wanna see.
Polish muscle
It does
mommy
feel like
is
we haven't had
peeing
as
on me
many
for
Nexus
50
First
bucks.
games
Yeah.
this season.
You're
There
definitely
were
right about
definitely
that.
seasons where it was more common than uncommon. In fact, we almost
50
found
bucks? That's a
novels
damn
that
good
didn't go
deal,
next.
bro. Mine's 150. Fuck
Especially if they
Canada,
played normally
man.
And they didn't just
This
like do
shit's
some kind of weird
bull.
one-based cheese. You're like, so you're gonna take a Nexus on 23? Look at you.
Well, people have actually not necessarily gotten better at breaking Nexus First, but just playing against it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's hard exactly to explain. It's just like the understanding of how to play against
50
it has
because you need
evolved
to
a
see
little
a
bit,
doctor
and where
afterwards.
its weaknesses reside, and it is a Nexus First, by the way. But like, I can even notice it in my own play. I used to see Nexus First and just think I've lost, and now it's just like,
Right.
I don't wanna
Okay,
play against it, that's
yeah, that makes
you know,
sense, Eggy.
it's like-
That makes sense.
yeah,
I don't know.
it's just
I
that
like
as the understanding
pristine top of the
evolves, like,
line.
different builds gain and lose traction.
Right.
It's kind of wild.
Like 350 an hour,
Yeah.
150
Anyways,
per peak.
that is the Nexus First. He's not scouting at all at the moment, and Rush might scout him first here. Is he going to the cross spawn? I'm not
Look
sure
at the
exactly.
pathing.
Yeah, the path.
But it's
I
only
know, I
fun
think
if it
it's on bottom
stings.
Okay, you're right. Like I
Yeah,
said,
no, it's no. I thought the same thing for a second.
Yeah, it
when
almost
was moving
looked.
diagonally.
Yeah, it almost looked like that. Okay, so the SCV comes quickly
Oh my
enough
God.
that I feel like you might switch this into the Forge version. No matter what you might have been planning, he throws the pylon down, and that can either be for a wall, or that can be for a Forge. And by the way, like if you go core with 2 zealots here,
Need a toke.
I just ran into this the other day from like a high-level amateur Protoss, where it turns out you can go Forge after core if you're willing to sacrifice a couple zealots.
Forge after core.
Yes, it's the most insane thing, because basically if you just send zealots out, the push that breaks Nexus First with Marine, Vulture, SCV, you send the Marines and Vultures first and the SCVs second because they move faster. And so basically you have to turn the Marine Vulture around or sit there and fight the Zealot. And it just slows it down just enough to get the cannons up. So I just want to throw that out there.
That's
there's still a
insane.
small
How
possibility
people
here, but it
people
doesn't look
like
like
map that
My
out
understanding is
so
it's always-
minutely.
Forge like right before your first zealot,
Yeah,
and then
it
you
was.
just throw the zealots into it,
Yeah.
and make a cannon, and then like by the time the
He's
SCVs
pulling the
get there,
SCVs.
cannon's finishing. But
He's pulling the
it
boys.
actually makes so. Okay, we saw. I think.
Is
it
Rush
was
just gonna
Snow
outright
Units. This is sort
win?
of a new way to hold this.
Oh my god.
That's very different. Which is
Oh
you
my god. This
basically
is
just,
crazy. This is fucking
like
crazy.
zombies trying to get into your your warehouse. You just like throw furniture at the door.
Yeah.
So they can't get in. Protoss sort of does that with their own buildings. And usually they get a battery behind it, but I don't see one right now.
Oh, he's pulling the Zealots to the side?
That's
kind of
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
He comes in, and the probes actually drill during this as well. And he's going to get, oh my god, he gets on top of the Marines there. That is absolutely huge. There is a bunker being made, though. And as that bunker finishes
Yeah,
up, this
I
becomes
think-
very difficult
I
to hold.
think Rush just wins.
Yeah, I mean, if the bunker's done and Marines get in it, I think you lose the base. And I
Yes.
think Mini just...
I mean, he's fucked.
You should always lose
I
this
think-
base. This looks like... when you sacrifice that many probes trying to hold it and you still lose the Nexus, that's when Terran starts to run away with the game.
Right.
He was just
I
so
wonder
greedy.
if
He
it
should have
would've
done
been
this the
better to
first
just go, like,
game,
2
not
do,
this
like,
game.
2 zealots into like maybe 2 dragoons right away. Try to fight this. I'm not totally sure. I lose to this a lot, and I do the Forge opening. And I find that like if they like start with Marines just running across the map,
Yeah.
and trying to generate like a bunker, you can just lose the game. Like it's very hard to kind of
This is actually
keep
kind of
control
really
of everything
sad.
that's happening.
Yeah, this is a really
But, yeah,
terrible
Manny got
situation.
tilted
he's,
as
He's
fuck.
even made the tank before the command center. That's become very trendy lately to continue to put on that push pressure. And Mini looks like he's probably just going to go directly into Reaver.
He might
yeah,
seppuku.
like,
yeah. Look at him.
Good Terran here feels very.
He's like,
lost.
I'm just gonna play it out because that's this
Dude, he's
is
missing every shot on that egg. It's so funny.
I know. I'm like, please move that up the ramp. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It's like he wants it down here to make sure there's no other shenanigans going on, but it's like, dude, you're never going to kill the egg. Okay, now you go up the ramp.
Man, he can't even get up! Oh my god, Minnie's like, fuck my life. Nothing can work. Nothing is possible.
I mean, from here, I don't know,
Fuck.
man. I really don't know how Protoss is supposed to play. I guess you could try to just, like, get speed shuttles and, you know, just start mass dropping their main. But I think this is, you know, you all you have to do is have a proper build order as Rush and win the game. Like, you put your tanks at your ramp. You don't keep them on the low ground in your main. You just keep them somewhere safe. Maybe like 1 or 2 tanks on the low ground. But basically, if they try to do any funny stuff with drops, that just gets shot down from afar.
It
This
definitely
can't be good.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't be able to do much here as Mini. Even throws a missile turret down. He's really digging in there.
Just
on
in
Mini's
case,
side
you
of
never know,
things,
there could be a
like,
DT coming
generally
out.
it'll just be Reaver here, and you'll fly around, and you know eventually you'll break out and go double Nexus really
But
quickly.
he's gonna see it with the mines.
Like sometimes.
Well,
Protoss will
maybe
do an all-in
not.
from here,
Maybe not. Oh, he's gonna see it
but,
with that
you know,
one.
That just
The
nothing
vulture
feels good.
there.
Nothing feels good. I don't even have any tips for Mini here. It's just like, what do you do to win here? Well, you've already
can't.
taken so much damage.
Yeah.
Rush is
Rush
just
has to really
sewing
fuck up.
everything. The fact that he has these mines, he's watching where the shuttle goes. He's throwing down a ton of missile turrets. Like, he did everything correctly. He identified, oh, you only have one gate. You know, I'm going to go missile turret siege mode. You know, if you go 2 factory here, maybe your turrets are a little bit late and the Reaver gets some more damage. It's hard to imagine a non-snow shuttle Reaver doing anything here.
Yeah.
And he's
Snow
flying really
could
well.
do
He's
something
like,
here,
Rush knows
but-
goons are being offloaded. Like, there's no surprise here.
You know, look, there's no world where Protoss should win here. You just can't be on 1 base versus 2 base and be contained, by the way. You know, with a bunker to siege tank and mines and come back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways a game can go in StarCraft. This is just, sorry, this ain't one of them. So I'm curious to see, you know, what the next several steps are for Mini, but I don't think this is one where, especially at this, you know, level of play, there's an easy solution. He's even completely sealed off his entrance. You know, it's like, no, I'm not going to let you bum rush me. I've got my siege tanks neatly spread. I've got a ring of turrets around my base.
It's a
I'm
perfect
still making
defense.
SCVs nonstop. Yeah.
Let's see what he can do. Drops out that Reaver, tanks some shots already. Okay, well, he got that siege tank very low. Unfortunately, was not able to get just one more shot off on it. Oh, that's
Ooh,
a really great shot.
pretty big.
That's a
Oh,
great
good
shot.
job.
So good so far.
Yeah, not bad.
Good so far. Like,
Reavers
this is
are
great
OP.
execution. He definitely, you know, very, very impressive. But how do you make further? How do you go further?
Well,
there's so many
and
turrets.
he's still contained, guys. He's still in jail back at home.
This is really, like, he's doing so well. He's doing so well with it. It's truly impressive.
No, it's incredible.
But
I'm
not
not enough.
beginning to even play-by-play this. I'm just like being quiet and like looking very carefully, like, we're so good at this game.
we should really be quiet during performances like this.
Yeah, we should just have a moment of silence for Mini.
Yeah. Well, this is like in professional golf where when they're gonna swing, you don't make noise. It's like, okay, he's swinging for it. Let's go. Just be quiet, Taste. Let's just enjoy the mastery. Let's see if he gets any real damage. Yeah, he hasn't even broken through yet. He will break through now. And you can, like, you know, from here, oh, that's so funny. The Marine came up and killed the very hurt Dragoon. You always go double Nexus from here, but it's so late. Oh, he killed the barracks. Do you know what? That's actually, that makes it a little bit better for Mini, you know? It was so bad, and I'm like, he's just gonna add his factories, but he just started the barracks again. So the barracks being part of the wall in the front and Mini picking that off actually bought Mini like probably an extra like 45 seconds plus in this game, where that's like 2 less vultures or 6 less vultures he'll end up having, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point.
And he is going to try and go double Nexus.
I don't know if that's going to, we're going to see the effects of that here, but
yeah,
I really do have to hand it to Mini. It's kind of incredible to see him, still hanging here. He got.
He thinks he
SCV
has an
killed, he
option.
killed tanks at the front. He did break the contain.
He's not quite sure, but he thinks
is
he has
ready
an
to
option.
take a third base soon, although he hasn't started that third nexus yet. There's a probe over there.
Holding off this next push, you got to make some hard choices here.
Oh, the vultures
like-
are gonna get in. Oh my god.
Oh, jeez, tasteless.
So every time,
bad.
it's
It
so
keeps
bad
getting
to
worse.
watch. It's like,
I
oh
mean,
my
I get
god.
that, you know, he's
He
been
has
on one
no
nexus the whole
economy and
time,
he's still losing probes.
You're incrementing out probes at a much slower pace than someone who's been on 2 nexuses, or in this case, 2 command centers.
Man.
Oh god, it breaks my heart.
All right, so Tasteless, if you're in Minnie's shoes, okay, what is the move that you try to make this work? Do you try to, like, I don't know, wiggle up to DT tech? Do you try
I think
to
you go
just
for
go speed
side storm in the
lots?
shuttles. I think you just you play a very basic game,
Like,
with Reavers into like 4 Templars in a shuttle.
What was that
yeah.
notification for?
And try to, like, you know, keep them stuck
Who
on
said
2
what,
base
where?
and try to storm it.
I think the
Who
You know,
did
going
what
for
for
storm
who?
in a shuttle,
Huh?
sometimes that's like the poor.
Sometimes that
poor
thing's
man's
just a
Protoss.
phantom sound. I don't
way
know
to,
where it
like,
came. It
have
was Valiant Boy.
power
I'm just gonna
protect
blame
that can win at the
Valiant
end.
Boy.
Is you don't really, you can't afford carriers. You don't have the gas right now to support.
You all
armors.
heard it though, right?
But you
There was
could
no
just
message
get,
in
like, 4
chat,
Templars
there was
and
no
try to
alert
storm
box.
stuff and then run back away.
It was just ching.
I don't know that he has enough time to get Zealot legs in a game like this, or enough production.
Yeah.
I almost feel like you have to
Random
just
spam.
go goons and Reaver
True, Eggy.
and try to catch them unsieged and just get the best trades you possibly can.
Sure.
Work.
That,
Sure.
like,
Well, I mean that's.
Yeah.
I mean you'd be doing that. And
They're
then
the
you'd be trying to
best.
get the Templar tech eventually. is what I mean.
yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, this is not a game where I think, like, if you're able to hang
Phantom
and keep up, you're like,
sound.
now
I gotta figure out
you
where
know,
that shit's coming from and
certainly
change
not.
it.
But I think you could make a few Templars.
That'll be
and
next
try to get
week's
storms while
problem.
You're using the Reavers like we're seeing here.
Ooh. And, you know, I've been pretty critical lately about 5 and 6 fact attacks. This is 100% a 5 or 6 fact attack game. Like, you do not want to give Mini time for any sort of recovery. You gotta just go at some point here. The Vulture's running around and just laying like a few mines, just kind of keeping track of units coming out. Like, eventually you can just attack, move through stuff like this. And look, that shuttle's going to go down. It's already hurt. Oof.
Yeah.
This is bad, guys. This is really
the way
bad.
to put it, man. This is rough. I mean, we had an exciting rush that basically worked. And now the Terran player is just, you know, reaping the fruits of that by having a pretty easy push.
Oof.
And with the Goliaths in the range, I mean, it's just really hard to get these Reaver shots to work as long as those Goliaths are right-clicked on the shuttle.
He's doing
There
about
are
as,
probes transferred to the third.
Yeah, he's doing about as well as you could ever expect with the Reaver. Like, he's microing it very, very well. He's going back in a second one. He's been on only 3 gate this whole time. He's just doing consistent production. His economy is just too low to jump up to the 6 or 8 gate that you would normally have in this situation, which is why this push is just so strong. It's just, you don't have a lot of muscle for Mini. When Terran is up in supply and they have a siege tank count that's this high, engaging it is incredibly difficult. And he's slowing it as much as anyone could ever slow this. Oh, pick it up, Mini,
my God,
pick it up.
he's in range.
Woo.
Okay, good job backing away there. That was so scary. The Reavers are the only thing he has, guys.
It is.
That's it.
It's the only thing that makes me feel like there's some tiny chance. But yeah, look at this. He tries to flank with goons, does absolutely nothing. Maybe he can cut off some reinforcements. The thing is, Rush is on 3 bases, and I guarantee he's adding stuff at home. The guy is up 40 supply.
Yeah, it's
If
crazy.
it's up
This is
40
like
supply,
Zerg
you're
versus
like,
fucking
okay, you shouldn't
Terran.
do this push.
supply.
In Terran favor,
Ooh, another tank down.
yeah, this
But
is
it's not gonna matter.
Incredibly bad.
I think he got one of the Reavers too.
Oh my God!
And he's
just
just
got
pushed
this
into the
cornered over
corner.
here. I think that they might get another shot on the Goliaths. This is crazy.
dude, he got.
Oh, and he
those were
didn't
good
get it.
shots.
Eventually is ended. Oh my God, that got a lot.
Yeah.
This
Very,
scary
very good micro.
shit. It's pretty
Death's Door is
insane.
knocking here. I mean, he just has to get these siege tanks up here and seal off this spot. I love the Dragoons counterattacking, by the way. This is definitely a smart move. But Terran has, you know, achieved the winning conditions here. he can now wall in the Protoss and then divide and conquer, taking out the third base. And if
GG.
there was a fourth, he'd take that out too. GG.
And Rush moves on to the round of 8.
And
Look at him.
Rush saves the ASL round of 8. We once again have perfect racial distribution. 3 Protoss, 3 Zerg, 2 Terran going to that round of 8. I tell you, that just increased the quality of the round of 8, in my opinion, dramatically.
Oh, yeah.
Dramatically. And as long as Light doesn't get Snow, I'm like, all right, round of 4 is going to be good too.
Well, congrats to Rush. He did it. That was a hell of a day of games.
Hell
Group
yeah,
E
brother.
We were saying before, this is
Is
one of
it
the
worth
best
transferring this to
possible ASL days we
Starcraft
could ever have, just with the lineup of players.
category?
The caliber of players we,
I
I guess the
I
caliber
think
of
it's
games
more
they're
of just
delivering for
chatting
us.
because we're not playing the game.
How do you think?
And it's like
with
we're
how the-
kind of
how it
watching
went,
the game,
Tasteless,
but we're more like
are
talking
you
about the
surprised
game.
It's like first place.
So I feel
Snow,
like it's
second place
more
Rush?
like just chatting.
No, not
But
really.
sometimes
No.
Kick will move me to the
I
Star.
thought
Yeah,
Mitch
I'm
would
in
play a little bit
Starcraft 2
better.
on
Like,
Kick
he's got these really strong parts that are very unique in his
because
play.
they move me
And
there.
his style can be expressed
'Cause they don't know
in
what
a
to
way
do.
That's different from other players,
But Twitch doesn't
he just,
do
like,
that.
Doesn't have the Reaver control that Snow has. This Rush, by the way, I lose a lot of games that kind of look like this. Like, I'm still going for the cannon, but I've found, like, if they can just put enough pressure on you, it's pretty hard to get that cannon up. And in this case, he didn't even go for the cannon. He tried to block.
I didn't
But
like
again,
Kick.
I just don't
Felt like
understand.
worst
If you
version
make
of
a
this.
bunker, like, how do
There's differences,
stop
but
that,
there's
right?
there's ups and downs
Yeah,
for
well,
each of them.
Leaving the zealots on the outside.
Kick
at
has
first
all the
has kinda looked good,
emotes.
but like normally you don't leave the zealots on the outside. Normally what the wall does is it zones everything back.
Yeah,
from
no,
you
the
and
people
you
on Kick
deny
are
bunkers on your
definitely
side while you
unhinged.
build
They
up a
used to get a
drive
shit
count
ton of people
and
coming in
utilize
and
the shield
spamming
battery.
shit.
Instead, he kept
But
the zealots
hey,
out. He
they
sent
don't
all
do
his
that
probes
anymore
out,
because they know what
and that
happens.
just added up
You
to ton
troll
of
me,
damage.
I
You can
troll
see
you
here, look at
back.
this,
You're
21
not
workers
trolling,
against
too bad.
17
I'm
at the end of that.
trolling. Fuck you.
Anyways, quick interview, and then we're going to go into the group or the round of 8 selection.
Hell yeah.
The final
But
round
we
of
lost
play
all of our
the
YouTube
season
viewers.
emerges here at
But hey, we
ASL
had some at
19
some point in
partnership
time,
with
right?
Hot
That's what
Six,
matters.
claiming victory
I don't
with the
expect
Starcraft
everyone to
moving
stick
on to the
around for the
quarterfinals.
entirety of the
Let's talk to
stream,
Rush.
right?
Congratulations.
Pop in, pop
Thank
out.
you.
Eventually, we'll,
It wasn't easy.
we'll grow an
You
audience.
stayed
Like,
alive
if you
in
look
this
at, like,
group
the
of
last
death,
3
and this
months,
is the
we've
fourth
gone from, like,
season in a row that you made
1
the round
viewer
of
to
eight.
3
How are you
viewers to,
feeling?
like, freaking, like,
After I
6
lost
to
the first
8.
match,
Apophis, the
playing, I
meteor,
kept
is
warming
going to
my
dip
hands up.
below our satellites
started
as it
feeling
blows
the games
past
were
the
going
Earth
well.
according to current
I realized
calculations.
that if I can
Damn,
get to grips
Sean,
mentally, I
that's
can
pretty
still
damn
win.
close,
I
bro.
won. I feel really good punching through this group of death. Yes, I was worried you would be shaken mentally having lost to Snow in the first match.
But there's
the
better
opposite
booba
happened. It awoken
on
me
Kick,
instead.
Eggy. Like,
so
I know
that's
some
what makes
damn
Rush
good
so strong,
booba
I
on
thought.
Kick.
Recently, whenever I
Because you
play
can
at
do a
home,
hell of a
I play
lot
stuff
more.
like Pro League,
They're
and I lose the
basically
first match,
flashing
it
their
wakes me
vag
up.
at you.
I think the same thing happened today. The awakening let me win.
What if me and Scotty kiss when the meteor strikes?
And
Ooh,
you
ooh.
took down Hero once.
Hell
more,
yeah,
the ever
Eggy.
so important cul-de-sac, otherwise known
I'm
as the
down.
losers match. You
That
moved
sounds
into the decider
amazing.
match, besting Hero.
It's like kissing under an
The situation
eclipse.
was 1-1. The third set was Eclipse, and he went for a 2-racks build.
See, even they agree
It
with
was a
me.
build I
Eclipse
came
is
up with
awesome.
Yesterday during the day, when Jadong finished streaming yesterday
Did all the
early morning,
Twitch
he was helping me.
Vagine move there
I
then?
tried it once,
Yes,
and
Eggy.
Jadong said,
Most of
"This
them
is
are banned
good
on
stuff. This
Twitch.
is going to work." So I used it. Oh, for a second there I thought I was speaking with Jadong. This build where you make a barracks at 5 o'clock, something you came up with yesterday at dawn, you say. It seems to have worked perfectly in today's match as well. Now, the decider match against Mini.
Why
He
ban?
tried
Why
a
not just
shield
age
battery rush,
verify?
But you stayed calm.
No, because they've had like nip slips and
Your
pussy
composure really
slips.
stood out in
So
today's
they
matches.
got
It's
banned.
apparent you feel confident about TVP. It feels different depending on whether my hands work or whether they don't. With how I got that zealot,
Yup.
my hands were
They're always
pretty
pushing the
confident.
line.
I blocked that.
Or
and
they,
I
for
felt,
some reason,
"Oh, I
Twitch
can
doesn't do
stop this
underboob.
easy." I thought,
But
"Let's
Kick,
do
you
our
can
best."
have
I cruised
underboob.
along, and I think I play those games full of confidence. And in the end, you even dared to cheese him. Normally, when you rush Mini 10
My
times,
first
he blocks it
suspension
8
is
times.
definitely
Today,
going to be
I
because
got
of
those other
underboob.
2 games. And with that, it really seems today is your day. It's a good day, But you got to move past that into the
Headlines:
round of 8 now.
male streamer
The matchup
banned for
the
having
same.
underboob on
You
Twitch.
have to play as Zerg no matter what. Yeah, I just found out. Sulky, Jadong, and Queen are
Oh my god, I
Truly.
couldn't see it.
the cream of the crop
Accidentally
when it
on
comes to Zerg
purpose.
are waiting
True.
for you.
True.
And which
What
one of them
about
do you
side
need to
boob?
face off to raise the chances
I don't know.
of
Look at
once
the
again heading to
ASMR
grand
section
final stage of
and the
dreams?
bikini and hot tub
If
section.
we're talking
I
about
think it's just
chances, then
specifically
it is very much
under
Sulky.
boob.
But I have a feeling if I manage to beat Sulky, I can go even further. So I don't mind meeting anyone.
I don't know why, Eggy.
Wow.
Even though I think underboob is hotter
This
than
battle with
cleavage.
yourself continues even throughout this season. You're looking to best yourself still. This surely makes it hard for the fans and your colleagues.
Like
not
the shirts that are like from the
Do you
neck
have
down
anything
and
to
it
say
just
to them?
barely covers the nips.
First
Fire.
of all, for helping me
I had a
practice.
quick check the other day of
I
that
didn't think I'd be
category.
getting
It's
an
so
interview that I didn't
tragic.
prepare. Stalk.
That's why I troll,
Motive,
Eggy.
YSC, Paralyzed, J-Dog,
Grown women
and so
sat in
I got
paddling
help from
pools.
7 people.
Yup.
You memorize this perfectly. Yeah,
That's why one day we're
well,
gonna do a hot
actually,
tub stream. I have a pool here.
Big thanks to the fans who came down to the
Blow up
studio
pool.
and showed their
So
support.
one day we'll do it
And our Tongs
during the summer.
members, they came down
Probably,
here and were
probably
supportive.
that'll be part of the
Big thanks as
24-hour stream.
well.
And I'll probably just like sleep in the pool for like 5 hours or
And my
something.
family for cheering for me from home. Thank you so much.
I
Can't
think
wait to
that'd
see
be
you compete
great
in the round of 8 as well.
content.
Congratulations. in advance.
Wake up to like
Thank you.
600 viewers.
And there you have it.
Instantly, everyone leaves once they realize what's going on.
This was a fun round of 16.
Oh my god,
Um,
fucking
so,
amazing. It's so
Snow
fucking
and
amazing.
Rush, moving on. Congrats to them. This was a tough group. I think anybody who was confident they knew who was going to move on was
Oh,
crazy.
God.
Yeah.
We had amazing games, and we saw
Food and
stuff.
tub
I mean, for me
stream.
personally,
Yup.
We had 2 games from Minute
Let's
where he was doing stuff
go.
I've personally never seen.
That's what it's
And
all
as
about,
far as,
boys.
from my Terran point of view, that
We like to
Dominator game
shake
was,
things up.
One of the best TVPs I've ever seen. I'm definitely going to have to rewatch that and kind of study the flow of what Rush did. It was amazing. So here's your top 8 players. 3 Zergs, 1 groups, and Snow on the other. And then we have both Terrans and a couple Protosses down at the bottom. Of course, you can't play the player you already played in your group.
Right.
And it will be a top seed against a second seed in each matchup. So it'll figure itself out pretty quickly. We'll have Hyun Kyung drawn out the balls pretty quickly here as
She's
well.
pulling
Just
out
wanna
the
stay tuned because
balls.
Figuring out what these round of 8 matchups are going to be is going to be extremely exciting.
She's pulling out the balls,
Yeah.
guys. She's pulling out the
so we're gonna
balls.
know in the
Get
next
ready.
minutes, or next few minutes, excuse me, who is going to be versus who.
His shirt
And
says
I'm very
GG, by
excited
the
to
way,
see
in Korean.
How this round of 8 lines up. Is Sulky going to win again? Or is someone else going to take this? And then is Flash going to come back in the next season of ASL? We know he's been playing again. He was having some complications with his wrists and or forearms. So
Yeah, you had to have a
decided to
plate
take the
removed
season,
or something like
off, but
that.
you have to imagine
When
his
Flash
return is
comes
imminent.
back, it's
Yeah,
going to
I'm pretty
be
sure he's getting a
insane.
surgery, and I think he's actually getting one of the plates
Yeah.
removed that's in his arm. So
I think so.
Yeah, hopefully
that's what I heard too.
hopefully he'll recover pretty quickly because he's definitely good enough. Like people have messaged me like, "Oh, did you see Flash beat Sulky last night?" It's like, well, yeah. I mean, these aren't ASL games or anything, but like obviously that would be
Sure.
an unbelievable storyline to see that happen. Honestly,
Flash
just
versus
based on the
Sulky.
matchups, I feel like
Oh my
almost
god.
anything can
Greatest
happen in this tournament. Like
finals of an
Sulky,
ASL.
If he doesn't hit Zerg, I do think he wins.
Yep, same.
I don't think that any
Same. I don't think
Protoss
anyone
can
can beat
stop
him. I think
just in a
only.
best
I
of
think
5 or
he can
more,
only
I
lose
just
in the
don't see
ZVZ
it.
because
I
of the
don't see it.
fickleness
He's
of
just better
ZVZ.
than everyone.
It's not that he will.
I mean, he looks
it's that
really
he. It's
good.
the only way he can lose.
I was
is
really
if he
inspired
hits
by Snow's
ZVZ
play today, but
and
I
gets
don't know if
dominated in
that's imbued
ZVZ.
into a win versus Sulky. I think Sulky right now, he seems to not only have a very good way of approaching the meta, he seems to know each of the players really well and whatever flaws they have.
Yeah, how to
Yes.
exploit
That's,
it and make them.
certainly something
It's like how
I can
to
see from
how
him. His
you
mind
know
is
how to mentally make your
super, super
opponent
strong.
make
So let's
mistakes,
go ahead and,
and
yeah,
you know
start
what
this
their
out.
weakness
I think
positions
we're
are,
gonna
and you know how
draw
to
those first
manipulate
seeds
that to
first, if
make
I'm not
them,
mistaken.
you know, fuck up the most. And that's what's good because
Yeah.
Starcraft
Let's
is a
do
game
it.
of mistakes.
I love when she starts stirring it when there's like 2 balls in there, by the way. That's always my
Do you
favorite
ever do
part,
a
when there's 2
stanky
balls left and
poop,
she stirs
Right.
it.
but
and
kinda
you're
enjoy
like,
the
well,
stank?
Which one is it going to be?
Like how How
no,
dumb would you have to
Eggy.
be
I
not be able to
actually
keep
have
track when there's only
like
two
no
balls?
sense of
Which
smell.
one's which?
Like I have a very
I
minor
like how
sense
none
of
of them are
smell
switching position either.
due
It's just, like, moving around.
Yeah,
due
they're just gonna go in
to
a circle, and they're
like
going
smoking
left, and they're going
tobacco
right.
and shit like that.
What is it? Who is it?
So
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun,
Queen.
dun,
Queen.
Queen.
My nose is like always fucking clogged and shit. It's fucking super
Wait, she
annoying.
does everything from the one. Yeah, that's right. So we don't have Queen's first yet. So we got to see if it's going to be another Zerg or maybe Snow for the players that got out first. Dun, dun, dun,
Smash.
Dun, 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 dun.
So I can eat ass all day long. I mean, what?
Jadong.
Jadong.
Okay. You know, I was actually gonna say if I'm a Zerg player, I want to play. Wait, no, what? No, he'll be next to him.
Wish
wait,
that
no,
bowl
never mind.
was my
I'm sorry,
grave
I was looking
ass.
down, not the other way.
Oh,
So.
I did the same thing. I did
Like,
the
it's not
same
Queen
thing. I
versus
thought it was
Jadong.
top versus bottom.
Yeah.
No, stop.
That actually would
Gaped
make more
ass,
sense.
sorry.
Looking at it this way is really weird, but okay.
This is actually
Snow.
breaking my brain right now.
Yeah.
Vile.
Snow goes in the middle to the right.
Yeah, he'll be on week 2.
All right.
And then
I
Sulky
can
is the
figure this
last
out,
to play.
guys.
You know, on Sulky's behalf, I would if I'm Sulky, I want to play first.
I ate booty once or twice.
but
It's
he
not
plays the
bad.
latest,
If it's
which gives
clean,
people
it's
the
not
most
bad. It's
amount of
after
time
the
to try to come up
shower,
with
you
stuff
know.
to mess with him.
Good point. Very good point. Yeah, he's got at least 2 weeks off. Or, I mean, people have 2 weeks to prep for sim, I guess is what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. All right, guys.
Now, I want to throw this out there. Like,
One
if
chick had a
you
hairy
are
one.
Light, you
It
want
was like
Jadong,
licking the soft bit of
100%.
Velcro.
And in fact, if you're Rush, you want Jadong
Oh my
as well.
God,
Like,
that's
he is the
hilarious,
easiest one for the Terran
Eggy.
players here.
I bet it's going to be rain.
But you'll take Queen as either of them.
Too much peach fuzz.
All 4 of those guys are.
Best.
Okay,
Best.
best
Queen versus
That's
Best.
a good match.
That's an even match, I think. Yeah,
That's,
a good match for
I,
sure.
I think Queen is a little bit ahead on that one, but that's a good, solid match.
Sure.
I'm
Peach
excited
jungle.
about it.
But, you know, I think it's very doable for Best. You know, Best never seems to perform well on round of 8 specifically. That's where he gets tangled up
Oh,
and
that's funny.
killed off. So it'll be fun to see if he can maybe push it into a round of 4.
Now, if this is a Terran player, the Terran player is going to be very happy. It is a Terran player.
Rush, light.
Light.
Okay, Jadong is probably very sad right now. This is the worst matchup that he could get. Light is the perfect counter to Jadong. The perfect counter. No weak points.
Are we gonna
perfect
have-
macro. So we already
We
know
have
the
another
final
PvP
matches.
here.
Yeah. It has to be Rush versus Sulky. And
She
there you
could
go.
fix
Snow versus
me.
Rain. That was ASL Finals once upon a time.
Snow. Finally, we get the weather. Snow. I told you guys. Snow versus rain. What's better, snow or rain? BC or Alberta?
Rush, cool.
She could fix me. She couldn't.
What do you think about the matchups? Is there one that stands out to you as like this is a great match?
Sulky versus Rush.
Best versus Queen
You know, I
looks
think I'm
best on
most
paper.
excited
Yeah,
for
I
Best
think Queen versus
I mean,
Best.
Sulky Rush is going to be good, but I don't think Rush stands a chance just because Sulky.
Rain
I
doesn't
am
bother
excited
me.
For Snow Rain.
Rain
mean,
just sucks
these
because
guys
I have to
are really
walk
good at
because
PvP.
I can't
And I think
drive.
Rain
But
really
driving in the
thinks differently
snow
from
sucks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no matter what, we get a Protoss in the final 4 there with the PvP, and then we just got to see if Zerg survive or Terrans or Protosses push through. So a lot of different ways.
Yeah,
this, Final Four
we
could-
can
could,
still the final 4 could
I would
still be
agree with you. I think
Queen,
it's like,
Jadong, and Sulky.
the
with, like,
PvZ
Light or
Queen
Rush.
versus Best. That looks like
And
the
we
best
could
match.
still
and I
have
think
a,
the best match, I think, is the PvP, which is
ZVZ
kind of a
in the
rare
final
thing.
4.
Yeah.
I really do think like I want
Queen
Jadong
versus
to play well and
Sulky
have a chance
finals
against
would be
Light. I just don't
fucking
see it.
insane.
And I want Rush to play
A
well. and have
ZVZ
chance against
finals
Sulky,
when
and
there's
again,
no.
I
It's the
just
first
don't see it.
ZVZ
Like,
in
I
the
think that
entire
those two,
series.
like
That's
Light and Sulky,
insane.
that's the best of their respective races. They're not people that you can really pull a fast one on, and that makes it tough. That makes it tough for those two matches.
So we've got our brackets on screen for you guys here, just so it's crystal clear. I didn't feel like that first graphic they showed was exactly
Yeah.
clear about what was going on. So we're going to have, as usual, 2 best of 5s, next week, and then the next 2 best of 5s after that.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll be back, week after week until eventually we get to those finals. So about 3 more
Every
weeks
week,
of ASL,
we got
and then
2
we have a
days of
short break, and then
ASL,
we get the
guys.
finals.
I think the finals taste
It's
are
a
going to
great
be
lead up.
Sulky
Oh
4 to
my God.
1 over Light. That's my prediction right here.
I could see that. So he's
I
going
see
with that.
Light
I'm
beating
going
the
with
bracket.
Sulky versus
I think
Queen.
Light beats Jay.
And
I think Light
Queen
beats
wins
best,
against
and
Sulky.
I think Light Queen is
4-3.
really good, but I think Light squeezes that one out just barely. And down,
Yeah,
I mean,
think you could be right.
Sulky has no Zerg on his side. It's exactly what he wants.
We
That's
could
the only
collab
factor for
sometime.
Sulky, man, is he doesn't have
Hell
to play
yeah,
CBZ.
Eggy.
Oh,
That
these
would
are
be
best
epic.
of sevens. Okay, I stand
Oh,
corrected.
no
For some reason, I
way.
thought they were best of 5.
Yeah,
No,
I,
I was pretty sure they
Yeah,
were
that's
best of
new.
Or maybe we
sevens.
started this last season. I have so many
I'm
seasons
nowhere
of
near
ASL that
this
we used to have
file,
best
and
of
I
fives,
have
but-
Best of
streamed.
fours were, or round of fours were best of sevens
I just don't
last
give a
season, if
fuck. I don't
correctly,
care.
Okay.
but- Yeah, best of 7. That's insane, man. Or are they going to do
It's
best of 9
fucking
finals?
funny.
Where are we going
If you
with this?
can't be funny,
Yeah,
Best
we
of
need to
what's the
figure out
goddamn
how many
point?
Too many games. Yeah, best of 420,
it's like
guys.
the whole point is to it's not serious.
So that'll be Monday. We
So
will
it's
record that
like-
Tuesday.
It's
so
just
that'll be
something
out
you can
either
fucking
Tuesday or
laugh at. Like I was
Wednesday for you,
saying,
depending on where
like
you are
I
in the
think I'm
world.
cultivating a community that's like
but
Artosis'
if you've been,
community, where
like,
it's just a bunch of
you know,
people
jumping
spamming Mario
videos right when they're
erotica
uploaded, they're pretty
and
much
shit like
uploaded
that,
around
and
the
like
same time. The
sexy
soup staff gets the
ASCIIs. My
videos
little
around the
community
same
is very
time, 'cause
innocent
Artosis
women.
sends
Lol.
them in, and then I'm basically up. You know, I'm either having my coffee or I'm streaming, and I'm waiting for them to ping me.
It's a great
When it's uploaded,
combination.
and I put it on Patreon, so you know we
It's
haven't
like
been late on any
Levi's,
VODs, we don't
like,
expect to be late on any VODs in the future here.
Like, what do you call it? Like
this is the matchup Artosis
structure.
was talking about, Jaedong versus Light.
And,
I
like-
do agree with Artosis here. I think Jaedong looks really good, but
I don't know what to
against
call
solid
it, but it's
Terrence,
like
he doesn't seem to have any kind of answer.
structure
If it was
and
against a solid Protoss,
fluidity.
I'd be like, yeah, he can beat anybody. CVZ, yeah, he can
Whereas
beat
I'm like
anybody.
all the fuck
CVT
over the
seems
place.
to have
I
his
always try to
limitations
do
there,
something
and
different.
he's gonna have to work really hard to figure out exactly.
Even if I'm
how
doing
to
the same
beat
thing, I'm doing the
someone
same
like Light.
thing
And, you know,
like
Light just
differently.
doesn't lose to silly stuff.
He does not.
Light, you have to beat him.
Because
in,
I
like,
think
a
the largest
crazy
range of
big game where
content allows for the
crazy macro
largest
game
range of
compilers.
audience, right?
And he really is the best in the world at that.
And then
kind
people
of
can come in and
straightforward
check
macro
out
style
whatever
matchup.
You
part,
just got to play
like content that
a
they
real
want to
perfect
see.
game.
Whether
We
it's
saw with
gaming,
Sulky versus Light
writing,
last season, Sulky
me just
demolished
fucking
Light.
ranting.
It wasn't even close.
You throw shit at
but
the wall
it
and see
doesn't
what
feel like
sticks.
any other
Exactly.
Zerg has a good chance
Exactly.
against him.
And
You know,
so
maybe-
far,
maybe
writing
Hero
has
Hero's
been the
playing
one
well,
that
but
stuck the
obviously
most,
didn't
because
make
that's
it,
what I'm most
this time.
passionate about
The
and
Snow
love
versus
doing.
Raid
Yeah, I love
rematch
playing
was
video
really
games, but
interesting
I'm
because Snow
passionate
looked
about
way better than
writing.
Mini.
Funnily
But
enough, the
Raid,
Polish muscle
historically,
mommy charges me $100
looks
to
to me
throw
to be
shit at
the
me.
best PvP player.
Damn,
His
Eggy.
Protoss versus
Yeah,
Protoss
he
feels
seems
like
to-
Flash's Terran versus Terran.
Not
but,
into
like,
scat,
no
so I don't
one's
do that one, but they're usually
He
like
goes
$400
DTs a lot,
because they have to
and
touch
he
it
seems to have,
themselves.
for whatever reason, a better.
And then it's the
he's
question of
able to
whether
get
it's
ahead of the
theirs or
game,
yours.
which is extremely important in PvP. And I'm not sure how to, I guess, explain that to you guys, other than I see it. It could just
Sub's
be
a
the sheer
premium.
raw amount of experience he has at playing the other players and seeing
And
how
they
they
don't
move.
do. They
But,
don't do.
never count Rain out.
They don't.
Rush has a long time to prepare for
Blackface,
Sulky here.
but with
The best of
scat.
7 just plays into Sulky's hands more though because he's a Zerg that just
They
absorbs
don't
you.
like.
He's
They don't
gonna
like. They,
absorb
okay,
your various
they only do
strategies.
solids.
Like,
Let's
what
just say
Terran
that.
has any chance to beat him in a best of 7? Maybe Royal. Because Royal has the best cheesy technical play in the world by far in this matchup.
Right.
But if I'm Rush, I'm going to Royal for build orders. I'm going to Flash for build orders. You know,
Was
I'm
it shoe polish
pulling out
Trudeau
all the stops. We're
use?
talking to Light about what he's working on against Zerg. His side of
Fucking
the bracket.
Trudeau and blackface.
You know, like, you got to have
It's so fucking
special
funny
stuff
when
to
it's
take
so
him down.
fucking true.
Guys, that's
Like,
all the time we
Jesus
have. Thank you so much
Christ.
for watching. Please consider signing up for the Patreon at patreon.com/ASL.
True tasteless. Sign up for the Patreon. Keep it going, guys. Alright, well, unfortunately, guys, we're going to have to end it here. But, you know, we'll be back tomorrow, same time. Tomorrow should be a good stream, because I'll have lots of catch up after I go, like, work, and I work later the next day. So, you know. Ending it on a bum note. True. Quote of the day, guys. I have a tender spot in my heart for cripples and bastards and broken things. True. Piecing of the out, huh? Yes, unfortunately, Sean. It is, sometimes how it must be. But I can send you to a great place. I'm pretty sure. Okay, well this isn't working. This list is way too big. The sleep you will have, may it truly rest your body, and the dreams you shall have, may they inspire your activities. True! That's what we'll be doing tomorrow. That's nice and wholesome. Hell yeah. Alright, well this one's new. So let's try this guy. That is my genuine heartfelt wish for everyone, not having truly restful sleep myself. Really sucks, damn tips. Sean, I'm like, I lay in bed, I don't sleep. Like, my brain just doesn't turn off. It fucking sucks.
Well, I have written a lot of this, a lot of these words in, you know,
Have
this.
fun storming the castle.
Alright, guys. Remember, if you can't say fuck you to your friends, who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you!
With help.